What is your ultimate? It's an absolute taboo. Because Papa Rhymes, you want. And Papa Myers, it goes off. Your existence was a sick joke, not a blessing. The veil of inquiry forced their bloodlines into you. For 6 years, you've thought this world insane. Until today, you stand in the hexagram circle. A pale golden chrysanthemum floats up from your palm, and tendrils of black mist start seeping out your skin. On the platform, His Eminence's eyes narrow. As you finally realize, the world isn't the deranged one. It's the monstrous secret inside you. Philwalk continent. Inside the Spirit Hall dorm, you're in the middle of a sweet dream. A fixed smirk still plastered on your face. In your dream, you finally manage to field your 3-star 5 cost. You KO'd your opponent in one devastating round. But before the high of victory even fades, an ice-cold voice yanks you right back to reality. Xiao Yuan, time to get up. Your eyelids twitch. You hide under the covers, not wanting to wake. Today is your martial soul awakening ceremony. His Eminence watches personally. You can't be late. Gu Wei's raspy voice drifts from the bedside. Please 0 room for negotiation. Your attempt to sleep fails. You yank the covers down and see your Papa Miner's deadpan face looming over you. Gu Wei in black robes, grim as ever. Yeah, I'm a Papa Miner. You sit up and let out a massive yawn. You're 6. 6 years in this world. And the way you got transmigrated here, it's beyond absurd. Back in your dorm, binge-watching Billabo anime, while grinding TFT, you built a 3-star 5 cost. Your coward opponent surrendered, denying your win. You slammed the table in rage. Then blackness. You can only wonder if your roommates witnessing your sudden death. They got auto-graded thesis exemptions. Irrelevant now. Past life. Orphan. Antisocial. No attachments. Dying was just moving on. A fresh start. What stuns you? No mother this life. Just because you won in Gu Wei. When you were 3, your memories gradually started flooding back. And that's what hit you. Something stand up. How the hell did 2 grown men give birth to you? You couldn't have just materialized out of thin air. So, naturally, you went as one way. You two Papa Miner and Papa Miner. The answer left you reeling. Years back, you won in Gu Wei was dispatched on mission. Suddenly, a surge of uncanny energy swept us into a bizarre ravine. The place was totally alien, beyond anything we'd ever known. We had to answer a few strange questions. And before we knew it, another flash of energy snapped us right back where we started. The ravine vanished without trace. And in our arms, there was a baby. That baby was you. I swear, when Ghost of the Law told me, he was stone cold face, twitched behind. They found out inside that the ravine was called Eros Bane, the Veil of Inquiry. Wait, isn't the veil on the Sun Moon Archipelago? Eros' reach is that vast. It sensed their deep bond. And, well, Chrysanthemum is it. So for kicks, or fate, who knows? It fused their bloodlines together and made you. When you heard that, brain equals broken. Is this world cracked? Or am I? The original story never had them. Stumbling into the Veil of Inquiry. Gotta hand it to Eros. Even Fallen, what a weirdo. I got nothing. Not touching that one. Still, I guess it's my own twisted brand of reincarnation. I just got the fused bloodline powers. Other martial souls pumping my things out. Got you on, into a swap like Ninja. Forced to be mom in this life. That would have been way too much. But this? Yeah, I can live with this. One's Papa Prime, the other's Papa Miner. And with my book knowledge, they can still push to rank 9-7 one day. Rank 98's probably a pipe dream, though. They're 9 spirit rings. Aren't close to 100,000 low. And they're missing the matching centennial soul bones. Aren't insane. Have a divine miracle. Rank 97's their ceiling. But for me, that start line is more than enough. How about the timeline sorted now? I'm 6. Full 7 years younger than Lena. And 1 year younger than Tang San. Just then, a silhouette filled the doorway. Xiao Yuan, come on, get moving. That familiar, slightly melodramatic voice rang out. I looked up. There was Yu One, eyes fixed on me. Let's not keep His Eminence, the Pope, waiting. He stepped inside, smooth and sharp. Wonder which one I'll awaken. Papa Prime's quintessence art, or old ghost specter, martial soul. Speaking of which, honestly, you've thought about this a million times. Quintessence art is a mythic grade, martial soul. Insane potential. I could go the assault path. Or maybe even support route. Spectre, on the other hand, is a mutated innate soul. It's the very soul. The concept of innate souls doesn't even exist in this era. According to Papa Miner's origin story, his soul as a kid was just some basic will-o'-the-wisp. Then he drowned one day. Something slammed into his body. It forced his soul and flesh to refuse together. Mutating his martial soul is Spectre. No. The way I see it, it's a near-death trigger. Phase 2 evolution of his martial soul. If I could only awaken one, I'd honestly lean toward the Spectre. Simple reason. Quintessence art on the assault path. It's solid, but you totally waste its mythic attributes. If we're talking max potential, plant-based support is the one true path. You 3 left the chamber, crossed the hall, and headed toward the Grand Pond Hall. Before long, you arrived at the towering doors. The Soul Master Sentries spotted you and immediately pushed them open. Seated high above on the dais was an impossibly beautiful woman. The reigning pontiff of Spirit Hall, BB Dong. She was draped in a luxurious papal robe, scepter in hand. Her face an ice-cold mask of noble detachment. Her deep violet eyes swept down from her elevated perch, exuding an aura of absolute authority. Just off the BB Dong's side stood a young girl, around 14 or 15. Her silhouette was stunning, wrapped in a form-fitting combat suit that traced her budding curves with flawless, delicate features. And though subtly affirmed eyes, she radiated raw and innate seduction. That's Laina, all right. Even at this age, that intoxicating femme-fatale aura is already showing, like a man-eater bloom just waiting to blossom. You gave her a single glance and then looked away, lowering your eyes. After we watched the anime in past life, you already knew Laina was total social. You had all that beauty, 0 rings. But now's definitely not the time for that. The 3 of you stopped right in the center of the hall. First of all, you went out easily. You mimicked their gesture, bending at the waist. His Eminence, the Pontiff. BB Dong gave a light nod. A cold voice resonated. Since you're here, let's begin. You took a deep breath. You stepped towards the prearranged hexagram circle. Standing at the center, Ghost of Law followed closely. His hands slowly rose, beginning the awakening of your martial soul. Light dimmed. You raised your hand. A pale golden chrysanthemum floated above your palm, layer upon layer of petals, their edges glowing with soft radiance. A faint scent. The miraculous chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum pulled his eyes up. He was about to speak, but just then, something changed abruptly. A wisp of black mist began to seep from the surface of your skin. The mist, as if alive, coiled around your arms and shoulders, riding slowly in the air. The black mist grew denser, solidifying into a thin membrane. It enveloped your entire body. Ghost of Law's face paled. That stone-cold face actually shifted. That's my martial soul. Chrysanthemum rose. Then he burst out laughing. Huh, twin martial souls. On the high platform, BB Dong's pupils constricted. She stared down at the boy shrouded in black mist. A flash of shot deep within her eyes. Twin martial souls. A wave of ecstasy surged inside you. Since they're twin martial souls, the cultivation path for both is now crystal clear. But at that exact moment, a cold mechanical voice echoed in your mind. Ding. Suitable binding target detected. X-Tech system binding successful. Immediately, time seemed to freeze around you. BB Dong's lower lashes were suspended in midair. Laina's sly smile was locked on her face. Both WOs froze, staring at you. You were the only one still able to move in the Grand Pond Hall. 5 Hex Tech options materialized before your eyes. 1. Level up. Looking at these 5 options, you were stunned at first. The system, haha, 6 years. Do you have any idea what the last 6 years have been like for me? System, you finally arrived. You went from shock to euphoria in under a second. You read plenty of those web novels in past life, but you never really thought you'd see this day. Sure, you got twin martial souls and innate full spirit power. Your talent is top tier among your generation. Who complains about cheats? You smirked and focused seriously on the orb's ahead. All 5 hex tech upgrades could boost combat power. From soul power to rings. All here. Plus a golden orb. Jackpot. But this isn't a game. This is reality. Choose the 3 that best align with your needs. After a moment, you select 1, 2, and 4. Specifically, you upgraded Hedge Fund and Living Forge. You upgraded these hex tech elements. Granted, the spirit power boost only triggered from meditation, not from absorbing spirit rings or Genesis herbs, but with your innate talent of full spirit power. Every level of spirit power gained through meditation will now grant you 1 bonus level. Your cultivation speed is boosted by at least 50%, because the further you go, the more spirit power is required to level up. The double jump plus bonus seems 50% stronger, but the actual gain is way higher than that. For Hedge Fund, automatic and 5 service. Age limit, need I even say more? If your first ring starts at the 500-year tier, it automatically goes to the 1,000-year tier on evolution. Furthermore, once you become a soul master, the annual age limit for a first-year ring jumps by 1,500 years. By the time you hit the title Galore rank, the annual increase could be close to 10,000 years. System, does raising age limit mean a tougher body? You double-checked just to be safe. Yes. In that case, say no more. It's a no-brainer. And this augment can even link up with level up. After all, the level up augment lets you ascend ranks faster. As for the third augment, it goes without saying. Living Forge, obviously. You get an artifact instantly. Plus another one every 8 years. No cap. Longer life, more artifacts, quantity builds. The more insane your combat power becomes. System, about this artifact forge. Are the 4 artifacts offered from the TFT universe? Or are they native to Dolawa continent? Host, they're all from TFT. TFT artifacts will adapt to Dolawa continent's combat power scaling. Their attributes might shift slightly, but core essence stays same. Once confirmed, the answer became crystal clear, as we have 2 augments. Golden Egg and Pandora's items. They look tempting, but honestly, they're pretty average. What's inside a Golden Egg? You aren't willing to gamble. You remember Golden Egg's drop table is pretty limited. Stuff like Artifact Anvils, Giant Nico, Radiant Upgrades, and so on. But you can just pick Living Forge, which gives way more artifacts. Giant Nico probably copies. Martial Soul or Bloodline. You have twin souls already. Plus, twin Martial Souls demand. Anything raw Zeke has dual Martial Souls. The same pressure of all those spirits. Internal soul friction. A third? It'd just be a battery pack for quick power-ups late game. I'd rather just level up. Fast track that early game grind. That pays off even in the end game. As for Pandora's gear, a 500,000-year soul bone is tempting, no doubt. But here's the thing. This world is crawling with soul bones that old, or even older. Some way beyond the 500,000-year mark. The real purpose of soul bone anyway. It's to elevate a soul master's physique and talent. It barely moves the needle on raw spirit power. In the original lore, whether it was Tang San, Wu Yu Hao, or the Tang Wuling, it barely got a power level boost from absorbing soul bones. Mainly body fortification and refining power quality. There's one exception, of course. If you're stuck at a bottleneck. Absorbing a high-grade soul bone can trigger a breakthrough. And another thing, Pandora can't alter an item's age. She just swaps the bone slot. That's pretty lame. System, I pick option 124. 3 cold light streaks hit me. Artifact Forge acquired. Activate now. I crush the urge to open it immediately. I'll check later. Time snapped back to normal. Bibidong's gaze refocused on me. She studied me for a long moment before speaking, her voice solution. Impressive talent. Thank you, Your Eminence. I smiled. 2 seconds silence fell. Bibidong's voice cut through the quiet once more. Would you become my disciple? I froze for a second. Yuguan and Gui may simultaneously nudge my arm. His Eminence is prepared to take you as a disciple. Highest honor. Out and accept your master. Snapping out. I immediately offer a formal salute. Disciple Yuguan, take respect, my master. Formal apprenticeship on Dola does require kneeling. Bibidong gave almost imperceptible nod of assent. Hyena below the dais saw it all. Subtle smirk played at the corner of lips. She was 13 years old, Bibidong's one and only disciple. Master is so cold, day in and day out. That crushing, imperial aura of hers is suffocating. Training under her alone, the pressure was unbelievably real, no joke. But now I have a junior brother, and with talent this freakish, maybe Master can redirect that focus elsewhere. Maybe she could finally catch a bit of break. Next up is the standard spirit power test. No surprises there. Innate full spirit power, level 10. Bibidong said, you're born with twin martial souls. So which one are you leveling first? Chrysanthemum Apex Matrix, respect that soul. You took a moment to weigh in your mind before replying. Master, I want to train the Chrysanthemum Apex Matrix first. Then he paused, but I'm not taking the same route as Papa Prime. I'm not going assault type. I'm going food type. Food type stunned them all. After all, if they had any other choice, who the hell would willingly train in a support class with 0 combat survival skills? Bibidong's eyes flickered with a hint of curiosity. You smirked. Master, Papa Prime told me. This Chrysanthemum martial soul of mine, it actually exists in the real world as a Genesis class herb. He said it has a unique property. It forges an indestructible, diamond hard physique. But there's a catch. You have to ingest it for the effect to activate. The martial soul grants the potential for that diamond body. But the soul itself isn't naturally diamond hard. Sure, the assault path works, but it only amps up the soul strength. You only get the body armor when you're actively burning a skill. But if I go food type, it's a whole different game. Since the Chrysanthemum Apex Matrix is a Genesis tier soul. If I treat it like a cooking class, the consumables I churn out will blow every other food type soul master out of water. Plus, master, if I only had 1 soul, I'd never risk it. But I've got 2. I can totally coast as a food type early game. As Spirit Rings, the second soul later for the end game. Solid and a quarter of a mouth third. Well then, for now, focus on mastering the spirit halls of meditation art. Forget hunting spirit beasts just yet. I'll have people track down the best beast types for your first ring absorption. Bibidong, turn to Yuguan and Ghost Dolawa. You force this. Show him meditation art. Yes, Your Eminence. Yuguan and Ghost bowed and led you out. Take him to master the meditation technique. The Pope excused Yuguan and Gui Mei to escort you out. Outside the hall, Yuguan tapped her head. He smiled. Kid, your idea is pretty good, but I guess this makes up for my regrets. Yuguan sighed. Your Papa Prime here, well, when I first started cultivating, I didn't know. My martial soul was the legendary Chrysanthemum Skylink. Back then, I was all alone, so I picked the most common, safest path, the assault system. And yeah, it made me impressive. A level 95 titled Delaw, but also capped my potential right here. A flicker of melancholy crossed Yuguan's eyes. He might be a level 95 assault type titled Delaw, but among same level assault soul masters, he's average. The reason's exactly what you just said. Chrysanthemum Skylink possesses Vajra indestructibility. If you force it down the assault path, it sharpens into a blade. But Yuguan himself has no Vajra body. You can't train that. You could pretty much read Yuguan's mind. In the original, when Yuan felt die in Mubai's virtual body, he was absolutely floored. Stunned. He was ready to take Mubai as personal disciple spot. He'd even promised to. Only killed Tang San just for that. Of course, it's not just because Dai Mubai had a Vajra body. The real reason is deeper. He consumed the Genesis chrysanthemum only by walking the food system path. He could ever attain a Vajra indestructible physique. And deep down, he's got this idea. Who says a food system user can't defend themselves? Look at Oscarand. Hey, Rome, two perfect examples. One copy mirror intestine, one destroyer giant bun. And what about my chrysanthemum Skylink? Using a food system foundation, what kind of self-defense power could evolve? Attack or defense? You're genuinely curious. And honestly, really looking forward to it. Food system's not bad. Ghost Doloa remarked. Your second soul, no rings for it yet. But your Papa Minor here can at least teach you how to wield it. Truth is, I never expected you to inherit my martial soul. Mine's a mutation, you see. Soul Master's offspring usually inherit the normal version. You teased him. Papa Minor, did you forget? I came after you too, entered the veil of inquiry. Ghost lost. His raspy voice echoed softly. I've got some serious explaining to do about my power. My martial soul, my true self, not beast or weapon. Your power came from mine, so you got both good and bad. Right side, you got a second martial soul now. The catch? You inherited its abyssal core properties. That puts you on a very specific dual path upgrade tree. Path 1, spirit rings with abyssal or shadow traits. Path 2, social pure neutral, online spirit rings. Pause is on shitty slightly. So, what's your plan for developing this second martial soul? Back in the Grand Pond Hall, you only laid out your cultivation strategy for the Genesis chrysanthemum. You paused on your second soul, turning to Papa Minor. The second martial soul is literally me, my soul, and soul power is basically linked to the psychics, right? I'm not going pure speed assassin like you then. I'm building a universal controller for psychic type spirit rings. I'll absorb it, then just season it with a dash of your shadow schedule techniques. Basis. Psychic attribute spirit rings. I'll pack it. You want this girl to smirk. Where do you get that? We sure as hell haven't taught you that yet. Sister Nana mentioned it once. Absorb psychic-based rings all day. But she's such a damn tease. He's always messing with me just cause I'm younger. Wait till my mental defense maxes out. I'll flip the game. You laid out a complete serious mission, and you knew full well that Hulaina was a sucker for pretty face. In your current look, honestly not bad. A combination of cute, energy, and sharp looks. God knows what kind of buttons. That was pushing for her. You want in the main office. Hulaina was my final disciple. So yeah, it makes phrases. All over a day. HM. Guimay's tone went flat again. No rush on the second soul's path. Time is a luxury we have right now. Let's simmer some more. What we're curious about is that Genesis chrysanthemum of yours. What food type abilities could actually manifest from it? Doloa continent has never had a food system titled Doloa. Yuan's mind lashed on the thought, eyes flickering. If you could actually cultivate the Genesis chrysanthemum along a food system path all the way to Title Dole, the consumables you'd create would. You'll blow all expectations. You grinned at Papa Prime. So tell me, if I actually hit Title Dole one day, what will my cooking do to you? Would boosting my spirit power help? You said before, Genesis chrysanthemum is mythic treasure. At titled rank, the food I produce should, theoretically, qualify as divine too, right? You would want froze for a second. You'd never really consider that angle. Hell yeah, that idea, it could actually work. Soul Master hitting title Polo is already unprecedented, an absolute anomaly. You want broke into the labyrinth. Papa Prime's thrilled. Changing topic. Any ideas for your first soul ring? I'll do some digging on my end. When it comes to this martial soul, I doubt anyone in Spear Hall knows it better than I do. You pause, mulling it over. Something tied to boosting physical endurance. Boosting endurance? You might want arch an eyebrow. A bit lost. You spelled it out. Golden Jelly explains stats. Your phys boost. I mean, channeling the ability, so the Genesis chrysanthemums. Lock the diamond body effect actually kicks in. I eat the skill food I cook up. And my rose chronically. It forged me into a literal living weapon. An invisible body. You one's eyes flickered, sharp with sudden interest. Okay, that's a unique angle. The whole jelly triggering thing. You stumbled onto that by accident 2 years ago. You'd swiped a chunk of golden jelly and torched it. And one plus Guimay caught you red-handed in the experiment. Later, they realized fire exposure could trigger its properties, and casually tipped Spear Hall. Simple. But you were barely 4 back then. What 4-year-old grasped the concept of toxicity levels? So the whole incident got brushed off. No questions asked. We all mulled over, years learning. And for that kind of ability, we have to look at creatures with high defense ratings. I'll deep dive the archives. There's gotta be something. But one thing I gotta set straight with you first, kid. Guess I never gave you the full rundown before. A food type eating their own creations? The effect is cut in half. Your brow twitched. Oh, he knew that mechanical enough. In the OG lore, OC God was always carving his own sausage mid-fight. Definitely a deep buff return. You one kept rolling, but don't you lose sleep over it. Once you grind your way up to Soul Sage level, that little downside should just evaporate. A food type hitting Soul Sage is a straight up quantum leap. The quality itself through the roof. The same goes for the duration. After that, Guay May took him back to their chambers and began teaching him Spirit Hall's core meditation technique. Guay May stood off to the side, his voice hoarse. Channel external energy into your body. Cycle it once and refine it into spirit power. Now try. Sit down cross-legged and close your eyes. He followed Guay May's instructions and began sensing the surrounding energy. Much to his surprise, the process was ridiculously smooth. In less than 2 hours, he was already absorbing external energy into his body. After one full cycle, it condensed into his own spirit power. Guay May nodded approval. A flicker of satisfaction crossed his face. Decent aptitude. Didn't expect you to master it so fast. Some people, when they first try this meditation, poor perception takes days or months to get a foothold. Yuan laughed from the side. Of course. Whose son did you think he is? Guay May shied sideways there. He's got nothing to do with you. You didn't birth him. He gets that from me. Yuan instantly got riled up. How dare you claim that talent? You ignored it. He was already numb to these 2 dads' daily sweet-talking routine. He trained till nightfall, then returned. Door shut. He sat cross-legged on bed. Outwardly, he was meditating. His consciousness plunged deep within. That spectral artifact forge was hovering right before him. He breathed deep, chanted. The sound left his lips. Distinct beams of light unfolded before him in sequence. Each one exuded a drastically different energy signature. 1. Umber Wing Bow, Seraph. Basic attributes. Plus 25% spirit power attack intensity. Plus 25% attack speed. Core effect. Every 10 attacks. Auto-condense Umbral Wing energy to form a Seraph Blade. Dealing God soul damage equal to 500% of base spirit power attack. Pierces 3 targets. Later ones take 33% less. Holder gains the Dark End physique. Immunity to spiritual charms and attacks below the God level. Sense resistance to those at or above God level. Spirit attacks corrode, draining spirit power. 2. Caps Ale, Soul Brew. Basic attributes. Plus 40% spirit skill potency, plus 15% spirit power capacity. Core effect. Upon hitting an enemy with a spirit skill, it attacks Soul Brew, increasing spirit skill potency by plus 5%. Lasts until the battle ends. Max stack scale with the user's level. At full stacks, spirit damage boosted 20%. Applies Tipsy. Target spirit power relation speed reduced by 10%. 3. Attribute. Dawn Shield Radiance. plus 20% energy defense, plus 20% psychic defense, plus 15% max spirit power. Core effect, grants the wielder Dawn's blessing every 10 seconds. Boosts energy and psychic defense by 10%. If paired with Dusk Shield Shadow, blessing triples every 5s. Gauntlets of the Fourfold Chain. Base attributes, plus 20% attack speed, plus 10% spirit skill power. Core effect, 15% chance to trigger a chain attack on hit. Launches an extra strike, dealing 50% damage. When a chain attack triggers, raises your attack speed by 10%. The introduction for these artifacts flickered before your eyes. You glance down and spot a fine line of text at the bottom. Friendly note, base attributes will scale according to the wielder's level. Core effects remain unchanged. Artifacts adapt to Dolawak content. Hosts may develop suitable spirit skills independently. Reading that, you finally sighed in relief. Yeah, that figured. An artifact needs more. A 25% boost to spirit power attack intensity on the Dolawak content. I can't even compete. With a decent 1,000-year spirit skill. What spirit ring buff? Doesn't start at 50% or more. But thinking about it, it made perfect sense. Artifacts were never about the base stats. Core effects matter. Real power lies in suppressing sea spirit beasts and dark aligned targets. Not just some flat attack boost number. No real choice here. Hesitating for even 1 second will be an insult to the dark-winged Archon bow. The core effect of this bow. To others, it might just be a damage amplifier. But to him, totally different story. Dark-winged physiology, immunity, psychic charm, psychic attacks. His senior sister, Lane, his martial soul, is literally a demon fox. Her whole path is psychic control. If they spar later, charming him? Humiliating. Beyond that, the most crucial point is this. Immunity to psychic attacks. Any soul master worth his salt has a few tricks targeting the mind. Not to mention the original stories Tang, San, BB Dong, Shindalu, those people. They all have some degree of psychic. No attack skills. Gives you a natural extra layer of psychic defense. That's a total lifesaver in a pinch. Next, the Dark-Winged effect. Continuously drains the dark spirit power. Paired with his second martial soul, it's a perfect match. As for the other half of the second martial soul, he already had a preliminary roadmap in mind. Phase 1, focus on side spirit ring techniques. That includes psionic attacks, crowd control, buffs, and more. Phase 2, technique for speed and space displacement. Phase 3, raw, brute force offensive power. Choosing his spirit beasts. He actually had a candidate locked in long ago, the Evil Emperor. Hunting the Evil Emperor, that waited until he hit a higher level. Demigod level power. No point in getting ahead of himself. System, I'll take option 1. Ding, Shadow Wing Longbow, God Bane dispensed. Auto-integrated with Host Soul. No, this divine weapon cannot be used or stolen by any third party. It also has an auto-defense. He read the prompt. The corner of his mouth quirked up. Total jackpot. With a thought, the bow appeared deep amethyst. His surface flowing with fabulous dark luster, like something alive was shifting slowly deep within its core. It felt cool to the touch, weight perfectly balanced. He gave a bowstring a tentative pull. A heavy, dense energy. Energy flowed into his palm, but he was too small. Lacking strength, he couldn't unleash its full power. He dismissed the bow and pondered another tough issue. He only planned on using the thing one day. But how to explain this to Papa Prime, Papa Minor, and BB Dong? Couldn't exactly just say, oh, the system coughed up. Suddenly, a spark lit up his brain. Who gets a divine weapon? A celestial trial bearer. He could totally fake having entered a celestial trial. Plus, when his chrysanthemum genesis absorbed its first spirit ring, due to the hedge funds effect, his figure now gained an instant 500 boost, stacked up with the golden gum he'd already taken. His physical base was already way tougher than his peers, absorbing a 600-year spirit ring. Easy. In other words, his very first ring would exceed 1,000 years. A soul master whose first ring breaks 1,000 years. Such cases were nearly unheard of in Dolawa's history. BB Dong didn't know celestial trials could boost ring use, but Shindalu sure as hell did. So, with a little finesse, this whole thing was totally sellable. Besides, BB Dong might fly off the rails later on, but right now, the plot was barely kicking off. As long as he never permission shouting. She was relatively functional. He shoved those thoughts aside. He closed his eyes. Meditation was the priority. Spirit power was key. The rest was fluff. There was a knock on the door. Xiao Yuan, get up. Gui Mei's raspy voice came from outside. You open your eyes and stretch your numb legs. Even though you're up all night. Deep meditation itself can replace sleep. Instead of feeling tired, you actually feel totally refreshed. After breakfast, Gui Mei laid out the day's schedule for you. You have a theory class this morning. Pay attention. Once power reaches the right level, I'll arrange for you to go to Spirit Hall Academy. Gui Mei added dryly. In the afternoon, I'll teach you how to wield a second martial. Meditate on your own at night. He nodded, understood, Papa Minor. At 7 a.m. sharp, a middle-aged soul master entered your quarters. He wore a gray robe and had a gentle face. Young Masterly, I'm a theory instructor at Spirit Hall. Just call me Teacher Wong. The man introduced himself. You politely greeted, good morning, Teacher Wong. Teacher Wong nodded and got straight to the point. Today we'll focus on soul beasts, their classification and year identification. Soul beasts split into animal and plant types, but they can generally be categorized by elemental affinity, like fire, water, wind, darkness, and so on. Different beasts yield different soul skills. Crucial when picking a hunt target. Teacher Wong went into heavy detail, from their behavioral patterns to the skill types they yield, even down to year identification tricks. Nothing was left out. You listened intently, hopping in with the occasional question. Teacher, how to gauge a wild bee sage? Teacher Wong smirked. Excellent question. Age identification relies on three main factors. First, size. Higher years usually mean bigger size. Second, aura. Higher beasts emit far stronger spirit power. Third, distinct traits like a 1,000-year beast purple glow and the black miasma of a 10,000-year beast. If you screw up the age estimation in the wild, you're going to pay a heavy price. Not just for ring absorption, but in a life or death fight. If you misjudge your opponent's strength and act on that wrong assumption, the best outcome is Teacher Wong paused dramatically. Dig your own grave fast. This guy's got some dark humor. You know it all. That afternoon, Gui Mei taught. There's an open space in the backyard of your quarters. Just enough room to fight. Gui Mei stood before you. The rope float and his release. Dark wisps of mist swirled into existence around his form. Let me give you a demonstration first. Gui Mei raised his right hand, palm facing up. A wisp of dark mist solidified into a tangible form. It morphed into a tiny, dark needle floating in the air. This is the meta needle. With a flick of Gui Mei's wrist, the dark needle flew into a stone wall 10 meters away. It pierced the wall silently, leaving only a pinprick of a hole. You harness the martial soul itself to concentrate the force. Compress into a needle and fire. High stealth factor. Perfect for sneak attacks. Now you try. Copy me. Use your second martial soul. He opened his palm. A wisp of dark mist slowly rose up, but it was too diffuse. Completely unable to condense into a new shape. Gui Mei said flatly, don't rush. Focus on compressing it with intent. Imagine that power condensing within your palm, smaller and smaller. You close your eyes, controlling the mist. Toxic energy burst, edging into thin air. Stone-faced, Gui Mei watched. Keep going. You tried over a dozen more times. Finally, on the 20th attempt, a crooked, misshapen dark needle materialized in your palm. Ugly as sin, faint in aura, and highly unstable. Compared to the one Gui Mei conjured, it was trash tier. But hey, at least you pulled it off. Gui Mei gave a slight nod. Not bad. Faster than I expected. To condense a single needle like that requires immense mastery and control. I thought you'd fail all afternoon. Let's move on to the second one. Phantom Step. Gui Mei took a single step forward, and his form instantly blurred. He reappeared 5 meters away, leaving an afterimage, which then dissipated. You cloak your legs in nether force, granting a short burst of enhanced movement speed. The distance and duration depend on your level of control over the nether power. The nether needle and phantom step. These two skills are core focus. For the next year or two, drill them until they're instinct. Master them, and they'll be enough to keep alive, and they'll boost your cultivation progress, too. Learning these two techniques requires constant massive drain of spirit power. Once it's tapped out, you meditate to recover. Over and over. In this cycle, your spirit power grows slowly. After dinner that evening, you took a short break. Then you sat cross-legged on your bed and began your meditation. Beginners have a hard limit on meditation time. Your mental strength and body can't endure it for very long. But as your level rises, this limitation will gradually fade. After Soul Elder, many can meditate constantly, which is also one of the reasons why cultivation speed after rank 30 is actually faster than in the earlier stages. 5 days later, today is the day you go to obtain your first spirit ring. Inside the Grand Pontiff Hall, BB Dong sits on the main throne as always. Seated below her is Yulina. Right now, your eyes meet Yulina's foxy gaze. She even throws you a flirty little wink, which you just completely ignore. Over these 5 days, Yulina would come by to chat with you after training. Although they knew each other before, things are different now. Previously, Yulina knew you entirely because of the Chrysanthemum and Ghost Blues. Now, you're a junior brother. Naturally, the bond feels much closer. Yulina feels a little strange about it. She always thought she had nailed her charm ability. No active soul skill needed. Her natural allure is off the charts. So why hasn't it been working on you? The junior brother, lately? BB Dong says to you, your teacher won't join you for your first spirit ring trip. I'll have your Papa Prime and Papa Minor accompany you. Your teacher still has many matters to attend to in Spirit Hall. We'll discuss 10,000 year soul beasts later. You nod. Yes, teacher. BB Dong then looks to Yue Guan and Gui Mei. Hunt the soul beast with the highest compatibility rank if possible. No need to rush the timing. Understood? Understood. During those 5 days, BB Dong and Yue Guan together compiled a list of 30 suitable soul beasts for you, rank first to 30th. It details these creatures' habits and possible spirit skill outputs. Yue Guan and Gui Mei take you straight towards the Stardoe Forest. They don't take a carriage. That's way too slow. Gui Mei's speed is insane. 5 days later, they arrive at the outskirts of the Stardoe Forest. Mainly because they had to be careful you couldn't handle more. Otherwise, Gui Mei could have been even faster. Sticking close to Yue Guan. Every now and then, a low beast roar echoes from the depths, causing a faint, looming pressure. The soul beasts in the outer region. Most are 100 to 1,000 years old. Ideal for you. Yue Guan says he walks. His footsteps are so light, they barely make sound on the fallen leaves. Gui Mei is like a shadow. Sometimes tiny head, sometimes vanishing it can be. Yue Guan stopped by a pool, steps light. He pointed at a blur. About 350 years. Too young. Waste your physique. The next day, ranked 25th on the list, the Diamond Ape. Yue Guan crouched on a fallen log, staring at a huge black ape pounding the ground. 700 years is too high. You would deal backlash, and it's too far back on the list anyway. By dusk of the third day, they encountered a black armor rhino, ranked 11th overall. Yue Guan scrutinized it thoroughly. This age fits 500 to 700 years, but the ranking isn't high. We can still look around some more. Find a top 5 beast or number 1. Ghost Paw materialized in the shadows and said flatly, forward to the mixed border zone. Variety east is much richer. On the 4th day, they arrived near a swampland. The vegetation here was denser and more overgrown, and the air carried a damp, fishy stench. An armored earth crocodile, ranked 7th. The age is off way too low. Rank 4 python, too old. Skip. He followed, feeling a bit helpless. He had to admit, search for a spirit beast perfectly tailored for himself would be excruciatingly dull and tedious. Many beasts fit, but ages were wrong. Or the ranking wasn't ideal enough. Fortunately, because Yue Guan and Ghost Paw were both titled Paw level powerhouses, they hadn't encountered any. Powerless spirit beasts charging into attack. Just a faint, passively radiating aura of a titled Paw was more than enough to make these beasts keep their distance. Don't sweat. Yue Guan patted your head. Hunting takes time. Aim for the top. On the morning of the 10th day, Ghost Paw abruptly halted. He signaled silence. All 3 froze. In the depths of the dense forest up ahead, you could faintly see a pale, golden glow, emanating from vines coiling around a giant tree. The vines were as thick and sturdy as an arm. Golden patterns, thick leaves, resilient. The entire network of vines sprawled across the treetops, like a sleeping giant python. Yue Guan narrowed his eyes, observing for a moment, his lips slowly curling into smirk. Out of minds, this is the number 1 pick among the 30 suitable spirit beasts. A rare bloodline, with an extremely singular ability, hero defense. And it's a plant-type spirit beast. You have to realize, my chrysanthemum soul is plant-type too. Granted, a plant type can still absorb animal spirit beasts, but if we can find a plant-type soul beast with matching bloodline, that's obviously the better play. Near the flora, Gui Mei watched for a moment, judging by the thickness of the vines and those golden patterns. It's just over 600 years old, right in Xiao Yuan's wheelhouse. Yue Guan cracked a grin. Lucky break. This is harder than the iron-armored dragon turtle. Golden vines are a damn rare find among plant-type soul beasts. 0 attack power, can't even move. Its only move is insane defense. And since it's rooted so deep to claim its spirit ring, sever the roots first or it regrows. Do it. Gui Mei's voice was flat. Gui Mei glanced at you. Xiao Yuan, what's your take on this soul beast? You nodded, Papa Minor. This one works. These past few days. Sure, you haven't crammed enough theory yet, but this golden vine was high on their priority list for this trip. The age assessment of a golden vine. Potential skill sets it might drop. You got all locked down. Gui Mei didn't waste another word. In a blur, he was in front of that giant tree. Both hands pressed against the trunk. Black nether force crept down the roots, sinking deep into the soil. Golden vine's roots run deep and tough, like an ironclad web. Gui Mei's nether force moved like something alive, seeping through every single root fiber. Soon, the giant tree started to tremble. The dirt bulged and caved in on itself. The golden vines thrashed violently, the golden veining flickering, fighting it. But against a level 95 Gui Mei, its resistance was a joke. Minutes later, every root was totally corrupted by the nether force. The vines started to wither, their golden sheen draining fast, turned dull and lifeless. Yue Guan shouted from the side, Xiao Yuan, finish it. You pulled a dagger from your soul tool. Stepping up, you found the main root. One clean slash. The golden vine was dead. A golden light bled from the cut, slowly solidifying into a yellow spirit ring. You didn't bother with the nether true capture blade. You just learned it. Barely worked. Power's trash. Aim's even worse. A dagger's way more reliable. Gui Mei appeared beside you, voice low. Just guide the ring like we taught you. Focus energy to the food system path. I know I sound a little woo-woo out there, but it just might tip the odds in your favor. Since this golden vine is a defense-type spirit beast, it's going to offer you 2 random draws. One is a standard defense system skill, and the other is food system. You nodded and sat down cross-legged, beginning to draw the spirit ring in, psychically chanting, food system, food system, food system. Calling this mystical isn't entirely accurate. Ancient bloodlines across the Dodowa continent, like the white tiger or blue lightning, they all have fairly rigid first 3 rings. How exactly do they land their desired skills? Hunting the same type of beast couldn't possibly yield the exact same skill every time, could it? After all, everyone knows skill production is randomized. That leaves only one possibility, a soul master's focused intent. During the absorption, obviously, that theory's never been proven. But you figured it costs nothing to just think it. Whether this ring goes food or defense, you can still cultivate with it. As the ring merged into your body, a colossal surge of energy flooded your limbs and core. Golden vines force raged. You gritted teeth and forced that power along the pathways of your meditation method. Sweat beaded on your skin, your complexion turning pale. But you'd taken the golden gel, your physique outclassed your peers. No big deal. A day and night passed. The spirit ring on your body stabilized, its radiance receding, solidifying around you. But the next moment, a sudden anomaly erupted. Your first spirit ring abruptly shifted from yellow to a deep violet. The glow of a 1,000-year spirit ring swirled around you. Your spirit power spiked sharply, and right after, a bow-shaped weapon materialized out of thin air before you. Dark purple bow, deep abyssal shine, exuding an aura that made heart palpitate with dread. Yuan and Guime both caught their breath simultaneously. That aura was overwhelming. It felt like a force transcending the very fabric of this world. Just a residual shockwave emitted. Their scalps tingled. Old ghost, what's this? Yuan's voice dropped low, visibly tense. Guime shook his head. I don't know either. Wait, this sounds vicious. I don't interfere yet. From the looks of it, his life isn't in danger. Just then, you slowly opened your eyes and stood up, staring at the bow, baffled. Per the plan, you intended to take the ring's age limit and blamed age boost on ancient legacy. Yuan and Guime spoke simultaneously. See how Yuan this is? You paused for a beat, then said, Papa Prime, Papa Minor. I just got a celestial legacy. This is the divine artifact he gave me, and my spirit ring's age limit was also boosted by him. An ancestral legacy? Yuan and Guime's eyes widened simultaneously. Even experts were stunned. You nodded. But I don't know what this artifact is called. The legacy just descended upon me. It doesn't seem to require anything from me right now, just to keep cultivating diligently. Yuan steadied his breathing. May we take a look at this bow? He nodded, and handed the shadowed wings bow over. Guime reached out to take it, but the moment his fingertips touched the bow's body, a surge of dark energy exploded out, piercing straight into Guime's core. Guime recoiled, face pale. Papa Minor, are you alright? Old ghost, you and Yuan shouted in unison. Guime shook his head. I'm fine, I'm alright. But this artifact, it sold out. When I touched it just now, I felt a searing spike in my mental core. The bow was incredibly light. It felt crushingly heavy. He paused, a trace of lingering fear in his voice. Of course, that was just my initial reaction. I don't dare touch it again now. Curious, Yuan asked, can you use this artifact now? And can you store it away? At my current spirit power level, it's probably a struggle to use. Even if I could, I'd likely only manage to fire a single arrow. With a mere thought, the shadowed wings bow vanished from your hand. Guime calmed his breathing. We'll tell your teacher later. Maybe he'll know something. And if he doesn't, the Grand Elder might. Yuan nodded. Yes, set that aside for now. Receive an ancestral artifact. For you, kid, this is a monumental stroke of luck. Your first ring's 1,000-year one. Carefully sense your core. What's your current spirit power rank? Food or defense type? You paused. Carefully examined the changes within, and then said, it should be rank 14 spirit power. Rank 14? Yuan looked puzzled. That shouldn't be right. The 600-year ring boosts 2 ranks max. Guime said, maybe it's because of that artifact. Or maybe the ring's age was bumped up. So you got an extra 2 levels. You smirked inwardly. No need to explain. The extra 2 levels were from the upgrade. The 2 bonus levels you got at the start. You train and gain another 2 levels yourself, meaning hitting spirit power level 16. The upgrade triggers again, launching you instantly to level 17. You released your primary martial soul, the chrysanthemum de law. You recited the soul incantation. A chrysanthemum petal appeared in your palm. The golden petal edges glowed with a soft halo. You made a faint, clean scent. This is my first spirit ring ability. It's called the chrysanthemum hard guard petal. Upon eating, gain 50% defense and resistance for 3 minutes. Yuan's eyes lit up. A 50% boost to both defense and resistance? Not bad at all. How many can you make at once? And what's the shelf life? You said, with my current spirit power, I should be able to make 10 petals at once. They last for 1 month. Yuan nodded, satisfied. That kind of shelf life for a food type. Soul Master is exceptionally good. Most low-level food type Soul Masters craft snacks. That goes stale in hours, a few days tops. A month is plenty of time to stockpile petals. This will be incredibly useful for the spirit hall. You stared at the petal in your hand, suddenly curious. What would happen if you took it yourself? Would it be the usual half effect for the crafter? You swallowed the chrysanthemum hard guard petal whole. The petal dissolved in your tongue, and a warm surge of energy spilled. It coursed through your body, enveloping you in golden light. Loomed across your skin. The glow was faint, but it had a dense, indestructible texture. Unbreakable body. Yuan shouted in fear, in shock. Haha, no way. That golden glow is the signature of an unbreakable body. Xiao Yuan, how do you feel? Yuan looked at you with your anticipation. I mean, the whole reason we chose the food type path was exactly for this outcome, wasn't it? You took stock of the changes in your system. The buff is pretty much exactly what I predicted. It's halved. Only a 25% boost for me. But after taking it, I do feel something shifting. Feels like something deep in my body is being slowly rewritten. Could that be the unbreakable body you mentioned, Papa Prime? Yuan nodded rapidly. This golden aura doesn't lie. Make 2 more. Papa Minor and I will try them. You nodded, quickly chanting the soul incantation twice. 2 halves of the Jilin hard guard petal materialized in your palm. You handed them to Yuan and Guime. Each drank 1. Pupils shrank instantly. Because they just discovered something absolutely mind-blowing. Your first spirit abilities, defense and resistance boost, was a flat 50%, even for them. The amplification ratio was fixed. Yuan and Guime exchanged glance. They saw the same shock mirrored in each other's eyes. You have to understand, any edibles created by food type soul masters typically only work at full effect on people, at or below their own rank. For example, something made by Soul King has a fixed amplification ratio for anyone's Soul King and under. But against the titled, low-level powerhouse, the ratio drops off a cliff. Spirit power quality of food itself is the limiting factor. Something cooked up by Soul King could never deliver the same punch to a titled law. Simple as that. In the original timeline, Ayasuka's super recovery sausages were still ridiculously effective late game for ordinary soul masters. But for Tang San and the Shrek 7 Devils, the impact was nowhere near as pronounced. Only unknown auxiliary martial soul on Doa, renowned for a fixed amplification ratio. The 7 treasures glazed pagoda. Looked like a glaring flaw, maintaining that same buff ratio on a higher ranked soul master. Costs way more spirit power. The food you make? No such drawback. The spirit power consumed to create a single petal is a fixed cost. Plus, the 7 treasure blaze pagoda's buffs have a strict timer. Your support? As long as you're carrying enough petals. It's basically infinite, and has your own cultivation source. The duration of each petal's buff will likely get even longer. Remember, most of yourself. Even you missed this celestial trait. Who ever created celestial blaze, for example, could be this insanely effective? This basically means if you go full food type route right now, you can buff Tidal Dolual legitly. You wait one, steadied his breathing, then added. Beyond that, this first spirit ability of yours can indeed assist in cultivating an adamant body, only for identical martial souls. It's functional for me, even if it's just a tiny sliver. I can feel the change. But for your Papa Minor, the body lacked at Golden Aura, so probably useless. You nodded. As long as it works on Papa Prime, that's enough. I'll whip up a bigger batch later. That way, you can forge a diamond physique too, Papa Prime. Yuan is an assault type soul master. His strength lies solely in the chrysanthemum martial soul itself. He's just a wielder of the weapon type spirit. His physical body doesn't have the adamantine trait, even when he activates spirit avatar state. It's still a far cry from a true diamond physique. That's just the nature of the chrysanthemum. You have to consume it to get the diamond effect. Alright, that's enough. Let's back. Go to Los Flappy. Your teacher awaits a debrief. They packed up and began the journey home. The return trip also took 5 days. Day 5 evening, 3 returned to Spirit City in Grand Ponifal. Dawn was seated in her usual spot on the throne. Linus stood just below the dais. You're back. Dawn's gaze settled on you. How was the harvest? Did you acquire a satisfactory spirit ability? You stepped forward. Teacher, it went really well. You summoned your first martial soul, the chrysanthemum, channeling spirit power. A purple spirit ring rose slowly from beneath your feet, orbiting around you. Purple. Ulaina gasped. Her hand flying her mouth. By Dawn's pupils constricted sharply. 1,000-year first ring? That's impossible. Ghost of Law stepped in to explain. Your eminence, calm yourself. During the absorption process, Xiao Yuan received the legacy of an ancient one. The ring's age was elevated to the 1,000-year level because of it. He also received a legacy divine artifact. By Dawn rose from her seat, her sharp gaze cutting into you. Summon this artifact. Let me see it. You nodded. With a thought, the shadow wing bow materialized in your palm. His dark purple body radiated heat of his luster, and that heart-stopping aura began to spread once more. By Dawn's form flickered. In a flash, she left the throne and stood before you. She reached out to touch the bow's body. Yuan and Ghost of Law were too late to stop her. The moment By Dawn's fingertips raised, the shadow wing bow, its dark energy detonated. That aura, as if alive, crawled up by Dawn's fingers and invaded her mental sea. By Dawn's face turned heavy veil. She recoiled as electrocuted, stumbled back 2 steps. Her breathing hitched slightly, a flash of shock in her eyes. Teacher, are you alright? You asked urgently. By Dawn pulled himself together, shaking his head. It's fine. This artifact is already bonded with master, and the energy holds his way too overpowering. Even I couldn't force a touch on it. Looks like no one else can touch this thing besides me. By Dawn fell silent for a moment. He was just about to speak up, but then a figure materialized in the hall without a single sound. The man had long golden hair, looked middle-aged, just standing there. He didn't emit a single trace of spirit power, yet he gave off a crushing sense of pressure. Xin Dao Lu glanced at the shadowing bow in your hand. A flicker of interest crossed those old eyes. A divine aura. Xin Dao Lu's deep, rumbling voice echoed through the whole Grand Ponifal. Faint as it is, it's definitely the aura of a celestial being. The vibe in the room turned a little tense. Xin Dao Lu's gaze locked right onto you. Boy, where did you get this bow? You knew you had to be straight with him. Grand Elder got it from the artifact legacy. Xin Dao Lu went quiet for a few seconds, a cryptic expression spreading across his face. An artifact legacy. Interesting. Xin Dao Lu then added, how do you like to become my disciple? Xin Dao Lu. By Dawn's brow furrowed. He looked seriously pissed. He's already my disciple. The hall went silent for a few seconds. Xin Dao Lu sighed. Forget it. Spirit Hall has finally produced a genius with a divine tier legacy. As his teacher, make sure you train him well. Xin Dao Lu stared at By Dawn. There was some unreadable meaning hiding in those eyes. He knew damn well that By Dawn had also inherited the legacy of some ancient one. He just didn't lay all his cards on the table. After all, that dark, edgy. By Dawn's force opposes angelic holy energy. As the Grand Elder, there's no way he wouldn't feel that clash. And the reason he could sense the aura radiating from the shadowing bow in the first place. With that, Xin Dao Lu pulled out a token. In your hand, this token opens the sanctuary. If anything comes up that your teacher can't handle, come find me there. Before words faded, Xin Dao Lu left the hall. You stared down at the token in your hand. You stood there, looking at BB Dong a bit lost. Teacher, this token. Yuan and Gue marry your fathers, after all. You know the bad blood between the Pontiff Hall and Sanctuary. At least on the surface. You have to ask BB Dong about this. Otherwise, it's a huge disrespect. BB Dong paused for a moment and said, since he gave it to you, just keep it. But I don't think you'll ever have a problem that requires his help. Your teacher's power is not inferior to Xin Dao Lu's. You're my disciple. I will teach you myself. There was a hint of rivalry in BB Dong's voice. I thought her newly accepted disciple, being scouted by that old fossil Xin Dao Lu, left a really bad taste in her mouth. After that, BB Dong looked at you and warned you very seriously. Unless your life is in mortal danger, do not reveal this divine artifact. If other outside factions discover it, you're still too weak. Even though you were my disciple, there's no guarantee they won't try to take you out secretly. With your Papa Minor around, it's unlikely to happen. But you still need to be careful. You nodded. Understood. Teacher. Following BB Dong's signal, you reported your new first spirit ring's effects. Golden Rule reigns supreme. You recited the soul incantation, a golden petal condensed in your palm. My first spirit ability is called Chi Rome Heart Protecting Petal. After consumption, defense and resistance both increase by 50%. It lasts 3 minutes. I can make 10 petals at a time, and they store for a month. BB Dong listened, and for once showed a hint of smile, worthy of food-type martial soul with innate full spirit power. The effect of your first ability is way stronger than other food-type soul masters. 50% boost seems small, but the characteristic of food-type systems, not the 7 Treasures Pagoda's insane boost. The initial amplification ratio isn't that high. Its strength lies in pre-production and massive storage. Alongside that, other soul masters simply don't possess, like flight ability, instant recovery of injuries and spirit power, etc. Furthermore, this ability of yours provides the same amplification to high-level soul masters. This will be extremely helpful to Spirit Hall's future. Plus, first ring food already has a month-long storage time. Besides the fact this is a celestial grade martial soul. It's your 1,000-year first ring. And when we inevitably clash with the 2 empires, you'll be the true definition of a one-man army support unit. A feat even a 7 Treasure Pagoda soul master couldn't manage. By Dawn's tone shifted suddenly. Xiao Yuan, Yuan and Gue Mei possess the martial soul fusion technique. I boulder static domain. Now that you hold both the seraphic, chrysanthemum, and the ghost plus martial soul, try fusing the 2 martial souls to unleash a fusion skill. Honestly, you've thought about trying this before. The reason you haven't is because you figured it's pointless to attempt right now anyway. No spirit ring attached, even with compatibility. Can it actually be activated? You ask your mentor. Right now, only my seraphic chrysanthemum has a spirit ring. My second martial soul is empty. Are you sure this can work? Bye Dong said coolly. You'll never know unless you try. Granted, your seraphic chrysanthemum is on the food type path, not direct combat. However, a fusion skill is all about the resonance between the martial souls themselves. It's not about specific path soul. It has to take to meet some arbitrary condition. Otherwise, we just call it spirit ring fusion, not martial soul fusion. You nodded and stood in the center of the great hall, pushing both martial souls into motion. You raise your right hand, the seraphic chrysanthemum blooming, golden petals stacking endlessly. You spread your left hand, Ghost Olaw's soul coiling like black mist on your fingers, gold and black, opposing forces weaving through your body. Having flame martial souls doesn't automatically mean you can use both at the same time. Take Bye Dawn. Her two souls are both beast type, Spider Empress. To use the other soul, she has to manually switch over. But you don't. One of your souls is a tool type, the seraphic chrysanthemum. The other is an innate body type, martial soul. No spiritual conflict. So simultaneous use is possible. You try to meld them together. Golden and black light continuously collided around your body. Gradually, the golden light began to seep into the black, and the black mist began to swirl around the golden petals. The fusion is starting. Only ring was on the seraphic chrysanthemum. Bye Dawn and the other stood off the side. Their gaze is fixed unblinkingly on you. Following that, a bizarre domain ripple radiated from you, a wave so faint, delicate like a ripple across still water. But Hulina felt it most acutely beside you. Her pupils contracted. She could clearly feel her body seize up for a split second. Just a flash. But that binding sensation was unmistakably real. You felt your spirit power draining at a savage rate, like something was frantically siphoning it out. Face went pale, sweat forming. The fusion glow lasted barely a second before slowly fading away. The projection separated back in you. You gasped, Master failed. No, Bye Dawn looked at you, voice flat. It didn't. You succeeded, Bye Dawn stated. Your second soul has no rings. Even with a successful fusion, the static domain's power is mediocre at best. Only attached spirit rings to that second martial soul. All of them 10,000 year class and above. Coupled with the fact this is an auto soul fusion. Your compatibility will far surpass Wegwan and Guamaze. The static domain you wield in the future will inevitably be stronger than theirs combined. Finished. Bye Dawn pulled a journal from a robe and handed it to me. These are my personal notes on cultivating twin martial souls. Use it as a reference. Thank you, Master. You took it, even though you technically knew how to cultivate them. It was basically just brute forcing through with your physical body, with Bye Dawn's experiential insights boosting you. Wielding the twin souls later would be a hell of a lot smoother. Hulina walked up then, a smile playing on her lips. Congrats, junior brother. Bye Dawn then dismissed you to rest. Hulina lingered by your side. Yueguan and Guamei were ordered to stay behind. Bye Dawn turned her gaze upon the two. Since Xiao Yuan chose to start with the food system route, his combat power will be somewhat weak before he matures. Any suggestions? Papa Prime or Minor? Guamei bowed. Your Eminence, I'm already instructing Xiao Yuan on how to apply his second martial soul. Give it a year or so, and he'll possess rudimentary self-defense abilities. But without spirit rings, that second martial soul's offensive power might remain on the weaker side. Yueguan added, Your Eminence. The chrysanthemums Xiao Yuan produced himself. Ingesting them can help him forge a diamond physique. So if possible, once we have some downtime, we might teach him a few close combat techniques. Once that diamond physique is fully realized, even if he's a food type soul master, his physical makeup. Facing a salt type soul masters, no disadvantage. A food type going melee, BB Dong frowned. Only because he's so asinine. With that body of his, lacking any martial soul possession, or going bare knuckle games. With beast and weapon martial souls, no way. Before he attunes spirit rings to his second martial soul, he can just stay in his lane as a support type. Besides, he'll be training within Spirit City for years anyway. He won't be in any real danger. That's what BB Dong said out loud. But she scoffed. A food type as frontline? It's not that simple, unless he later bags some totally busted spirit ability, or snags a melee type external soul bone. It's basically a pipe dream. Meanwhile, you and Laina are walking along the corridor. She keeps stealing glances at you. Faint, teasing smile, fucking her lips. Feeling her gaze, you start getting a bit fidgety. Senior, what are you staring at? Laina blinked. Oh, nothing. Just thinking my junior here is kind of cute. She says, inching closer to you. A heady, pleasant scent hits you, like flowers, but with a sugary edge. You discreetly sidestep, putting some space between you. Laina's eyes up again, tilting her head, studying you. Junior, little junior, why are you dodging? Graceful, with a natural, seductive allure. Her voice lilts at the end of her sentences. Only 14, but that bewitching aura is already taking shape. Any normal person would be reduced to a blushing, stuttering mess by now, but with Shadow Wing now shielding your mind. Mental tricks won't work on you, unless you choose to fall. Hard pass, seeing you completely unfazed. Laina switches angles and leans again. Hey, why don't you have any reaction at all? Dryly you say, Senior, if you just step back, I wouldn't. Giggling, Laina takes another step closer. The more you dodge, the closer I get. So you go on. One leans in, the other pulls back, making your way down the hall for a while. Suddenly, Hulaina stops. A look of bafflement crosses her face. Weird. How are you suddenly able to block my charm? My spirit power eclipses yours. Even soul masters at my level can't. Just, no way you're blocking my charm, let alone someone like you. Little junior, I'm 7 years older than you. I'm 13 now, already a level 33 soul elder. At my current pace, I'll hit soul ancestor by 15. He says flatly, that's because of my artifact. All mental seduction, mind control, psychic attacks, useless against me. Hulaina blinks. Then her face lights up with envy. Wow, that's insane. You nod. Recalling Bye Dawn's warning. You add, right, almost forgot, Senior. The artifact. Master specifically said not to talk about it. So don't go blabbing to your brother. But that guy again. Don't slip up. Hulaina just laughs. Relax. I know where the line is. She says that, but her eyes are still scanning you, brimming with curiosity, and something she can't quite name. If she's being honest, she's getting more and more fascinated by her new junior. You just showed up one day as Yueguan and Guamei's kid. And what do you know, you manifest both their martial souls. How that happened? She hasn't got a clue. Seems like it touches on something classified, probably, aside from her master, and the Grand Elder who showed up earlier. Nobody else in Spear Hall knows. You barely awakened your spirit, and boom, a legendary artifact legacy, dual spirits. A Millennium Grade, first ring, and an Aun's divine relic. Hulaina, deep down, is a little jealous. Her own talent solid. Foxfiend spirit, innate spirit power at level 9. But next to you, it's like she's basic. She sighs softly. Little junior, you think you're gonna get monstrously strong? Leave your senior sister here in the dust? You think about it, and say deadpan, probably. Hulaina chokes on your total lack of sugarcoating, and she bursts out laughing. Wow, you really don't feel humble, do you? So, senior, feel that pressure yet? Hulaina pokes your forehead. Fine, you win. But don't get too cocky. Once you're a bit older, I'm totally sparring with you. For real. You look at her. Who We can spar, but your charm's useless on me. I know you're mostly spec'd in a mental control, but I'd still seriously suggest absorbing a few psychic attack skills. Otherwise, the next time you run into someone like me, total mental immunity or high resistance, you'll be in for a world of hurt. Don't be so sure. Hyena raises an eyebrow. Okay, say you can block a psychic attack. Can you block my brother and me's martial soul fusion? I have you swing incredibly. You'll be done for. Other than you, I don't believe anyone else. Could have found a way to counter my mind control. This is the training path my mentor set for me. Specifically, half a year flew by an instant. Your life fell into a fixed 3-point rhythm. Mornings work for researching mechanics of various martials. Afternoons, you hone the nether step and shadow step. Learning herbs with Yuguan. Nights reserved for quiet meditation and cultivation. Between training, you take a miracle heart protection pill, slowly forging an indestructible diamond physique, cycling between refining pills and restoring your spirit power. This is a unique cultivation method of a food type soul master. Others need vast nature for mimicry. A food type soul master just needs a kitchen. The stove is the ultimate training ground. Your free time was mostly spent with your senior sister. Whenever Hyena got tired of training, she'd come by for a chat. She'd always bring snacks. She never gave up. She kept testing her charm. You blocked each time. Defeated, she quit mind games and switched to pinching your cheeks. Her soft cheeks were addictive. You protested every single time, but it was completely useless. You vowed to pinch back once stronger. Hyena couldn't care less. She was all about living in the moment. A scuffle brushed her soft body. Her face flushed. She stayed quiet after. After meditating, you checked your power, froze. You smirked. Spirit power hit level 20. In just half a year, you climbed from level 14 to level 20. A full 6-level leap. Even someone with innate full spirit power, that's insanely fast. Food type is the slowest path. A food type soul master with innate full spirit power, at best, matches innate level 9 speed. That's the common theory. Anyway, the reason you've advanced so fast, besides maxing out your meditation hours every day, the level up score deserves all the credit. Breakthroughs at level 17 and level 20, that was all it's doing. Your own effort added 4 levels. With resources, you're progressively clicking the original game timeline. That guy's still stuck at level 20, while 1 level a month pace. For a food type, that's right. You head out. Your was already waiting outside. He looked up at you, a smile in his eyes. You're in a great mood today. Papa Prime, I hit level 20. The smile on Webon's face froze instantly. Confirm that again. Level 20? He blanked for 2 seconds. He shook his head. Your speed is insane, kid. Even if you were a battle soul master, a genius born with innate full spirit power could match you. It's just diligence, he said, your tone flat. Aside from daily meditation and refining spirit-infused food, polishing my self-created soul skills also boosts my cultivation. Webon reached out and patted your head. Hard work is good, but don't burn yourself out. And there's Nana. She's trained with you for 6 months. No complaints? Remembering who Hyena's sullen, complaining face, you felt amused. She mentioned it. But pushing hard while we're young is how it should be. Spirit Hall's investment can't be wasted. His spirit power is rank 9. Master says before 20 is a soul master's prime. Miss that, speed drops fast. Even after breaking through to Soul Elder, the pace slows down. So of course I have to double down. A deep voice came from the end of the corridor. Kuei was there in his black robes. His face as blank as ever. He appeared, saying, all know these truths. But few truly self-discipline. Cultivation is inherently a tedious grind. Rare to find a kid under 7 so patient. You hit level 20 before turning 7. His progress. Even a late pope couldn't match. Seeing you ready, Yuan led you toward the grand waterfall. With the foundation of your current physical body, a 3,000 to 4,000 year second ring won't be hard. I've already compiled a list of 10 suitable spirit beasts for you. It'll be easier to track them down in Sunset Forest. We're skipping the Star Doe Great Forest this time, mainly because Sunset Forest range is smaller. Beasts easier to find, but you have a hidden goal. Seek the Yin Yang well. In your memories, that secret domain is hidden deep within the heart of Sunset Forest. By now, it's firmly under Dugabo's control. Locate the poison miasma to find the secret realm. Your second skill must match the Qilong Chrysanthemum, focusing on spirit power, stamina recovery, and healing. Similar effect Oscar's first soul skill, the recovery sausage. Extremely practical. A plant-type martial soul pairs best with plant-type spirit beasts. Absorbing an animal spirit ring is possible, but a secondary choice. Your priority ranking goes plant-type, higher beasts, and then common beasts. Top 2 plant-type spirit beasts. First, the rejuvenation vine. Jade green, fuzzy vines, 0 offense. Top tier, self-healing. Sever it, and it regenerates in seconds. Second is the spirit jadewood. Rare, a low shrub variant. Emerald veins coursing with pale gold sap. Vitality off the charts. Fat branch, instant growth. Both are ideal for healing and recovery abilities. You arrived at Grand Hall shortly after. By dawn, sat on main throne. First question, unreadable. Hulana wasn't inside. Still in closed door training. In half a year, Hyena's spirit power jumped from level 33 to 36. At this rate, she'll hit level 40 ahead of schedule. Her gaze landed on you. Level 20. You nodded. Yes, Minter. A flicker of approval crossed her eyes. Impressive. On this trip to the Sunset Forest, Yueguan and Gui Mei will accompany you. No rush. Move only when you find the best fit. Your student will remember. Yueguan and Gui Mei flank you as you step up the hall. Hulana came sprinting down the side corridor. Junior brother, please be careful hunting that spirit beast. With 2 titled Delois as your escort, she knew you weren't in any real danger. Still she came. You waved, laughing. Relax. All gone. You better keep training hard too, or I'll overtake you in no time. Oof. As if. She lifted her chin defiantly. You 3 walked off. Hulana stood at the hall entrance. Watching the direction you vanished, she lingered for a long moment. Then she stepped back inside. Anna has a matter to discuss. Bye dawn lifted her eyes. Hulana took a deep breath. Suppressing nerves. Teacher, I've thought for 6 months. I want to abandon the pure psychic cultivation path. Bye dawn frowned. Reason? Her tone stayed calm, but crushing authority filled the air. Hulana steeled herself and spoke bluntly. If I ever face an opponent in the future who's immune to charm, psychic control, and psychic attacks, I won't be able to use my martial soul fusion skill, demonic allure. I'd lose all combat value. A brief silence fell over the hall. Bye dawn mused privately. The probability was low, but it couldn't be dismissed. She believed psychic soul masters had an edge, but your existence had set off alarm bells. The world's martial souls come in countless forms. More psychic hard counters may appear. Demon Fox martial soul cannot rely solely on psychic methods. She needs offensive or defensive spirit abilities as backup. Proposal? My rings still favor psychic. We need more variety in psychic abilities. Beyond illusions, add pure telepathic assault. Also, Fox martial soul generates fire naturally. I want to weaponize that as an offensive skill. Dual path psychic and fire. Way more tactical flexibility. A trace of approval flickers across BB Dawn's face. Good. I'll recalibrate your training regimen, along with your future spirit ring assignments. The original plan was pure psychic specialization. Tri-Fox synergy must change now. Return to training. I'll handle the rest. Yes, teacher. Ulaina bows formally and exits the grand hall. She doesn't let out her breath until she's past the doors. The forced silence earlier had her on edge the whole time. Relieved, she heads to train. Gotta grind harder. If that junior brother actually overtakes me. Shame absolute. 7 days. Sunset Forest. The trio arrives at designated coordinates. This forest is way smaller than the Stardoe Great Forest. Denser flora, vines choke trees. The air thick with the scent of earth and crushed foliage. Target, a second spirit ring aged 3 to 4 millennia. The group cuts straight toward the core zone. You're walking beside Iguan. A beast compendium open in your hand. All 10 candidates are plant type. Iguan speaks as he walks. Rooted plants, no movement. Lock down their habitat, you find the beast. Mobile beasts need grid sweeps. You nod slightly. There are exceptions, like the tunneling vine. This volume and cultivation can move freely, but plant types like that are insanely rare. Following Spear Hall's records, the group reaches the first known habitat for the rejuvenation vine, a spirit stream valley. Wet moss blankets the ground. Iguan kneels, examines the tendrils, and shakes his head slightly. The rejuvenation vines here are all under 2,000 years. Too weak. Moving on to the next recorded location. Without impatience, you follow close behind. Along the way, you pass several high order plant territories. That dark red cluster, blood clotting grass. Number 4 on the list. 3,500 years. Worth noting, Iguan points to the side. Goei may emerge from the tree shadows. Found Jade Spirit wood up ahead. Second on the list. Let's go check. The 3 of you climb a sunny slope. A few low shrubs for the area. Their emerald leaves, veins of pale gold sap flow slowly. Iguan studies them for a long moment, then sighs. This batch is too young. Keep looking. Along the way, you spot the 7th ranked bloodvine, 9th ranked fern, 5th ranked ginseng. Every find, you silently log the rough age and location of each one. 3 more days are lost to searching and logging. You crest a peak and reach the second growth site for the spring vine. Deep in the woods lies a marsh, thick with misty vapor. The damp, heavy scent of mud hitting your face. Iguan shoves aside a dense thicket brush, scanning the creeping vines of the marsh's edge, his brow tightening. The spring vines here are even younger, barely 1,000 years old. Guime steps out of shadows. Only 2 known habitats left on the list. Let's move. Iguan glances at you. Come on. Next spot. You sigh inwardly. Hunting a compatible soul beast is a real grind. And that other personal agenda? Still a dead end. No sign of a toxic miasma yet. Find Enyong Wellspring first. Grab the Genesis herbs. Then absorb your second spirit ring. That's the dream scenario. But not a single word of this can slip to Yueguan or Guime. The 3 of you push further into the heart of Sunset Forest. Day 10. Still no luck on a suitable soul beast. The group steps into a zone pulsing with strange energy. Ahead, vast green toxic fog is spreading and rolling, blanketing the entire area in layers. Guime frowns. That's a serious toxic miasma up ahead. No telling what kind of soul beast left it. As we go around, he's always cautious. Anything in the core zone of Sunset Forest that can brew a miasma like this is no ordinary creature. Guime is just about to nod and suggests ether. When Guime suddenly speaks up, Papa Prime, Papa Minor, hold up. Both men snap their heads toward him. My martial soul. It's sensing something. A pull? Yueguan blinks. A pull toward what? Yueguan shuts his eyes. Concentrate a moment. My infinite gambit. It's picking up on something. There's an intensely familiar aura inside there. He lifts his eyes to Yueguan. It's Papa Prime. Your martial soul. You're not getting anything? Yueguan's brown is tight. Nothing. Could your senses be off? He's baffled. Honestly, he's a level 95 title de law. How does that be outclassed by Guime? Guime cuts it from the side. If Xiao Yuan is sensing something, we check it out. The 2 of you can guard him. Sunset Forest can't throw anything else we can't handle. Yueguan mulls it over, then nods. Fine. Let's see what's in there. Guime takes point, scouting ahead. Yueguan sticks right beside Guime, unfurling a spirit power barrier to isolate toxic fog. Yueguan kept scanning surroundings. Familiar toxic fog. We're seen. Guime thought to himself. This is Dugibo's poison barrier. You've dealt with him for years. Of course it looks familiar. The trio ventured deeper. The miasma grew thicker. A ghostly energy radiated from Guime. Every movement within a 100-meter radius was under his control. Fog thinned quickly. Their vision cleared instantly as they passed through the toxic veil. Hidden valley appeared. Seekless, isolated from the outside world. Crater-like vent atop. A faint hot spring scent wafted out from it. Guime pointed toward the summit. Papa Prime, Papa Minor, let's check out down there. That presence is coming from below. Yueguan and Guime exchanged a glance. With a slight nod, black mist surged around Guime. Flash descent to floor. Valley view stunned. Guime still gasped sharply. Rare herbs, vivid hues. Each glowed. Center held. Red-blue pool. Left fiery. Right icy. Unmixing. Clear divide. Warm scent. Was actually emanating from this pool. Yueguan stood at the edge of the valley, frozen stiff. Eyes widened, lips shook. In ancient legends, voice rose. Then, spotted Genesis herb. Blinked. Before it, rare chrysanthemum. It's actually a wild Chiron Skirich chrysanthemum. Excitement made his voice tremble slightly. Guime was utterly baffled. Old chrysanthemum. So valuable? He knew absolutely nothing about herbal medicine. He only knew that brightly colored plants mostly hid deadly poison. Gaudy herbs seem ominous. Yueguan calmed. Old ghost. You see it wrong. These treasures outclass our herbs. Xiao Yuan's body. 6 months teaching him. You should know the ropes here. To put it simply, no great herb that matches the Soul Master constitution can directly enhance their innate talent. Enhance talent? Guime doubted. Miracle? So it's basically on par with a soul bone. Yueguan lets out a light laugh. You hit the nail on the head. A Genesis herb is worth just as much as a soul bone. If I had to choose between a Genesis herb and a soul bone, under 100,000 years, I take the herb. No question. That's a heavy statement. Yueguan mulls it over. If he absorbs this Elysian chrysanthemum, his power cap could hit level 97. That's the absolute ceiling of his current foundation, without a centennial soul ring and bone. Level 98's off the table. A subcentennial soul bone, though, would only push him to 96 max. The difference is night and day. He stares at the herb in his hand for a long moment, then turns and offers it to Guime. Xiao Yuan, you should absorb the Elysian chrysanthemum. Guime freezes. He does want this herb. Badly. But Yueguan's martial soul is also the Elysian chrysanthemum. Identical compatibility. Valley's full of herbs. Yueguan could easily pick another one to power up. Why? Surprised? Yueguan's smile is gentle. I'm not some power-hungry monster who'd trade his family for strength. I'm already a level 95 assault type, title de law. Absorbing this would patch a few of my weaknesses. But the ceiling's still 97. You're food type. Your defenses are garbage right now. Absorb this, and you'll unlock an adamant body. As you level up, Your physical resilience will rival any B-Soul master. You've got twin martial souls, a self-fusion skill, and an ancient artifact, your potential dwarf's mine. He eyes the herb-filled valley, nonchalant. As for me, I'll just find another Genesis herb. More than enough. I'll even help you pick a compatible one, old ghost later. Guime gives a flat nod, utterly deadpan. Inwardly curious, Papa Prime spoke first. So he wants to drop the fake routine, silently filing the debt away. They'll pay him back once he's powerful enough. We're family, all of us. No more formalities. Do it. Wigwan, you go first. We got your back. Guayuan nods. Cross-legged by the spring, he takes the Elysian chrysanthemum, inhales deep and swallows. The second the energy hits his system, a colossal yet gentle force explodes. It surges through every meridian, flooding his bones. It's like invisible hands are hammering him into a new shape. Focused, he channeled the herb's power through meditation. After a few hours, his eyes snapped open slowly. His spirit power was still locked at level 20, but the qualitative change in his body was undeniable. Golden light coated his skin, heavy as armor. Diamond body forming. Feeling? Yuan's eyes were filled with concern. Smooth enough. Gui Yuan curved his lips. I have a hunch. After I absorb my second spirit ring, I might be able to blast through to level 30. The usually stoic ghost law, gasping. Level 30? Shocked. Under 7, awakened half a year ago. In order to break through level 30, Yuan goes to law, exchange plans. Their emotions were tangled, shocked by his cultivation speed. Yet relieved this prodigy was theirs. Suppressing his chaotic thoughts, Yuan spoke. How far has the diamond body actually progressed? Gui Yuan scanned his internal state. Just the initial stage. Still a long way from perfection. But my defense has spiked significantly compared to before. Common blades can't even scratch my skin now. Then that Genesis herb wasn't wasted. Yuan nodded. Papa Prime, Papa Minor. I was absorbing the herb just now. Did you guys pick out suitable herbs for yourselves? I found 2 decent ones, Yuan answered. A diamond clematis. It can drastically sharpen the edges of my chrysanthemum petals, and a netherworld shadow flower, which matches your ghost attribute. Perfect for nourishing your martial soul's origin. Ghost Aloha, no joke, just nodded. Do you want to pick another herb? Yuan looked at Gui Yuan. Twin martial souls. One more's fine. Gui Yuan already had a plan in mind and tested the waters. Want 3. Can I absorb all? 3. Yuan frowned. No way. Absorbing too many Genesis herbs at once is overkill. Medicine is poison. Last power is undigested. Stacking herbs may clash, which will only wreck your foundation. He expected to be shot down. Gui Yuan calmly explained, I know my limits. Look at the 2 banks of the spring. There are herbs with extreme fire and ice attributes growing there. I plan to use them for an ice-fire body tempering. Yuan followed the direction he pointed. On the bank of spring, the plants of crimson red. Left leaves flame dance. Right, icy blue. Exuding chilling cold. These 2 were indeed extraordinary. Yuan narrowed his eyes. On the left is the Inferno WI rim. On the right, the Frostbane octagon. Opposing herbs, spring water as buffer. Together, ice-fire body tempering. Ghost Law chimed in. I saw in the Spirit Hall's archives. Ancient text method. I doubted it. Yuan mused thoughtfully. Besides these 2, what's the remaining one over there? Ghost Law pointed an inconspicuous herb nearby. Dew of the Forgotten River. My second martial soul is soul-based. This Genesis herb happens to amplify spiritual force. Yuan pondered for a moment. Since you're confident, give it a try, but leave the Dew of the Forgotten River for now. Wait half a year, maybe a year. Wait for herbs to digest first. That was exactly what Yuan had planned. Actually, no questions. For herbs at once. Chaotic. Do it. As Yuan's voice faded, he released his martial soul, the miracle chrysanthemum. 2 sharp petals detached and flew out like blades, cutting both herb stems precisely. The ghost of the wall acted in sync. 2 spectral hands emerged beneath the spirit herbs, cradling them. Herbs clash. Cold versus heat. Neutralized, aura calms. He remembered clearly what Yuan had just said. Out of vision. It must be consumed within 10 breaths. Otherwise, the efficacy drops drastically. He immediately thrust the 2 herbs in front of Yuan. Yuan grabbed one in each hand and shoved them both into his mouth. A scorching and freezing force instantly clashed within his body. Left eye's pain, right burn. The tearing pain instantly drenched his forehead in cold sweat. He clenched his jaw tightly, refusing to let out any cry of pain. He had long since cultivated an indestructible body. Tempering boost. Minor for him. The trait exclusive to these fusions. The immunity to all poisons. With that attribute. Food soul. No rings for antidotes. Food path. Self-made road. Looking after others came second. He leaped into the yin-yang spring. Red and blue currents enveloped him completely. Dual forces help break down power. The torment caused by spring water was evident. Standing on the bank, Yuan's palms were damp with cold sweat. You don't think Yuan will have a problem, do you? He turned his head towards Ghost. We just tested the waters, even with our cultivation levels. It hurts like hell if we don't shield ourselves with spirit power. Ghost's gaze was locked onto the surface of the water. He looked calm on the surface, but his clenched fist betrayed the tension inside. Those 2 Genesis herbs will protect him. Trust in Xiao Yuan. His voice was steady, but his eyes never left the lake for a second. Time ticked by, and before they knew it, night had fallen. Gui Yuan reformed in the yin-yang well. Yuan and Ghost stood guard on the shore, refusing to leave. But suddenly, Ghost snapped his head up, his sharp gaze piercing towards the valley ridge. Something moved. Yuan's instincts flared instantly. Spirit power surged around him. A green silhouette plunged from the valley entrance, moving at extreme speed, dragging a thick aura of toxic mist. He landed, staggered, and hit the ground, to barely steady himself. It was Dugubo. His state was visibly wrong. His face a sickly mix of green and white. Veins bulged, face twisted in pain. The phosphor surged him inside and flared up. That's why he rushed to Sunset Forest at this hour, hoping to use the yin-yang well's environment to suppress the toxin. But then, ignoring the searing pain in his body, Dugubo suddenly realized he wasn't alone here. And he knew both of these 2, especially Yuan. Their history wasn't short. He scanned the surroundings. Several herbs were gone, vanished without a trace. A raging fire ignited in his skull. Juwaguan, what the hell are you doing here? This is my damn herb garden. Dugubo's voice was hoarse and livid. Did you pick my herbs? Yuan raised an eyebrow and smiled, taking his sweet time. No wonder the toxic miasma outside felt so familiar. Turns out it's your handiwork, you old poison freak. But you're looking a little rough around the edges right now. 2 titled Dolua here. You sure? Yuan could clearly see that something was seriously wrong with Dugubo. He probed. You've been poisoned? Dugubo sneered. None of your business. But right after those words, he let out a muffled grunt. A trickle of blood seeped from the corner of his mouth. Jade phosphoric serpent venom nearly broke loose. And now this fury just sent over the edge. The toxins are raging even more violently inside him now. He can't even spare a thought for Yue-Wan and Gui-Mei. Sits to suppress poison. Green mist cycles from skin. His face goes pale and flushed pale again. Gui-Mei glances over at Yue-Wan. He lowers his voice. How do we handle this? Yue-Wan shakes his head. Ignore the old poison freak for now. He's clearly been poisoned. He needs this environment to suppress it. I never expected this. The continent-famous Poison Dolois poisoned himself. There's a touch of pity in his tone, but his expression hardens. He and Dugubo don't exactly get along, but they clashed countless times over the years. Through all that fighting, a strange sort of bond formed. The reason they're connected at all goes back to when Spirit Hall investigated Dugubo's breakthrough to title Dolois. I sent him to recruit Dugubo, but Dugubo refused to join. They fought. After a few more run-ins, you could call them old acquaintances. Seeing Dugubo in such agony, Yue-Wan can't help but speak up. Dugubo, what about joining Spirit Hall? You're poison. Maybe Spirit Hall can cure it. You have to know that. His Eminence, the Pope, specializes in toxins, and you're sitting on a treasure trove without even knowing it. You call this your garden. I say you just happen to be the first one to stumble upon it. Dugubo is desperately trying to suppress the toxins within. Cold sweat pours down his forehead, hearing Yue-Wan's words. His lips twitch, but no words come out. It's not that he doesn't want to speak. He's just in too much pain to even open his mouth right now. Gui-Mei's mouth twitches. Old chrysanthemum. Let him get this poison under control first. Look at him. He's in agony. Yue-Wan nods. They fall silent and retreat to the side, giving Dugubo some space. The night passes, silent except for the surging water of the Yin-Yang Eye Springs. Sits in toxic haze. His face flickering pale and dark. Yue-Wan and Gui-Mei keep watch by the spring where Gui-Wan rests, their eyes glued to the water surface. Time ticks by slowly. Dawn of the next day. The water of the Yin-Yang Eye suddenly erupts in violent turmoil. The surface explodes as a figure rockets out of the spring. Gui-Wan stood there, bare-chested. His skin glowed with shifting crimson and sapphire. The moment he landed, he pulled a fresh set of clothes from his soul tool and got dressed. The outfit he had worn earlier had completely dissolved. The second he entered the Yin-Yang wellspring. Xiaoyuan, how are you feeling? Yue-Wan rushed over immediately. Gui-Mei looked at him too, his eyes filled with concern. Gui-Wan took a moment to assess the changes in his body. A smirk. It worked. Yue-Wan let out a sigh of relief. Good. Gui-Wan scanned the surroundings, his gaze landing on the green-clad figure meditating in the distance. Who is that? What's he doing here? He asked, though he already knew. Yue-Wan followed his gaze and stated flatly, the old poison freak. Poison Dolois took a bow. He's carrying a lethal poison. Came here to suppress the toxins. He ran into us. This is his garden. Gui-Wan gave a nonchalant no and didn't ask further. While Dugubo suppressed toxins, Gui-Wan pulled Yue-Wan and Gui-Mei aside. He signaled Gui-Mei to set a sound barrier. Gui-Mei said calmly, Xiaoyuan, what's on your mind? Don't worry, he can't hear us. Gui-Wan nodded and said, Papa Prime, I heard a story before that you once tried to recruit this Dugubo, but he turned you down. Are you still interested? Yue-Wan thought for a moment and replied, if we can recruit him, we definitely should. After all, he's a title Dolois, and don't let his poor one-on-one skills fool you. In an all-out war, that poison of his is a massive force multiplier. He then let out a sigh. It's a shame the old bastard's too stubborn. He has no intention of joining Spirit Hall. It's not that he thinks Spirit Hall is corrupt. It's because he was apparently saved by a prince of the Skirich Empire earlier in his life. To repay the debt, he and his granddaughter live in Skirich City. Not an official retainer, but to outsiders. He's already aligned with Skirich. No difference at all. From that, you can actually tell that the old poison freaks got some serious character. After hearing Yue-Wan out, Gui-Wan finally revealed what he was getting at. Well then, Papa Prime, I'd say now's our chance. Isn't he dying from poison? What if we cured him? Wouldn't he be indebted to us then? Yue-Wan paused, taken aback. You have a way. That poison didn't look simple. It took down a title Dolois like him. Generally speaking, soul master who cultivates of entry soul should have insane poison resistance. Gui-Wan said calmly, if this were before, I'd be helpless. But now, things have changed. Chapter 16, an agreement reached. Keeping the Yin-Yang well secret. Hungry for the tea, Yue-Wan asked intrigued. What's the plan? Gui-Wan said, Papa Prime, Papa Minor, didn't I just absorb the Inferno, WYRM, and the Frostbane Octagon? Those two Genesis herbs didn't just temper my body with ice and fire. They made me completely immune to all poisons, which means my blood is the bane of most toxins. I'm saying, if we use my blood as a catalyst, and balance it with some additional herbs, we should be able to concoct a pill that actually works on Dugubo. But are you absolutely sure we could trust him? Gui-Wan pressed again, even though he believed in Dugubo's character. This was, after all, their very first encounter with the man. Yue-Wan frowned deeply. Hearing Dugubo meant making Xiaoyuan bleed. Sensing Yue-Wan's hesitation, Gui-Wan said, Papa Prime, it just needs a little blood as the catalyst. It won't hurt me. If his character checks out, it'll be totally worth it. Gui-Wan paused, then added, and we want these Genesis herbs here too, don't we? We really only have two options. One, we cure him and get him on our side. Make him our ally. Not necessarily to join Spirit Hall right now. You said it yourself. He values loyalty. We save him, but we don't breathe a word about joining Spirit Hall. He'll know what to do later on his own. Option 2, silence him. Permanently. I mean, with all these priceless herbs in this garden, we can't exactly just let him stumble upon them and walk away. Yue-Wan fell into deep thought. To be honest, he really hated the second option, because if they seriously wanted to kill Dugubo, with his rank 95 power, crushing a rank 91 would be a joke. They wouldn't have bothered fighting this long. Fine then, but give me your blood. No one can ever know your blood has detoxifying properties. Otherwise, it's dangerous. Understand? Yue-Wan's expression was deadly serious. Ghost Dolois grunted in agreement twice. He pulled out a small jade vial and started draining his blood. It didn't take long for the vial to be nearly full, and the wound was already almost completely healed. Possessing an indestructible diamond physique, and having been tempered by ice and fire, Ghost Dolois' recovery rate was absolutely staggering. Oh right, Ghost Dolois said Papa Prime, Papa Minor, there's a second thing. Don't absorb this Genesis herb just yet. Ideally, wait half a year, or a full year after we return to Spirit Hall. Absorbing it may trigger a breakthrough. If the teacher discovers it, how do we explain it? Yue-Wan's eyes narrowed slightly. He said flatly, so you're planning to privatize this place, and not report to Spirit Hall? Ghost Dolois, completely unashamed, nodded. Yeah, not even the teacher can know. Papa Prime, Papa Minor, I'm doing this for our family's sake. I know you two are fiercely loyal to Spirit Hall, but with this mini Genesis herbs and spirit grasses here, the moment we hand them over, we're cut out of the picture. It's not that I'm stingy about sharing these herbs with the teacher or my senior sisters, but I once heard you mention the teacher had a first love, didn't he? Yueguan and Ghost Olaw heard this, and their faces shifted slightly. Yueguan hurriedly said, Xiaoyuan, remember, taboo before the pontiff. Even if you were his disciple now, you absolutely cannot bring it up. Understand? Ghost Olaw replied with a deadpan calm. Of course I know. In this world, the only ones I can trust without reservation are just Papa Prime and Papa Minor. I know you two would never hurt me. As for the teacher, honestly, I don't have much emotional attachment to him right now, because ever since I was a kid, I saw that you two were never really in his favor. The specific reasons, you haven't told me, but I've always seen the truth for myself. Yueguan smiled bitterly. He tapped Ghost Olaw lightly on the head. You little brat, you're really too perceptive. For certain reasons, the two of us are indeed not in His Eminence's good graces. When your powers mature, you'll learn why. Ghost Olaw said flatly, it doesn't matter if we're out of favor. But Xiaoyuan, you're born with dual martial souls. Your potential is literally off the charts. Plus, His Eminence personally took you as his disciple. He wanted you dirty in the long run, the way Yuan stated. Well, when His Eminence decides he's done doing me dirty, and actually brings out a treasure as valuable as Genesis herb, then we can maybe think about giving him one. As for right now, we can't do that. If the teacher finds out about this place, think he'd grab a herb for him? I mean, that's what I'm saying. But Gui Yuan was totally just trash talking. With Bai Dong's cultivation level, he doesn't even need Genesis herbs. What Gui Yuan's really afraid of is Bai Dong turning around and getting herbs you game. So, way better to just keep it secret. Yuan pondered for a moment. Yeah, you got a legit point. Herbs this rare and precious. If His Eminence, eventually, just handed them over to that waste of space Yu Xiao gang, that would be the ultimate goddamn travesty. Hearing this, Gui Yuan smirking knowingly. His papas backed him. Grateful. Though he probably just hit the nail on the head. Those two were only kept around because of their fusion skill, the polar static domain. That's the only reason Bai Dong found useful. Also, since Bai Dong took over as pontiff, he couldn't mobilize too many titled Diluwa right away. Manpower was way too tight, so Yuan and Gay basically just ended up as crucial pawns. Unless they hit the 96th rank, the super Diluwa level, earning sanctuary entry status stays. Who told them they were originally loyal to Qian Sunji's faction? Qian Dao Lu felt mad guilty towards Bai Dong over everything Qian Sunji pulled. So no help for Yu Guan/Gui Mei. Right as they got their thoughts sorted, Du Gubo woke up. Du Gubo stared at the two of them. Oh wait, make that three people. His guard shot way up. Zhu Huaguan, that kid he'd never seen that person here before. Yu Guan said flatly, he's my old ghost son. Du Gubo. Du Gubo legit wondered if his ears were broken. What the hell did he just hear? You're telling me he's your and Ghost Olawa's son? Ghost Olawa's face was massive fear of disbelief. No way. Did Ghost Olawa actually get pregnant? You're both guys. How the hell would you have a kid? Watch your mouth, you old poison freak. Who the hell got knocked up? A vein pulsed in his forehead. He's our adopted son. What are you thinking? You're an old poison. Poison Olawa was still stubborn. You're imagining things. I was just researching a new type of venom. Got myself accidentally poisoned. I just now managed to suppress it. Chrysanthemum Diluwa couldn't help but sneer. Yeah, say your lies were full. Ghost Diluwa, Chapter 17. I think your passion is full of tangled Du Gubo. Gui Mei, who asked for drugs, said he was offended. But Du Gubo clearly didn't notice Ghost Diluwa's darkened expression. His gaze merely swept coldly over the subtle, and the subtle distance between Gui Mei. Then he looked away. Chrysanthemum Diluwa didn't waste any more words on him. He said flatly, I might have a way to treat that toxin of yours. Care to give it a shot? Du Gubo frowned. Why the hell should I trust you? What's the catch? Besides, you don't even know what kind of poison I have. Chrysanthemum Diluwa gave a short laugh. Soul reflux toxin. The real reason the Du Gu bloodline is so thinning out is likely due to that very thing, isn't it? After talking with Ghost Diluwa just now, he pieced it all together. He figured Du Gubo's poisoning had to be the key to it all. After all, his grandfather, his son, and daughter-in-law, they all seemed to die quite young. He was sharply steered and hinted at by Ghost Diluwa's careful wording. Poison Diluwa's pupils constricted sharply. His expression is in the eyes of Yueguan. The corner of Chrysanthemum Diluwa's mouth lifted a smirk. He knew he had hit the mark. Poison Diluwa was silent for a moment, then his voice dropped low. What do you want? He knows there's no such thing as a free lunch. Zhu Huaguan was definitely scheming for something. His thoughts flashed back to what Chrysanthemum Diluwa said while he was suppressing his poison. You wanted to join the Spirit Hall? The truth was Du Gubo was torn with hesitation. Chrysanthemum Diluwa really here. His soul reflux toxin. Did he really have to join the Spirit Hall? He had to remember he was currently in the camp of Prince Shueshing. Or rather, he was helping the fourth Prince Shuebo. The relationship between the Series royal family and Spirit Hall is pretty much pure hostility. Knowing his personality, he'd normally say no. But here's the catch. He's old. Death isn't what scares him. He's got a granddaughter. Yin Yin's barely a teenager. Even if he's deliberately slowing down her training pace. If things keep going like this, the snake venom in her blood is going to erupt one day. Failing that girl is the single biggest regret of his life. He never expected Yueguan's answer to throw him completely off. It's not that. I know you don't want to join Spirit Hall, so I'm not going to force you. Yueguan said flat and direct. But some of the herbs in this garden, I'm taking them with me. Of course, curing your soul toxin will naturally require a few ingredients from right here. Du Gubo froze. That's it. That's his one condition. Is there even a difference between that and asking for nothing? Fine. Du Gubo said, as long as you can cure the Du Gu family soul toxin, help yourself to whatever's here. But fair warning, some of these herbs, even I can't identify them. Poking around could be fatal. One, easy there, old boy freak. My expertise in herbology is hardly beneath yours. I wouldn't have said I could cure you if I wasn't damn sure I could. He caught the look on Du Gubo's face, and had to physically stop himself from burning out. Everything growing in this garden is a priceless treasure. But nah, better not. What if he spills the beans, and the old man suddenly gets stingy? Worst case, when he brews the antidote pills for him, he'll just toss in a few extra herbs that'll do him some good. Yueguan did feel like he was getting short of the stick. The more favors he piles on Du Gubo, and the less he forces him into Spirit Hall, the deeper Du Gubo's sense of debt toward him will grow. It's just a shame Xiaoyuan's so young right now. Otherwise, he wouldn't need to hoard this gratitude like currency. He'd cash it in later. Du Gubo's gaze suddenly locked on Yueguan. So, the little one's really your adopted son? How come you never mentioned him before? Yueguan smirked. What? Is it so strange that the two of us have an adopted son? After all, neither of us is planning on finding some woman to marry. Du Gubo's eye twitched involuntarily. He'd always suspected Yueguan and Gui Mei. More than partners. Not his circus. He wasn't about to stick his nose in. Fine, suit yourselves. Dugubo rose to his feet. He glanced back, then leaped to the valley's mouth. He vanished into the toxic mist. Yuewan had told him earlier, once he finished refining the antidote pills, he'd deliver in 6 months. They were mortal foes. But Dugubo had this much trust in Yuewan. After Dugubo left, Guimei said flatly, "That old poison freak is way too chill." Yuewan smirked. Papa Minor. That just means Papa Prime gets along with him pretty well. Dugubo's character seems decent enough. Yuewan nodded. Alright, enough about him. We need to take cuttings from every Genesis herb here we can harvest. Then pick them and store them on you. We'll also gather some specific herbs and mix them with your blood to refine the antidote. We already made a deal with Dugubo anyway. We detox him, we take some herbs. So, aside from the ones that need to be consumed, shortly after picking, for any other high quality or useful herbs, we're taking them all. Yuewan moved fast, his technique practiced. He left roots and enough leaves on each for regeneration. Yuewan helped sort and store them nearby, packing them into a spirit tool. They worked for most of the day, and the 3 of them stripped the area around the Yin Yang Spring of every valuable herb in sight. Then, they left the valley to resume the search for a spirit beast suitable for Yuewan. After exiting the miasma, Yuewan spoke as he walked. Your body's been reforged by ice and fire now. Your physique is drastically stronger than before. Your second spirit ring can handle at least a 5,000-year absorption. However, plant-type spirit beasts of that age are actually pretty rare. Yuewan nodded, mentally taking note. A 5,000-year plant-type beast was harder to find than an animal one. After 3 days, on the 4th afternoon, they arrived at a hidden ravine, lush with vegetation. Vines tangled. A giant old tree blocked the path. Right at the base of that ancient tree, a green vine spread out, thick as a... At least thick and fleshy, with fine, delicate fuzz glistening faintly under the sun. Yuewan stopped in his tracks and lowered his voice. Evergrowth vine, between 4,000 and 6,000 years. The age is perfect. Yuewan was about to step forward, but Yuewan held him back with an arm. Wait. Behind the tree, a huge figure appeared. A massive, slate-gray herbivore-type spirit beast loomed. Its body was bulky as a small mountain. Jaws chewed the revival vine, sap dripping everywhere. Crush, crush, the sound of destruction echoed. The once mighty vines were now torn apart, a complete mess. Green sap oozed from broken stems, too weak to regenerate. Yuewan's face twisted in alarm. No. In a flash, his right hand shot up. Chrysanthemum martial soul bloomed his palm, radiant and deadly. 9 spirit rings flared. The 6th exploded with blinding light. Golden stamen, flowing aurora. Petals became light beams. They rained down on the 10,000-year beast like a meteor shower. Golden light pounded the beast's hide in rapid, violent bursts. The beast bellowed a low, guttural roar of agony. System, CH18, poison pursuit. Skill 2, rebirth statement, plus 3 level boost. 30 levels just like that. Game on. The beast whipped its head, locking onto the 9 rings around Yuewan. Its colossal body visibly shuddered. Without a second glance, it bolted into the forest depths. Phew. At least I stopped before fish hold plant. Yuewan exhaled, tension leaves. He turned to Yuewan. Xiao Yuan, go ahead. Finish off the revival vine. Revival vine. So, I'm still dying in the end, huh? Yuewan stepped forward, a gleaming dagger in his grip. The revival vine was on its last breath, a mangled wreck. Yuewan found a root. One clean, switch stroke. A jade-green radiance spilled from a gash. In its swirling into a single, majestic spirit, the violet ring hovered, pulsing with a soft, ethereal glow. Yuewan sat cross-legged beside the withered remains. He began to pull, drawing the ring in. The moment the 5,000-year ring's energy hit his system, it was never far from the 600-year ring he absorbed before. The force was a savage, untamed tidal wave. One page through the marines, smashing everything in its path. But Yuewan's body had been reforged. After Genesis, chrysanthemum, refinement, and ice fire tempering. He was a completely different monster from 6 months ago. A golden sheen surfaced beneath his skin, pushing back. It caved to violent shockwave and held it down, rock steady. He guided the ring's energy, circulating along his meditation path, cycle after cycle. The power slowly dissolved, assimilating into his bones and core. A full day and night passed. Yuewan's eyes snapped open, sharp and bright. Surging power pulsed within. Elation hit him. Papa Prime, Papa Minor, I just hit level 30. Yuewan rose, his mind breathed. A booming laugh erupted. Attaboy. Level 30? Hell yeah. Not even 7 and already a soul elder. Who'd believe it? A rare look pride crosses Guimei's face. A 5,000-year spirit ring paired with a Genesis herb. The growth rate is simply staggering. Yuewan steadies himself and quickly asks, how's the second ring ability? Is it the one you wanted? Yuewan nods, raising his right hand. His young heavenly game martial soul materializes in his palm. A second purple spirit ring rises beneath him. Heavenly golden game. Soul bloom, life converge. He murmurs the incantation. A tiny pistol appears in his hand, glowing a faint gold. It radiates a warm, gentle light, as if drenched with fresh morning dew. This ability is called the Chirong Life Bloom Pistol. Restores spirit, stamina, heals wounds. I see. It can be stored for up to a month. Yuewan nods approvingly. A recovery type ability. Just what we needed. And since it's a 1,000-year ring, outshines any basic food master. Even Guimei manages a rare smile. Not bad. This trip's been far more rewarding than expected. After a moment of celebration, Guimei suddenly frowns. What about Xiao Yuan's 3rd ring? Hunting one down isn't the issue. But how do we explain all this to His Eminence when we get back? The question hangs in the air. Yuewan sinks deep into thought. Yuewan had jumped from level 20 before absorbing the 2nd ring, all the way to level 30 right after. The energy of a 5,000-year ring should have boosted a quasi-elder by 5 levels at most. And that's without factoring in energy bleed. Given Yuewan's current strength, absorbing a 5,000 ring weight above class, the amount of energy that would have bled off is probably even more than what a quasi-soul ancestor would lose. Level 20 to 30. A full 10 levels. Those extra 5 levels are obviously from the Qilong Heavenly Game Genesis herb. But we can't tell bye-bye dong that. Otherwise, the whole herb secret would blow up in our faces. Yuewan furrows his brow. If we can't come up with a solid excuse, there's no way we're fooling her. Yuewan thinks for a moment, then speaks. Papa Prime, Papa Minor, how about this? When we get back, we tell the teacher straight up. Simple spirit anomaly is nonsense. We found a radiant chrysanthemum in the wild. After taking it, my spirit power skyrocketed, instantly breaking through to level 30. Ghost Doloa shook his head. If we say that, His Eminence will definitely be suspicious. He'll probably ask us if we found any other Genesis herbs. Even in the worst case, he might even search our bodies. We've been worried about this before. There are really immortals that can improve soul and talent. One is Eminence. Just take them for you, Xiao Zhang. Ghost of the Law said flatly, you can never be too careful. Chrysanthemum Doluwa had already thought of that. He looked at the two of them. Papa Prime, Papa Minor. Do you have any spare storage type spirit tools on you? One big enough to hold all his herbs and spirit grasses. Yuan didn't know what he was up to, but he still took out a spirit storage ring from his pocket. Taking the ring. Wall of fairy grass, spirit grass. Even the ones meant for Yuan and Ghost of Law. To absorb later and stuff them all inside. Then, with a single thought, the shadow wing bow appeared in his hand. The dark, elegant curve of the bow gleamed with a faint luster. Chrysanthemum Doluwa took that spirit storage ring, fitted into a groove on the bow's riser, and pressed down hard. With another mental command, the shadow wing bow, along with the spirit storage ring attached to it, vanished instantly. Yuan and Ghost of Law just stared, dumbfounded. Search me. See if you can find anything. Yuan and Ghost of Law exchanged a look. I didn't think your artifact could still be used like this. You don't need to search it. A standard body search would never reach into a spiritual sea. And even if you search the artifact automatic protection lord, there's nothing to worry about at all. Even Ghost of Law allowed himself a rare smile. That artifact really is something else. Chrysanthemum felt a relief settle. His emotions policy in place. He had real confidence going back to face Speedy Dawn, knowing he had an ace up his sleeve. Then it's settled. Chrysanthemum Doluwa said. When we get back, we say we stumbled upon the radiant chrysanthemum. We don't breathe a word about any other herbs. Yuan nodded. Yeah, that's the plan. Ghost of Law added, caution is the parent of safety. I don't think His Eminence would actually search us. But be prepared. Now that this hidden danger has been solved, our next order of business is to figure out your third spirit ring. Yuan turned to Yuan. So, about your third spirit ring, any thoughts? Yuan mulled it over. Let's stick with the plan we mapped out before. The goal is still a ring that grants a full spectrum stat boost. And he paused, flips an unreadable crossface. An idea clicked, Papa Prime, Papa Minor, maybe this third ring. I could try absorbing one from a 10,000-year beast. Yuan both rose, visibly stunned. Yuan cut in. That beast's death. Absorbing its ring triggers violent soul shock. Psychic backlash. Your academy instructors must have covered this, right? Yuan's lips curved into a faint smile. I'm aware. But with raw stats alone, maybe I haven't hit the mark. But I have a divine artifact anchoring my mind. My strength alone might not yield damage to a beast's lingering death grudge. Yet my umbral wing artifact changes everything. Its boost lets me shatter that grudge outright. He's right, both of them, letting their worry cloud the obvious. Xiao Yuan has an artifact protecting his soul, immune to any spiritual attack below celestial. Chapter 19, the Skull of Psychic Convergence. A 10,000-year berserk iron blood, an unseen bear. After that, Yuan and Guimei signed off on Yuan's proposal. The three of them didn't return to Spirit Hall. Instead, they set a course straight for the Stardew Forest. The original target they had set earlier, his third ring, half to 7 to 8,000 years. But plans? They crumble fast. Now, with an indestructible body, forged in ice and fire, plus the umbral wing, bow, shielding his spirit. But now his limit jumped to 10,000-year absorption. Seriously? You just barely broke through level 30, and you're already eyeing a 10,000-year ring? Yuan mused. No one would believe it. Yuan chuckled. Well, I have the two of you standing right here, don't I? Without body and mind, it's useless. Sacred or not, you take the brunt, Guimei stated. Your endurance is all that matters. The three push forward at brutal speed. Days later, they arrived at the edge of the Stardew Forest. They skipped outer zones, cut to the mixed core. Beasts that were around 10,000 years. Much easier to hunt for the right one. Meanwhile, inside Spirit Hall, Hulaina sat slumped on the steps outside the cultivation chamber. Chin in hand, staring blankly, a thought gnawed. It's been almost a month. Why aren't they back yet? According to the brief, something like a life-returning vine. Shouldn't be that hard to find in Sunset Forest. The more I think, the stranger it feels. What if something went wrong? No. I shook my head, dismissing the thought. With Yuan and Guimei there, two titled Dolaw, even a 100,000-year-old beast couldn't wipe them out. Bye Dom felt the same nagging confusion. But because Yuan and Guimei were the ones dispatched, she wasn't exactly worried about threats within Sunset Forest. There are no 100,000-year spirit beasts there anyway. And even if one showed up, it wouldn't be a match for those two. However, Bye Dom's mind was somewhere else entirely. Seated upon the main throne of the Grand Pond Hall, she gazed at a soul bone radiating a cold, sapphire glow in her hand. It was a cranial soul bone, a brilliant translucent ice blue. Delicate luminescent veins traced its surface, like streams of pure intelligence, coiling in slow motion. Over 60,000 years, a spirit concentrating wisdom skull. When Guimei gets back, I'll finally give him this little surprise. Enhancing a soul master's physical constitution. I never forgot. These past 2 years, Spirit Hall has sent waves of soul Doluwa and soul sages to the oceans, hunting whale-type soul beasts. Their goal? Pure gelatin, especially the 10,000-year kind. Because of that discovery, an idea had already taken root in Bai Baidom's mind back then. Her disciple, Ulaya, I actually shot absorbing a 10,000-year spirit ring while near soul ancestor level. Ulaina's path is purely mental attuned. Her spiritual awareness usually outranks her raw spirit power by an entire tier. If she gets rank 40 and still falls short mentally, I'll have her absorb that cranial soul bone early. That bridges the gap. It's not just for my student. This could boost all the core disciples of Spirit Hall. After occasion by fire from soul masters, master chefs will turn them into specialty dishes. Who gets the credit? Naturally, Yuan. But since he hadn't awakened his martial soul before, so the reward was delayed. This is a massive contribution. Across the long-term, sustainable core strength of Spirit Hall. The only thing fitting enough to give him is a soul bone. The appropriate soul bone, however, hinges on what kind of martial soul Yuan eventually awakened. Bai Dong stared at the bone in her hand. Her eyes flickering with calculating intensity. Originally, since Yuan was just Yuan and Gui, Mei's adopted kid, I was only going to reward the token soul bone. He'd never offer over 50,000 years. Why? Now that Yuan has become his disciple. The same innate talent and celestial legacy quest in play. He obviously has to reassess the stakes. This 60,000-year spirit condensation. Wisdom Skull is his answer. Spirit Hall's vault holds plenty of soul bone stock, but there are only a handful over 50,000 years. This skull is one of the finer pieces in the collection. He's also planning to have Yuan absorb a 10,000-year spirit ring for his fourth order. Yuan's second martial soul is soul itself, another psychic type. But since he hasn't attached any rings to it yet, his mental attributes are still baseline. Based on Yuan's physical growth curve, his body will definitely be ready by rank 40. But his mental fortitude is lagging way behind. He must absorb a skull bone over 50,000 years old. Bai Dong knows the kid has an artifact guardian, granting full mental immunity. Soul shock is no big deal, but can he actively wield the artifact? The perch of vengeful spirits inside the ring? She's not sure if Yuan can. Consciously trigger the artifact during the absorption process. A few days later, fixed zone, Stardew Forest. Guayuan's trio has been scouring this place for nearly 10 days. Plenty of 10,000-year beasts roam here, but few are a match for Guayuan. The Berserk Iron Birch is one of the prime targets they've debated over the past few days. But plant-type beasts like that are rare enough, and the 10,000-year ones are even harder to track. They move. No fixed lair. Xiao Yuan. Maybe consider an animal type. Guay Mei pressed. A third ring with an all-stats boost. Absorbing a beast ring should work too. Yueguan chimed in, relax. Let's keep looking a bit longer. If we really come up empty, then we'll talk. 8:10 dusk. The three were cutting through a dense thicket when Yueguan and Guay Mei froze simultaneously. Movement. Yueguan lowered his voice. From a small valley not far ahead. Trees snapped. Earth trembled. Guay Mei leaped onto a towering tree and peered toward the valley. Moments later, he dropped back down, a weird look on his face. There's a 10,000-year plant type up ahead, locked in combat with some kind of bear beast. I've never seen that bear species before, but based on normal bear type age progression, it shouldn't be at the 10,000-year mark yet, but Guay Mei frowned. Bear beats the plant beast. That plant beast can't even escape. Yuan's interest was piqued hearing this. A plant-type spirit beast? What species? Blood Iron Ragewood? Yuan glanced at Guay Yuan. It's the plant-type beast we've been searching for. Perfect for Xiao Yuan's third spirit ring. Guay Yuan's eyes lit up. Tough bark, berserk trait. Shatters rocks. Rages. After going berserk, all its attributes spike massively. That's why it's rage. Pop. Let's get a closer look. Guay Yuan whispered. The three of them crept silently to the edge of the valley, hidden within the undergrowth. Guay Yuan got a clear view of the battle in the basin. A colossal, pitch-black tree was lashing out madly with its branches. Dark crimson blood runes on its trunk pulsed with light. Its canopy spread, open like a giant umbrella. The edges of its leaves razor sharp. And its opponent was a dark golden giant bear. Bear for meters tall. For a bear type, its movements were freakishly agile. It had dodged the Ragewood's branch strikes multiple times. Its claws raked across the Ragewood's trunk, leaving gashes deep enough to expose the core. Yet when the Ragewood's attacks landed on the bear, his utterly unfazed, his defense was just as monstrous. Crouched behind the bushes. Guay Yuan's people attracted. A Dreadclaw bear. He recognized this spirit beast from a web novel in his past life. This beast had left a deep impression on him. The Dreadclaw bear, an exceptionally rare bear-type spirit beast, with a diluted trace of ancient behemoth bloodline. Its age, 4 to 5k years, yet beats 10k yearwood. Though Yuan and Guay Mei were experienced and knowledgeable, they had never seen a Dreadclaw bear before. Guay Mei watched the fight for a moment, brows furrowed. Odd bear, low age. Stronger than 10k beast. The Blood Iron Ragewood is completely outmatched. At this rate, it'll be beaten to death in minutes. He turned to Guay Yuan and Xiao Yuan. Looks like we can't wait for them to wear each other down. You're Papa Minor, and I will strike directly. Let's end this quick. You're second uncle, and I act now, and it's fast. Guay Yuan nodded. Whatever you say, Papa Prime. Yuan and Guay Mei exchanged a glance. They moved like twin flashes of light. In the blink of an eye, they flanked the two soul beasts. Sixth soul skill, Gilded Pollen Cascade. Yueguan's sixth spirit ring ascended. Golden stamens rained like meteors towards the dark gold Dreadclaw bear. Guay Mei unleashed his fifth soul skill, Phantom Grasp, the ground beneath the iron blood ankylosaur's feet. Ghastly claws locked it in place. The bear was caught off guard. It erupted in dark gold fury. Its fur became as hard as tempered steel. Golden streams bombarded it explosively. As the dust settled, incredible defense. Yueguan's pupils constricted. His sixth skill packed raw power. A beast would be dead or maimed. He expected a critical hit. Who knew it would only take minor damage? He never imagined the creature would walk away with just a scratch. The bear roared in utter rage. Its blood-red eyes locked onto Yueguan. With a sudden swipe of its paw, Firelaw blazed forth fear, slashing towards Yueguan with a terrifying shriek. Rings lit up in rapid fire. Solitary Pride. Frigid Scythe Array. The fourth skill amplified all his attributes. The fifth skill condensed countless. Razor sharp, homing blades. The blades collided midair with the dark golden claw rays, producing a deafening screech of tearing metal. Mei, watching the side frowned. He thought to himself, something's off with this soul beast. It's freakishly strong. Holding nothing back, he directly activated his seventh soul skill. Martial Soul Avatar. He transformed into a towering spectral demon. Aura surged. Fifth skill re-engaged. Phantom Grasp. Even more ghastly claws surged from the earth, entangling the dark gold Dreadclaw bear's limbs in a death grip. Soul-reaving claws struck back and neck. The bear roared in agony, struggling madly. Nether pressure now crushed harder. Yueguan seized the chance, launching a relentless follow assault. After 2 rounds of his fierce, blistering exchange, the line cuts off here. And just like that, the dark gold dire claw was dead meat. Its colossal body crashed to the ground. On the other side, the iron blood birch, already pinned down by Guay Mei's control, was left clinging to life by a single strike from Yuan. The blood-red veins on its bark had dimmed, completely lifeless. Its branches drooped down, totally limp. Yuan waved his hand toward the back. Xiao Yuan, come deliver the final blow. Guay Yuan walked up, no dagger in sight. With a single thought, the shadow feather bow materialized in his hand. Against a 10,000-year beast, a regular blade for A. Finishing blow is a bit of a stretch. Plus, plant-type beasts have insane vitality. Even with Papa Prime and Papa Minor watching his back, he wasn't about to let anything go wrong. And, most importantly, he's already level 30. He can finally use the shadow feather bow. Time to see what this divine weapon can actually do. Guay Yuan drew the bowstring back. The shadow feather's energy surged along the bow, condensing into a pitch-black arrow. He struck the birch's core. Whip. The dark bolt pierced it precisely. A muffled boom, and the iron blood birch was dead for good. Dark spirit rings slowly rose from the severed trunk. Guay Yuan dismissed the shadow feather bow, but a wave of exhaustion immediately hit him. He looked down at his hands and frowned. Just that one arrow drained a full third of my spirit power. The cost is insane. But yeah, the power's off the charts. The Shadow Feather Bow is a divine weapon, after all. Its arrows whisper divine power. Barely detectable. It's enough to match an all-out strike from a spirit wand. Yuan walked over and clapped him on the shoulder. Not bad, not bad. A divine weapon indeed. Gui Yuan shook his head. My cultivation's too weak right now. I can't unleash anywhere near its true power. Gui may chimed in from the side.
Meditate, recover, then absorb.
10,000-year ring in peak condition. Gui Yuan nodded, sat cross-legged, and began to meditate. Yuan and Gui maced the guard on either side. About half an hour later, Gui Yuan's spirit power was fully restored. He opened his eyes again and was just about to pull the Iron Blood Birch's spirit ring when Gui may suddenly discovered something new. He crouched beside the dark old Terraclaw bear's carcass. A faint glow was emanating from underneath it. Ghost of the Law reached down and felt around. His expression shifted slightly. Old chrysanthemum, look. Between his fingers was a bone shard, entirely dark gold. He pulled it free from the beast. It was claw-shaped. Razor-sharp edges, delicate golden patterns flowed. It's a right palm external soul bone. Yuan leaned in for a closer look, his pupils contracting sharply. An external soul bone, second only to a 100k, year one. Xiao Yuan, our luck on this trip is unbelievably good. Yuan held the bone out to him. Put it away first. Absorb the Iron Blood Ring first. This can wait. An external soul bone can be absorbed at any time. But that 10k year ring will vanish if not now. Neither Yuan nor Gui Mei had any intention of absorbing the external soul bone for themselves. At their current level of power, an external soul bone wouldn't make much difference for them. They could nurture an external soul bone. High enough age, truly unartificial. Let Gui Yuan absorb it. That was the perfect fit. Chapter 21. The third 10,000-year soul ring. Spirit guardian of the Shadow Wing Bow. Imprisoning pursuit poison. Guarded by the two titled Daw, Gui Yuan began absorbing the Berserk Iron Blood's soul ring. As for the roughly 5,000-year-old ring from the dark old Terraclaw bear, the two had no plans to let Gui Yuan absorb it. They didn't know the bear's name or origin, but from their fight with it, they knew one thing. This bear excelled at attack, defense, and then speed. If Gui Yuan's chrysanthemum martial soul absorbed this ring, he'd likely get an attack-boosting soul skill. For Gui Yuan, however, raw power boost is far inferior to the Berserk Iron Bloods.
All attribute amplification.
And most key, the ring was 10,000 years old. This bear's ring was merely a 1,000-year ring. For a food-type soul master, the suitability of a soul ring is far more important than the bloodline rarity of the beast, because no matter how rare the soul beast is, the resulting soul ring won't give a food-type soul master's
Abilities a qualitative leap.
For example, given two attack-amplifying soul skills of the same age.
An ordinary ring might grant a 50% boost.
Because Gui Yuan's second martial soul is spirit-based. Just look at Ghost Doloa's spirit ring setup. It can absolutely adapt to melee combat skills. Psychic primary, attack, / control, secondary is totally fine. Going full psychic makes builds one-dimensional. Plus few psychic, spirit beasts exist. But dark old Terraclaw bear's ring
Can grant a devastating attack skill.
However, right now, Gui Yuan isn't focusing on his second martial soul. Absorbing it now would be kind of a waste, in their opinion. When Gui Yuan finally starts on his second martial soul's first ring, it'll be starting at 50,000-year level minimum. There'd simply be no comparison. So, being able to get this external right palm bone is pure luck. Sigh. Ghost of the Law let out a deep sigh. It's a real shame about this bear's spirit ring. I hope that when Xiao Yuan trains his second martial soul later, we can find another one. Chrysanthemum Dolo nodded in agreement. Exactly.
Lucky it's under 10,000 years.
Else, its ring would be at least a 100,000-year level. From what I know, with that kind of raw power and bloodline, only Titan Giant Ape Clan compares. But this bear's attack power even surpasses Titan Giant Ape. Terrifying. Ghost of the Law nodded too. A 10,000-year bear rivals 100,000-year power. In the future, if we want to hunt a 50,000-year one, impossibly hard, by Ghost of the Law's view, it would take at least 3 title ranks above level 5.
Just for a shot at it.
And 2 of them would have to be us, deploying our martial soul fusion skill. The third title Doloa would need, a skill that bypasses all defenses, and the candidate for that actually popped into both of their heads simultaneously. The Pontiff, Baidon, one of Baidon's second martial soul skills, can pierce even that soft-bone rabbit's invincible golden body. So breaking this bear's defense goes without saying. And as Gui Yuan absorbed the 10,000-year spirit ring, he could feel the sensation very clearly. The physical pressure of a 10,000-year ring, compared to the pressure from absorbing a second ring. Between heaven and earth. Thanks to diamond indestructibility and ice fire tempering, his current physique could definitely withstand it. The main thing was whether he could endure the spirit shock of a 10,000-year ring. Inside Gui Yuan's sightline, blood rage forged to form before him, a body of pure hatred. He'd be lying if he said he wasn't nervous.
First time, but the artifact shielded him.
He wasn't exactly terrified. Bring it, Gui Yuan spat.
Let's see who breaks who first.
The blood iron resentment felt a surge of humiliation. This soul, Elder's power, laughably weak, too fragile. One strike had ended.
It didn't waste words.
Vines lashed, dark psychic energy whipped. It lashed towards Gui Yuan with an ear-splitting shriek. The shadow moved at the same speeds, leaving after images scarred into the mental space. Gui Yuan didn't dodge. The lash connected squarely against his spirit body. But then, something strange happened. The moment contact was made against the surface of his spectral form, Gui Yuan didn't flinch. He was bleeding hard. The blood iron resentment visibly staggered in confusion. Gui Yuan smirked. The soul tremor was useless against him, just as he thought. The mental protection of the Shadow Wing Bow was flawless. It held off the decade-level spirit ring's soul impact perfectly. The mere thought, Gui Yuan willed into existence. The Shadow Wing Bow appeared in his hand. It wasn't a physical weapon at this moment. Gui Yuan, that was pure spirit. He gripped the body of the bow. Familiar Shadow Wing power pulsed at fingertips. Gui Yuan used inwardly. If I can summon the Shadow Wing Bow here, dealing with this blood iron monstrosity just got a whole lot easier. He drew the string, channeling his mental energy. It coalesced into a pitch-black psychic arrow. Whoosh! The arrow screamed through the air. It struck the blood iron resentment with lethal accuracy.
No time to react, that one shot
nearly vaporized half of its soul mass. Tree convulsed. Blood sigils flickered in fear. However, Guiyuan's own spirit form also faded by nearly half its avidity. Clearly, using the shadow wing bow in spirit form earned through reserves way faster than using spirit power, and the destructive output was significantly weaker too. But Guiyuan didn't care about any of that. It was a hell of a lot faster than grinding this out over time, with the shadow wing bow's spirit guard active.
Just stall this ghost till time ran out.
Once the residual resentment in their spirit fades, the absorption is considered successful. For other soul elders, absorbing a 10,000-year spirit ring doesn't necessarily mean you have to slay the vengeful wraith inside it. If it really worked that way, anyone without offensive abilities, like support-type soul masters, would never absorb one. The day passed. Guiyuan finally finished absorbing the 10,000-year ring. Yuan and Guimei, standing guard nearby, saw Guiyuan's aura gradually stabilize. Both let out a sigh of relief. Looks like it worked. Guimei stated flatly, that was fast. The spirit ring on Guiyuan's body faded into him. He slowly opened his eyes and let out a deep breath. Papa Prime, Papa Minor, I did it. Noticing their concerned looks, he smiled. How long was I out? Chapter 22. Qilong Prestige Lobby, Miraculous Protection.
It's just been a day.
This absorption went by a lot quicker than last time. Guiyuan nodded. Really? When I was resisting the soul shockwaves, it felt like an eternity had passed. So, Guimei asked, curious, did you get the soul skill you wanted? Guiyuan stood up, raising his right hand. Chiron's chrysanthemum bloomed on his palm. A third, jet black spirit ring slowly rose from under his feet.
Iron Blossom body, he chanted.
A dark golden chrysanthemum condensed in his palm. Let's call this soul skill, Chiron Obsidian Chrysanthemum. Upon consumption, all attributes are amplified by 50% for 5 minutes.
No negative statuses. 50% boost.
For food-type soul masters, both of them had a fair amount of knowledge. This amplification ratio was already insanely high.
Food-type buffs, after all, could never really.
Compared to the amplification soul skills of a battle soul master. When I asked, is Chiron Obsidian Chrysanthemum of yours? Does it have any side effects after taking it?
You definitely had to get this cleared up first. A lot of high buff consumables tend to come with some nasty side effects.
Guiyuan shook his head. No significant side effects. If I have to name a downside, it's probably that the shelf life is a bit short this time. Only 3 days. And with my current spirit power, I can only make 6 of them at a time max. About this, Guiyuan was a bit frustrated,
though he had expected it.
After all, he's just a soul elder right now. His spirit power reserves are still limited.
He's crafting a 10,000-year spirit ring skill.
The energy drain is obviously going to be intense. You didn't seem to mind one bit. Power drain? That's nothing to worry about. Level up more, and consumption drops naturally. A food-type enhancement skill lasting 3 days is actually pretty insane. As far as I know, most of the food-type soul masters at Spirit Hall,
who have similar buff skills,
can't even keep theirs fresh for a single day. Guimei gave him the Dark Gold Bear's right metacarpal. He handed the right metacarpal to Guiyuan.
Absorb this soul bone. It'll patch up your current weakness.
After all, Guiyuan is a food-type soul master now. The divine artifact works, but it drains power too fast. And it's not exactly something he can whip out in a crowd. An external soul bone's value is just as high, but given Guiyuan's background, nobody's stupid enough to steal it. Once an external soul bone fully merges with a master, it's untouchable. Guiyuan took the bone. He pressed it against his right palm and began the absorption. The instant it started, he felt an overwhelming pressure radiating from the bone. It reeked of the bear's savage, killing intent. Guiyuan's brow furrowed.
But then a golden light
burst from his body, absolute invincibility. Then, dark energy burst from his brow into his spiritual sea, straight into his right palm. The painful absorption process
suddenly became a cakewalk.
Bear bones are hard to absorb, but he's got cheats. Absorbing spirit bones is tough, but he's got cheats. Just look at Xiao Xiao from 10,000 years later.
She could absorb a spirit ring from one of these beasts,
but couldn't handle the soul bone? Totally absurd. This time absorbing the soul bone took way less time than digesting a spirit ring.
It was done in just 3 hours.
Guiyuan flexed his right hand. He slashed external soul bone, dark gold terror claw. What terrifying firepower. Guan and Guimei murmured. Their pupils contracted sharply. Guimei spoke. That bone skill is it's on par with some 10,000-year soul skills. Then, Ghostmate channeled a bit more of his power. He used his spirit pressure to assist Guiyuan, forcing a complete fusion with the soul bone. After a moment, Chrysanthemum Yuan said, done. We've been out here for over a month. It's time we head back.
I'd say this trip was a massive win.
When we first set out, Guiyuan's spirit power was only at level 20. But now going back, he's already a level 35 soul elder.
And he didn't just level up.
He's asked top-tier Genesis and external soul bone. A few days later, as soon as Guiyuan's group returned to Spirit Hall, they went straight to the Grand Pond Hall. The moment Hu Laina heard her junior disciple was back, she couldn't help rushing over. But with her mentor, Bai Dong, seated in the main chair, she didn't dare act wild. She just stood to the side, winking furiously at Guiyuan. You're back, Bai Dong's cool, detached voice rang out. Then she turned her gaze to Yuan and Ghostmei. So, how did this little outing turn out? Did Xiao Yuan lock in any suitable soul skills? Yuan answered with deep respect. Your Eminence, yes.
And the gains were substantial. That's actually why we were gone for so long.
Yuan briefly ran through their experience.
For His Eminence.
Among the highlights was stumbling upon a wild specimen of the seraphic chrysanthemum Genesis herb. After Guiyuan absorbed it, coupled with the power from his second soul ring, he blasted straight through to level 30. And the moment Bai Dong heard that, her expression flickered noticeably. Hu Laina was so shocked, she clapped a hand over her mouth.
Did that mean her junior disciple went out a rookie?
And this came back a full-fledged soul elder? Bai Dong didn't interrupt Yuan's report. Yuan went on to explain how Guiyuan, attempted to absorb a 30,000-year soul ring, accidentally ran into a bear-type spirit beast, with a bloodline even stronger than a Titan giant ape, and ended up obtaining an external soul bone. A moment later, Bai Dong's composure was completely shot. She stared at Guiyuan with an utterly unreadable look. Kid, your luck on this trip, it's borderline ridiculous. So on this whole adventure, just ran into a wild seraphic chrysanthemum? Really? Did you stumble upon any other Genesis herbs? BB Dong and Guiyuan exchanged a long, searching look.
Guiyuan grinned. Had teach.
I also think my luck was way too good this time. I don't know if it was because of some weird, mysterious blessing, but kind of bummer. We didn't find any other wild Genesis herbs on this trip. If only we could have found 2 chrysanthemum Genesis herbs. That way, Papa Prime could absorb one too. And when that happens, his power might just break through to level 96. Hearing Guiyuan's words, a flicker of disappointment darkened Bibidong's mood. But she figured, If there really had been an extra herb, Yuegwan's cultivation would already be at level 96. There's been no major shift in his aura at all. Just then, Yuegwan cut in. Xiao Yuan, you don't have to say that. Papa Prime's potential is capped. Besides, that chrysanthemum genesis herb, didn't I snag a few petals from it? I can already feel my cultivation bottleneck starting to crack. Maybe within a year, I'll be able to break through to level 96. Chapter 23. Love me, love my dog. The spirit condensing wisdom skull. Bibidong's eyes flickered at Yuegwan's claim. Yuegwan, you're sure you can hit level 96 within a year? Yuegwan hesitated, and doubted himself, and replied, reporting to his eminence, it should be possible. My martial soul is just like Xiao Yuan's. It's the chrysanthemum. Although I only used a few petals, it was more than enough for me to gain insight and boost my power. I believe I can break through within a year. Bibidong nodded, taking it in. If Yuegwan could truly hit level 96, then his dual static domain combo with Ghost Oloa could lock down a L97 super to level 100%. Their martial souls fit just 50 to 60%, with both of them stuck at level 95. Only a chance to trap a L97 tank. But if Yuegwan levels up, that's a massive win for her plans. Easier hunt for a Centennial Soul Beast. If Yuegwan really follows through on this power spike, maybe she'll actually have to think about tossing him a real reward. Part of it would be acknowledging Yuegwan's strength. But let's be real, it's mostly because of Guiwan. You know the saying, love me, love my dog. Back when she first pushed Guiwan to test the Auto Soul Fusion. Can it succeed? Baidong honestly didn't hold out much hope. The compatibility wasn't ideal. It's simply too difficult for a single ring Soul Elder. But to everyone's shock, it worked, even if only for a split second. It shows great promise. Very well, Baidong stated calmly. If you truly manage to break through to rank 96 within a year, I'll see to it you get a suitable 10,000-year soul bone. Yuegwan froze at those words. My deepest thanks, your eminence. He forced down the surging excitement as he spoke. Despite Baidong's pledge, there was no way he could simply. He'd wait 6 months for the herb. As for Gui Mei's Genesis herb, absorption might take 1 to 2 years. It's safer that way. All right, the rest of you are dismissed. Baidong's gaze shifted to Guiwan. You stay. Yuegwan, Gui Mei, and Hulaina turned and withdrew from the Grand Pontiff Hall. On her way out, Hulaina shot Guiwan a playful wink, a smirk of teasing amusement curling her lips. Once they were gone, Baidong finally rose from the Pontiff's throne. He stepped closer to Guiwan, and with a flick of his right hand, a soul bone radiating a blue glow materialized in his palm. The bone was crystal clear, like the slow, pulsing veins of pure intellect. It exuded an aura of profound serenity and unfathomable depth. This is a 70,000-year spirit coalescence wisdom skull, a reward for exposing Golden Crocodile. Originally, this was meant to be yours, to help you absorb a 10k ring at 40. But you tried a 10k for your third. At that, that stunt was perilously dangerous. With your innate talent, there's absolutely no need to take such insane risks. Just follow the proper, steady path to ascension. Guiwan took the bone from Baidong's hand. Cool, with pure spiritual energy inside. He flashed a cheeky grin. Master, I had no choice. It was an emergency situation. Besides, for a soul elder, a higher age, better ring, better skill. I push limits. Absorbing a high age ring also accelerates spirit power growth. So I can help you in the hall sooner. Since I've landed such a top quality bone here, and a skull type at that, or a head soul bone. Of course, Guiwan didn't miss the chance to reaffirm his loyalty. At those words, Baidong's gaze softened slightly. 6 months awakened. Don't overreach. All right, that's all. You're dismissed. She turned her back to him. Guiwan offered a formal salute. Stored the soul bone. Left the hall. The moment he stepped out the doors, his mind was already calculating the use of the soul bone. Honestly, he had no intention of absorbing it right now. For any ordinary soul master, a 70,000-year piece would be a once-in-a-lifetime priceless treasure. But if he didn't have the mental shielding from a shadow wing bow, he might have chosen to absorb it. But now, not a chance. All the soul bones in his body should at least be at 100,000-year level, right? Otherwise, it'd be a complete waste of his broken cheat codes. Besides, another idea was percolating in his head. He planned on mimicking Oscar's 6th spirit ability. Once he could withstand a 100,000-year spirit ring, headed north for a mirror shadow beast to gain a skill like replication sausage. That way, his combat style would become way more versatile down the line. As for why it had to be 100,000 years, obviously, because that guarantees a 100% soul bone drop rate. If he's not mistaken, the mirror shadow beast soul bone grants a clone ability. Clone before fusion. Smart move. Wouldn't that solve the glaring weakness of being immobilized during the fusion process? Of course, that's just a theory brewing in his head for now. If it doesn't pan out, he'll have to find another fix. Using food skills to bypass limits. Even though food-type soul masters are considered bottom tier among all the systems, you can't deny one thing. Food-type spirit abilities are incredibly versatile. Back in the day, who would have guessed that, Oscar? Because of that one specific ability. From support to full-on fighter, that wisdom skull he holds? Perfect for Papa Minor, but kept for now. Unless he gets his hands on a 100,000-year cranial soul bone first, Gui Mei would never accept it. And there's no way he could justify it to Baidong either. He suppressed those thoughts, quick and away. Outside, Yuegwan and the other two hadn't actually gone far. Hulaina was standing at the corner of the corridor. She saw him and rushed over. Her fox-like, alluring eyes blinked with curiosity. What did the teacher keep you back for? Guiwan smirked. It's a secret. Ask his eminence yourself. Hulaina pouted slightly, as if she'd dare ask the teacher. Her junior brother was infuriating. He knew she wouldn't dare and said it on purpose. Yuegwan laughed from one side. All right. Now that you're back, go get some proper rest. You've been to the ringer lately. Guiwan nodded. Long day out. Good sleep was overdue. Constantly on edge. But the haul was well worth the effort. A rank 35 soul elder, an external soul bone, plus a soul tool packed with Genesis herbs and spiritual flora, and a cranial soul bone on top of it. He walked back with Yuegwan and Ghost Oloa. Hulaina tagged along, glancing at him now, and then she suddenly whispered, rank 35 already. Faster than I was. Hyuhina's expression was a little complicated. I was 12 at soul elder. CH24, 6 months later. Spirit ring, age breakthrough. 6 months later. Now, Guiwan sat cross-legged on his bed. He raised his right hand and summoned the chrysanthemum martial soul. 3 spirit rings slowly materialized beneath him. A full year had passed since his martial soul awakening. And now, the hedge fund effect was kicking in. Hedge fund. First spirit ring instantly increased by 500 years. Every year after, all spirit rings gain 500 years interest. Interest laws. For each rank of spirit power ascended, all spirit ring ages gain an extra 1,000 years. Gui Yuan was now at peak rank 36. That meant 3 full ranks of spirit power boost. Each ring just got a 3,500 year bump. First ring, 1,100 years, 4,600 years. Second ring, 5,000 years, 8,500 years. Third ring, 11,000 years, 14,500 years. One major perk of having older spirit rings is spirit power consumption for food creation dropped significantly. Before, crafting a single golden chrysanthemum drained a ton of power. Now it'll be much easier. Wait until year 2. Once his second ring breached the 10,000 year mark, the buffs from the food he made would probably jump another level. 1,000 to 10,000 year ring, a huge leap. And lucky for him, over these 6 months, Bai Dong hadn't ordered any searches of him, Yue Guan, or Ghost of Law. Getting 1 Genesis quality herb is already a miracle. Getting 2, and if she did, that would just be plain disappointing. Right now, Bai Dong still needs Yue Guan and Gu Mei. She hasn't lost her mind to that extent yet. Plus, 6 months ago, they found more than Genesis herbs. They got an external soul bone too. That's proof enough. Yue Yuan's luck is the real deal. Luck has limits. This goes beyond it. Meanwhile, at the Grand Pond of Hall, Yue Guan was returning from a mission that took him away for a while. A whole month gone, and the moment he steps back into the hall, Bai Dong instantly picks up on a shift in his energy signature. He broke through. Bai Dong stated. Yue Guan gave a nod. Yes, Your Eminence. A day ago, my spirit power hit rank 96. Impressive. Bai Dong nodded in return. The soul bone I promised you, you'll get in a few days. Even she hadn't expected Yue Guan to actually deliver on his word. He promised a year, crushed it in 6 months. Respect. Those herbs are a cheat code. Such a shame. Over these 6 months, she's had standing orders. Spirit Hall agents must report exotic flora immediately. If it proves useful, Spirit Hall provides compensation. Over half a year, a decent haul has trickled in from the branch halls across the continent. But after Yue Guan inspected it all, most of it is common grade stuff. Sure, a few pieces at decent quality, like that 500-year scorchberry, or the 1,000-year spirit meld orchid. The scorchberry, Bai Dong gifted Yen. The spirit meld orchid went to Hulina. Even at just 1,000 years, it still gave Hulina's mental prowess a solid boost. After thanking Bai Dong, Yue Guan took his leave to rest. Back home, he immediately filled Gui Mei in. Their quarters are connected, after all. Old Ghost, I've hit rank 96. Yue Guan announced with a dramatic flick of his wrist. His Eminence promised me a soul bone. Though, no word on the year count yet. Gui Mei's tone was flat. I guess around the 20,000 year range. Still not bad for you. At least you'll finally have a soul bone of your own. Yue Guan practically vibrating said, right? Any 10,000 year item works for me. Though it might sting a little for you. Ghost of One knew exactly what Yue Guan was getting at. He shook his head. We've been stuck at this bottleneck for over a decade already. A couple more years won't kill me. I've got the patience. Besides, we can't just sit around idle. We need to focus on developing some original spirit skills. When Xiao Yuan finally comes into his own, we need to be ready to hunt down the perfect spirit rings for him. The higher the age, the better. And that idea wasn't random, because they were harboring another plan. The Veil of Inquiry. Ever since Gui Yuan appeared, Spirit Hall has been secretly sending scouts, searching all Doluo for this valley. But after all these years, we've got nothing. Until recently, Gui Yuan threw out a wild theory. What if there's more to this world than just the Doluo continent? What if there are other continents out there? Maybe that valley is native to a foreign land. And His Eminence, Bibi Dong, is deeply intrigued by it too. Naturally, they've started sending soul masters out to sea if it's even possible to find another continent's existence. Yue Guan nodded. Speaking of Xiao Yuan, how's he been lately? I haven't seen the kid in a month. Gu Mei smiled. Same as always. Relentless. Theory mornings, training with me afternoons. He's practically mastered the Phantom Needle and Shadow Step. His second soul, no rings yet. The raw power of those 2 skills already rivals the force of an 800-year spirit ring. It's pretty impressive, honestly. Yue Guan looked pleasantly surprised. No ring on second soul? Insane. Gu Mei nodded in agreement. It helps that his primary martial soul is giving him such a massive passive stat boost from 3 rings. Yeah, the second martial soul is bare, but the first one isn't. And those 3 rings are high quality, not some bargain bin trash. Rings boost everything. Physique, mental fortitude, all the passive attributes spike. That's why Gui Yuan can control his second martial soul so well. Tack on his dark gold armored claw, metacarpal, and don't let the fact that he's a food type soul elder fool you. His CQC rivals a low tier elder. Of course, that's all just theoretical, at least for now. So far, they haven't actually thrown Gui Yuan into real combat yet. They felt it wasn't time yet. The next day, Gui Yuan got a rare day off. He had roughly 1 day off per month of training. Of course, day off meant no theory study during the day. No self-made skill, still meditated. And on this day, he made plans with Hulina to explore Spirit City together. But he rarely wandered the city itself, except when he waited at the gate for Hulina today. She wasn't the only one who showed up. 2 more people flanked her, Xiewe and Yen. Hulina walked to the front. Beaming, she waved at Gui Yuan. Sorry to keep you waiting, junior brother. Xiewe followed behind, tipping his head at Gui Yuan, a standard greeting, and stood off to the other side, arms crossed, expression blank. Gui Yuan stepped forward, politely opening with, senior brother Xia, morning. Then turned his head. Brother Yen, morning. Yan's gaze settled on him, but his expression remained icy, even carrying a hint of hostility. He didn't answer, just lifted his chin a fraction. Gui Yuan understood exactly what was going on. He sighed internally. How could he forget? Yan's practically Hulina's devoted puppy dog, and his source material. Yan was hopelessly obsessed with Hulina, would guard her 24/7 if he could. Now, as Hulina's junior disciple, young but decent looking, and constantly around Hulina. In Yan's eyes, he'd been only 7, and Hulina is already 14. Does Yan actually think she's gonna fall for him now? A junior disciple that much younger? Maybe someday, but for now, Hulina obviously just sees him as a little brother. They're just a bit close, that's all. Hulina didn't notice Yan's subtle hostility, but she couldn't care less. She had originally planned a day out with Gui Yuan, but Yan lashed on like a bad rash and insisted on tagging along. His brother was there too, so the 3 of them just went together. Hulina locked her arm in Gui Yuan's, pulled him down the mountain. Junior, that barbecue place south of town is wild. I guarantee you'll be begging for more. Gui Yuan let himself be dragged away and glanced back over his shoulder. Xiaoyu and Yin follow behind them, keeping a few paces back. Yan's eyes hadn't moved from the arm Hu Laina had hooked with Gui Yuan's. The fire in his eyes right now matched his martial soul element. He'd been chasing Hu Laina for ages, and he hadn't so much locked arms with her, let alone any real intimate gesture. And back at the academy, Hu Laina never got too close with any of the male students. But for the last 6 months, he'd been hearing Gui Yuan's name from her lips almost daily. At first, he assumed it was another prodigy their age. Only later did he find out it was the pontiff's new disciple. That spark in Hu Laina's voice every time she brought up this junior disciple gave him a profound sense of impending doom. He couldn't help but keep his voice low as he spoke to Xiaoyu beside him. Xiaoyu, don't you think Nana and her junior disciple are getting a little too close? Xiaoyu looked confused. He studied the two walking ahead, then glanced again. Aren't you being a bit too sensitive? Nana is just treating Gui Yuan like a junior disciple, right? I heard this kid's talent blows Nana's away, and he's got twin martial souls. Xiaoyu paused, his tone growing serious. Oh right, don't speak about the son of chrysanthemum and ghost focus. His martial souls match both of theirs. Don't be stupid, or not even your master will be able to save you. And one of the title law of the Elder Sanctuary, a fire-attributed martial soul user. High in Spirit Hall, but versus Chrysanthemum and Ghost Aloha, his mentor doesn't stand a chance. And here's the kicker. His mentor is the freaking pontiff of Spirit Hall. Yin gritted his teeth and fell silent, but his eyes still locked dead on. That pair walking arm in arm ahead of him. Spirit City isn't huge, but it's no backwater either. Once you descend the pontiff's peak, a few turns land you south. Hyuina's barbecue joint recommendation was legit. Tiny place, jam-packed. The aroma of grilled meat drifted down half the block. The four of them grabbed a booth in the corner. Gui Yuan slid in next to Hu Laina, Xiaoyu opposite them, and Yin took the outermost edge. All in all, the meal was surprisingly smooth. Hu Laina kept yakking at Gui Yuan about all the hot gossip buzzing around Spirit City. Xiaoyu would cut in now and then, asking Gui Yuan how his training was going lately. Gui Yuan answered every question, polite and measured, except with Yin. His replies went from hey to a nod. Yin tried to hold himself in the conversation a few times, only to get brickwalled by Gui Yuan's one-word shutdowns. Come afternoon, they hit a couple more streets, checked out some of Spirit City's iconic landmarks. Gui Yuan and Hu Laina all laughed inside chatter. He even managed to talk shop with Xiaoyu about cultivation a bit. But the second Yin opened his mouth, Gui Yuan either played deaf or just blew him off with a flat okay. Yan's expression turned darker by the minute. Both Hu Laina and Xiaoyu noticed every bit of it. Hu Laina had never seen this side of her little junior brother. All gentle smiles and easy going around her normally. But once he turns cold, the favoritism was blindingly obvious. When Xiaoyu and Yin lagged a few paces behind, she pulled Gui Yuan a tiny bit closer. Lowering her voice to a hush, she said, "Little junior, sorry about all that. That guy, Yin, just ignore him. He's always like that." Gui Yuan's tone was bone dry. Nana, my girl, a blind man could sense the hostility radiating off him. The guy's your suitor. What even goes on in his head? Don't tell me he actually thinks I'm making a move on you. An anger mark practically popped on Hyuina's forehead. She smiled coldly. What's that mean? What? Is it a Najia chopped liver or something? Plus calling me senior sister. He was actually going to apologize. Oh man, does this guy have a toxic tongue or what? Gui Yuan looked dead serious. Sis Nana, you're gorgeous, but you're my senior sister. I'm 7. You're 14. You seriously think I'd try something with you? Look at you. More time, I'll surpass your level. Romantic, all that. After later. Way later. Hu Laina was completely speechless at his matter-of-fact attitude. He was clearly dissing her, yet every single word made perfect sense. She opened her mouth, but all that came out was, just shut up. She thought to herself, her junior disciple was actually kind of hot when his mouth was shut. Too bad he was born with one. To Yin, their intimate whispering was indistinguishable from flirting. He'd been holding him all day, thinking the same face for Xiaoyu and for Hu Laina. But after the whole day, he'd reached his absolute limit. Evening. The four returned to the plaza before the pontiff's peak. The setting sun stained the stone slabs of warm, molten gold. Yin suddenly stopped walking. He turned to face Gui Yuan. Gui Yuan paused mid-step. He looked back. Something up? Yin said, I heard your food type soul master. And though your second martial soul has no rings, self-made art, curious. Let me taste. Fancy a quick sparring match? Gui Yuan raised an eyebrow. Xiaoyu frowned. Yin, a soul elder, challenging a 7-year-old kid? Yin said flatly, just a spar. I'll hold back. Besides, if his eminence made him a disciple, he can't be so fragile that he can't even handle one spar, right? Hyuina's expression darkened. Yin, stop fooling around. I'm not fooling around. Yin looked at her. Nana, I simply want to see just how powerful this little junior you never shut up about really is. Seeing Yan's self-righteous attitude, Gui Yuan found himself wanting to laugh. He turned his head to look at Hu Laina. Sis Nana, it's fine. If you want to spar, then let's spar. Besides, I want to see how my year of training has paid off. Hu Laina wanted to argue, but seeing that steadfast look on Gui Yuan's face, words failed her. She took 2 steps back and whispered, be careful. A bitter regret gnawed at Hyuina's heart. She never should have let Yin tag along. Right now, his eyes, a flash of eerie pink light flickered. If the junior disciple is in danger, I'll strike first. Chapter 27, Dark Gold Claw. He brought this on himself. Yin and Gui Yuan stood about 20 meters apart. A breeze swept the plaza, stirring dead leaves. Yin was the first to release his martial soul. 3 spirit rings flared. Yellow, yellow, purple, pure arrogance. Martial soul, flame warlord. Rank 38 assault type, soul elder. Ready yourself. Don't worry. I'll go easy on you. His plan was to use this sparring match to put Gui Yuan in his place right from the start. But he wouldn't let the kid get hurt too badly. After all, Gui Yuan had 3 title dua backing him up, and one of them was the Pope. Yin wasn't stupid. Swallowing his anger? Not an option. It was killing him. Go easy on me, Gui Yuan said flatly. Then what's the point? Honestly, I doubt you're even a match for me. Unfiltered arrogance. Yan's smirk froze on his face. Xiaoyu was stunned, too. Hu Laina stood off to the side, her expression unreadable. She knew exactly what gave Gui Yuan his confidence. That 5,000-year dark gold claw bear, external soul bone. But still, this junior disciple of hers was way out of line. Yin gave a furious, mocking laugh. Fine, good. Then show me what makes you so damn special. The words left his mouth and Gui Yuan moved. Spirit power surge. 3 spirit rings materialized beneath him. Purple, purple, black, blazing against the sunset, searing all eyes. Yan's pupils constricted. Your first ring is a 1,000-year one? That's impossible. Not even a golden gum could. He stopped short. As one of the Spirit Hall's elite core disciples of this generation, Yin had naturally taken a golden gum. He had already been soul grandmaster at that point, so the herb helped, but couldn't trigger a fundamental change. Oh, you know about the golden gum? Gui Yuan chuckled darkly. Then you should also know, I'm the one who discovered its body tempering secret.
So what's your problem?
I don't care about whatever beef you have, but you picking a fight for no reason? Yeah, that pisses me off. The Chiron heavenly chrysanthemum martial soul bloomed in his right hand. A dark whisk coiled off him. Martial soul, peerless chrysanthemum. Rank 36 plant type, abandoned soul elder. Ready yourself. Yan's eyes went wide. A 7-year-old, rank 36 soul elder?
How is that possible?
Nana, you knew about this all along? Hulina gave a simple nod. Yeah.
Hulina nodded,
Our teacher told me to keep quiet.
He didn't want the kids level exposed too early.
So much for that. After this sparring session is over, Yan is definitely getting summoned. Siewe frowned.
Still processing. He's a support type.
What the hell is he fighting into though? No ring, yet still deals damage? Hulina shook her head, helpless. Brother, just watch. You'll see in a second. This is the second reason Yan's going to be in major trouble. In a split second, Yan was dazed.
Ghost Awe chanted, power surging.
Golden chrysanthemum, iron body, forged house. A dark gold chrysanthemum condensed in his palm. He swallowed it whole. Instantly, all attributes amplified by 50%. His speed, strength, defense. Even his mental acuity boosted an entire tier. Normally, when a food type soul master consumes their own conjure buffs, the effects are cut in half. In the original story, Oscar's flight mushroom sausage only worked for half the time when he ate it, which is just 30 seconds. Ghost Dillawa used to have the exact same limitation. But after he absorbed that ultimate Genesis herb, that crippling food type defect, totally gone. Immediately, Ghost Dillawa switched to his second martial soul. Black mist coiled at his fingertips. With a casual flick of his wrist, dozens of nether needles shot through the air like hidden projectiles, whistling with a faint, eerie cackle, aimed straight at Yan. Yan's pupils constricted. He could feel the lethal threat radiating from those needles. This self-created spirit ability amplified by his first soul ring.
His tool-based augmentation
now rivaled 1,000-year power. Second ability, Granite Bastion, a layer of gray-brown rocky skin, rapidly encased Yan's body, hardening like granite. The nether needles struck the rocky shell with a clinking metallic clatter, but Yan felt the stinging bite down to his core. Those needles packed serious power. He stopped holding back. Right after blocking, he unleashed his first soul ability, Infernal Magma Rush. His entire body transformed into a massive scorching magma as he charged violently straight at Ghost Dillawa. But Ghost Dillawa moved his feet, his silhouette blurring instantly. Phantom step. He flickered, utterly sidestepping Yan's explosive charge.
To them, that step was teleporting.
Of course, with Ghost Dillawa's current cultivation, there's no way he actually moves like Chrysanthemum Dillawa.
He's just fast, that's all.
3 charges, 3 misses. Yan's expression grew darker by the second. His flame seraphim martial soul had both offense and defense, but speed was always his weakness. And Gui Yuan used his shadow step to weave circles around him, making him swing at shadows. Is running all you can do? Yan roared. Gui Yuan didn't answer. As Yan pulled back from another failed charge, Gui Yuan exploded forward. Shadow step pushed to its limit. His form flickered like a phantom, right up against Yan's side in an instant. His right palm rose. A dark gold sheen coated his entire hand. External soul bone. Activate. Dark gold terror claw. The dark gold claw shred the air itself. A wave of pure dread crashing toward Yan. That's an external soul bone. Siewe finally understood what his sister meant earlier. Yan's eyes shot wide open. He felt it in that strike. A crushing pressure like nothing he'd ever faced. The power coiled in that claw was far beyond what any soul elder should be up against. His second spirit skill, Fortress of Blooming Rock. It was tissue paper against that strike. Block it. Yan dumped every drop of spirit power into his second ring. His stone skin thickened layer on layer. But the dark gold terror claw had armor-piercing properties. How could a measly 800-year ring stop a 5,000-year external soul bones? Amped spirit skill. The claw ripped through his rock defense like it wasn't even there, slamming square into Yan's chest. Whew. Yan flew backward, a high, ugly arc through the air, before crashing down hard on the stone at the square's edge. He skidded a dozen meters before finally going still. Siewe just stared, frozen. At his level, he couldn't even react fast enough to stop it. Hulina had even less chance. Her specialty was mental attacks, and those were useless on him. Even if they weren't, she wouldn't have lifted a finger. Yan had this coming 100%. She knew Guan had this external soul bone, but she'd never seen him bring his full force to bear. That single strike's power was already way past anything a soul elder should pack. Or maybe he just seriously underestimated his own junior. That external soul bone is the real deal. Gui Yuan pulled his right hand back. His ragged breathing showed the blast cost much spirit power. He walked over to Yan and glanced down at him. A 5-claw gash was carved into the guy's chest. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. He was out cold. Gui Yuan took out a chrysanthemum stamen and tossed it to Siewe. That's my second spirit ring ability. It restores stamina, spirit power, and heals wounds. I dodged his vitals with that last hit. He's not dying. He just needed Yan to know he's not someone to mess with. But flat out killing the guy? Nah, that would be overkill for now. After all, Yan has a titled little elder backing him up. That elder recently transferred to the Stream Pavilion. The only elders Bai Dong can actually command right now are just Chrysanthemum and Ghost Dillawa. Siewe caught the stamen. Shot a deep, unreal look at Gui Yuan. Then he crouched down and fed it to Yan. Hulina stepped forward. She gave Gui Yuan a complicated look. Junior brother, you really went too. He brought this on himself. Gui Yuan said flatly, I know. Hulina sighed. I wonder how our teacher will handle our return. Gui Yuan wasn't really worried. He was curious to see Bai Dong manage the fallout. Chapter 28, ending exclamation. Protected by Dong. Keep reading, please. Senior sister, Gui Yuan called out to Hulina. I'm heading out first. Hey, wait for me. As Hulina passed by Siewe, she said to him, Bro, Yan's a problem now. I'm heading back with the junior disciple first. Siewe nodded, sighing internally. Yan is so screwed now. Still, he really was. Shocked by Gui Yuan's raw power. At such a young age, the kid is already a full-fledged soul elder, no question about it. And that dark gold chrysanthemum he popped at the start of the match, that must be Miracle Chrysanthemum's third ability. The fact it spiked his aura that intensely after taking it completely smashed what he thought he knew about standard theory. Anyone who's been to school knows that the crazier a food type enhancement is, the nastier side effects usually are, no matter how broken. Position is in next to no one. Support type martial soul, 7 treasure, Glaze Algoda. Food soul masters get extra effect from their own food, are supposed to be cut in half. But judging from what Gui Yuan just displayed, even if the effects were halved, how much of a boost would those soul masters get? From eating the food he created? What Siewe doesn't know is that because of consuming the Genesis Chrysanthemum, the effects of the food Gui Yuan makes for himself don't get reduced at all. modified in the previous chapter. That Genesis chrysanthemum didn't just grant him an indestructible diamond body, it also enhanced his martial soul. Next day, inside Grand Pond Hall, Bai Dong sits on a throne, listening to Huey Yina's report. Her face remains emotionless past the entire time. Only when hearing how Gui Yuan crushed Yin with one claw strike did the corner of her mouth twitch slightly. Understood. Go train now. I'll handle this. After Hu Lina leaves the main hall, Bai Dong's fingers tap lightly on the armrest. She's indeed a little surprised. She knew Gui Yuan had insane talent, and knew about that external soul bone of his, but to be able to in a one-on-one duel, as a food-type soul master, straight up annihilate an assault-type soul elder head-on. That level of combat prowess has already exceeded her expectations. Yin, what the hell is that? Food-type my ass. As for Gui Yuan injuring Yin, Bai Dong couldn't care less. Yin had the shameless audacity to go and challenge a food-type soul master. He lost. That's on him. And that's even without Gui Yuan settling the score for Yan's hostility toward him. Bai Dong stands up and walks to the window, gazing at the sky outside the hall. She's already calculating in her head exactly how to punish Yan. Gui Yuan is her disciple. How would she ever let him suffer injustice? On top of that, Gui Yuan has twin martial souls, a prodigy with a legacy of a celestial being, some elder's disciple. An immature fool dares to bully her student? Without harsh punishment, any scum would dare trample him. Just then, a figure appears at the entrance of the Grand Pond Hall. He wears a crimson robe, stern-faced, with reddish hair. A faint, scorching aura lingers around him. He strides inside boldly, offering a simple salute before speaking directly. Your Eminence. Bai Dong turns around, her gaze falling coolly on him. Elder Blazing Flame, what is it? The visitor is Lai Yongtian from the Elder Hall. Title, Blazing Flame. Rank 94. Soul, Inferno Dragon. He looked absolutely grim right now. His tone was laced with interrogation. Your Eminence, I'm here today to demand an explanation. Your disciple went way too hard on my student. He needs at least half a month to recover from that hit. Bai Dong's voice was ice cold. I haven't come for you, yet you dare show your face? Do you have any idea what your disciple did? Yongtian knew perfectly well what happened. Bai Dong might be the Pope, but she couldn't touch him. He was sanctuary under the Grand Elder's command. He held his ground. I've been briefed. Well, Your Eminence, your disciple is perfectly fine, isn't he? You want to see your disciple's spirit skills firsthand. Just a friendly spar. But that food type, Soul Master would hit so viciously, Bai Dong's gaze turned glacial. She was about to speak when two figures materialized silently within the Grand Pond Hall. The black mist dispersed, revealing the people inside. Yue Guan and Gui Mei. They were here to demand some answers too. The two first gave a curt nod of respect to Bai Dong, then simultaneously fixed their stares on Lai Yongtian. Yue Guan let out a cold snort. Well, look who it is. Chrysanthemum Pua in flesh. Your disciple bullied my son. Care to explain? Gui Mei stood to the side, his eyes narrowing. How about we take this outside? The moment those words fell, the two unleashed their martial souls simultaneously. Beneath Yue Guan, 9 spirit rings flared to life. Its highest ring blazed exceptionally bright. Gui Mei likewise unleashed his 9 spirit rings. Metaphors churned violently around his form. The combined presence of two titled Bilua clashed and merged, making the very air in the Grand Pond Hall feel crushingly heavy. The moment Lai Yongtian sensed Yue Guan's aura, his pupils constricted in shock. You broke through. Yue Guan curled his lip. What, surprised? Level 96. Just hit it a couple days ago. Lai Yongtian's face fell. He was a titled Bilua too, but only level 94. Yue Guan was already at 95 originally. Now he was 96. And then there was Gui Mei, a level 95. Agility type, titled Bilua. This was bad news. Lai Yongtian's bluster instantly deflated. He opened his mouth, and his tone unconsciously softened. Chrysanthemum. Ghostella, maybe Yin went a bit too far this time, but he's badly hurt. Can we? Yuan cuts him off coldly. Your disciple started this fight. Challenged a 7-year-old food-type soul master. He lost because he was the weaker one. And you have the nerve to come demanding justice from his eminence? You want a reckoning? Fine, I'll give you one. Fight me. If you win, I'll admit this was our fault. Yuan stepped forward. All 9 spirit rings blazed alive. Lai Yongtian's face cycled through shades of pale and fury. That single step forward from Yuan crushed the air from his lungs. Rank 96 versus rank 94. 2 ranks, but an abyss. Not to mention standing right there, watching like a hawk was Gui Mei. If Yuan and Gui Mei joined forces, Lai Yongtian would be carried out here in a body bag. Bai Dong stared him down ice cold, her voice cut like frost. Elder Scarlet Flame, I have already rendered my judgment on this matter. Your disciple Yin provoked a 7-year-old food-type soul master into a duel. Losing is no disgrace, but to have his teacher storm the Grand Pond Hall after losing, that shames Spirit Hall itself. Lai Yongtian clenched his jaw. Your Eminence, what disciplinary action do you intend to take? Bai Dong said flatly, effective immediately. All of Yan's golden gum supplies are revoked. His resources halved for 2 years. Chapter 29. He's not just your son. He's my disciple. Pathetic. Lai Yongtian's eyes shot wide open. What? He never imagined his wildest dreams that Bai Dong would actually do this. Cutting his resources in half. Fine, whatever. He could just subsidize Yin from his own pocket. But the whale gel, anything above a millennium old on the market, is basically all in Spirit Hall's vaults. Spirit Hall has a monopoly on most of the hunting and supply for high-grade whale gel. When it breaks through to Soul Ancestor or Soul King later, he'll need the 10,000-year gel to fortify his body. If Spirit Hall won't supply it, he'll have to hit the open sea and hunt a 10,000-year whale dragon himself. Sure, he's a titled below, but he's a fire element user. How much power can he even bring out at sea? Plus, marine soul beasts get a double power buff in the water. The scorching sky dragon can't even muster half its firepower underwater, unless he swallows his pride and begs someone else for the gel. But he's a freaking elder, reduced to groveling for whale gel handouts. How humiliating would that be? Lai Yongtian suppressed the rage boiling inside him. He murmured, Your Eminence, isn't this too harsh? Yes, he messed up, but he also took heavy damage. He's been punished enough. Bai Dong stared at him. Her eyes didn't even flicker. Harsh. I think I went easy. Scorching Golua, engrave this in your memory. Gui Yuan is the pontiff's direct apprentice. Your disciple dared to bully my disciple? I spared him only out of respect for the sanctuary. And his talent isn't total garbage, but decent. Attached to a moron, Spirit Hall doesn't have much need for that. Good thing Gui Yuan wasn't here right now. If he heard Bai Dong say this, he'd snap, and anyone who stayed calm through that, probably a professional corpse. Lai Yongtian stiffened his neck. I refuse to accept this. I object. Bai Dong slowly rose from the pontiff's throne. She gripped the pontiff's scepter and slammed it into the floor. Boom. A crushing spirit pressure beyond rank 95 hit without warning. It bore down on Lai Yongtian like a mountain dropping on his shoulders. Lai Yongtian's knees buckled violently. He almost face-planted. He looked up in sheer terror. This oppressive force. Rank 98. Bai Dong's voice was colder than a glacier's edge. Got a problem? Cry to the Grand Elder. See if he cares. But here, with me, you don't get to negotiate. Now get the hell out of my sight. Lai Yongtian clenched his jaw, his face flushed crimson. He wanted to argue, but the sheer pressure of her spirit power made him struggle to breathe, let alone speak. In the end, he could only lower his head in bitter resentment. He backed out of the Grand Pontiff Hall, crossing the threshold. He glanced back, his eyes brimming with venom. Fine, so be it. He strode purposefully toward the sanctuary. He'd have the Grand Elder judge. Inside the hall, Yuan dismissed his martial soul, smirking and clapped. There, finally, some peace and quiet. My thanks, Your Eminence, for standing up for Xiao Yuan. He's likely headed to the sanctuary. Gui and Mei stated flatly. Irrelevant, Bai Dong replied, settling back onto her throne. Jian Dalu wouldn't risk an open war with me over some pissant elder's disciple. Besides, Xiao Yuan isn't just your son. He's my disciple. And to be fair, Yin was completely in the wrong on this one. Well, Your Eminence, your wisdom is truly unmatched. Bai Dong cut him a sidelong glance. You do have a silver tongue. All right, you're both dismissed. Yuan and Gui made bow respectfully and took their leave. Once outside, Yuan was in such high spirits. He practically had a balance in his step. Old Ghost, how stoked do you think Xiao Yuan's going to be when he hears about this? Gui Mei smirked faintly. No need to tell him. He'll catch wind of it soon enough. Nana spreads it faster than wildfire. Meanwhile, on the other side, Gui Yuan lounged in his courtyard, basking in sun. Hu Laina sat across from him, having just finished recounting Bai Dong's verdict in vivid detail. Imperial supplies cut. All resources have for 2 years. Teacher was seriously pissed this time. Gui Yuan smirked slightly after listening. This punishment was way harsher than he'd even anticipated. Imperial capital resources are irreplaceable. I'm strengthening a soul master's physical constitution right now, especially the high-grade golden gel. Crucial for breaking through soul, ancestor, and king bottlenecks. And that high-grade stuff doesn't just boost your body. It boosts spirit power too. Cut off now, coupled with his resource reduction, keeping up with Hu Lainas. NCAU's training pace is going to be a massive struggle for Yin. In pure competition, one step behind means falling behind forever. Gui Yuan loved his teacher's brutal protectionism, even though he knew Bai Dong's motives were personal, too. 3 points for saving face. 7 points because my genius is the real deal. But as long as it benefits me, who cares about the process? Alright, Nana, that's enough. End of story. And Gui Yuan stopped spreading it around. Hu Laina rolled her eyes. Since when do I gossip? I only told you. By the way, you're really okay? That sparring match yesterday. No injuries? Gui Yuan shook his head. His soul ring didn't even touch me. How would I get hurt? Hu Laina thought. Why does that sound so infuriatingly arrogant? Meanwhile, inside the sanctuary, Lai Yongtian stood in the center of the hall. He recounted the events with exaggerated urgency and extra details. Of course, in his version of the story, Yin was just a naive junior looking for a fair duel, while Gui Yuan was ruthless and showed zero mercy. Jian Dalu sat at the head seat. He listened calmly, no reaction. Instead, he remained silent for a moment. Are you saying that kid called Gui Yuan defeated Yin in a single move? Lai Yongtian froze. Grand Elder, that's not the point. I'm asking you, was it a single move? Jian Dalu's tone grew slightly heavier. Lai Yongtian nodded in frustration. Yes, he unleashed an external soul bone. Bear paw bone. Extremely strong. A flicker of interest flashed in Jian Dalu's eyes. A 7-year-old with twin martial souls, a food-type soul master, and he beats Yin in one shot. This little brat is far more interesting than I thought. All right, you're dismissed. Jian Dalu said flatly. I see. I'll handle this matter. Thank you, Grand Elder. He quickly backed out of the sanctuary, a smug look plastered on his face. Once he was gone, several figures emerged from behind shooting screens. Golden Crocodile, Dua, strolled out, looking at Jian Dalu. Grand Elder, are you seriously going to help him punish Bai Dong's disciple? There was a hint of teasing mockery in his tone. I admit, I don't like Bai Dong either, but from the sound of it, her kid seems pretty damn impressive. Jian Dalu chuckled. Help him? Impossible. I just wanted him to stop talking first. Golden Croc raised brow. Ignoring this? Jian Dalu waved his hand dismissively. Let Bai Dong handle her own mess. A titled Delaw, level 94. Can't even keep his own disciple in check. Beaten, then crying to me? Pathetic. The elders chuckled amongst themselves. Jian Dalu's gaze drifted past the hall, into the distance, eyes deep and knowing. But that kid, on the other hand, looks like giving him that token wasn't a waste after all. Chapter 30, Dugibo's Breakthrough. Hu Laina absorbs soul bone to the start Do Great Forest. Meanwhile, Dugibo's residence in Skiri City sat nestled upon a serene hill west of the city. Right now, he sits in his study, staring at the 2 vials in his hand. Carved from pure white jade. Each held 30 pale green pills. 1 vial for him, 1 for his granddaughter. Yuan had hand-delivered them just days ago. Taking those vials, the expression on his face was a tangled mess. On one hand, he wanted to swear, his herb garden had been practically stripped bare. Aside from a few that spoiled without immediate use. Everything else, gone. On the other hand, there was gratitude. For a martial soul like the Dugu families, the soul toxin is a death sentence. He already tried 1 pill. That night, not a single moment of pain. First time in decades he'd slept so soundly. What the hell did that freak Yuan put in these pills? Dugubo muttered under his breath. His gaze lingered on the vials, trying to puzzle it out. Knowing Yuan's nature, there's no way he'd do this for free. But the guy had asked for absolutely 0 strings attached. He scratched his head, fingers running through his green hair. Whatever. He tucked them away for later. He rose, walked to the window. A month passed. Dugubo swallowed the very last pill. Waking up the morning after, he sensed a shift in his body instantly. An unprecedented lightness coursed through him. He closed his eyes, cycling his spirit power. Smooth, unhindered. Years of suffocation, gone. And in just a single month, his spirit power had rocketed from level 91 to level 93. More than that, his signature green hair had completely reverted back to jet black. The face in the mirror looked a full decade younger. Goddamn. Dugubo breathed out, fingers subconsciously tracing his own jawline. A burning curiosity ignited within him about Yuan's pills. What exactly did you put in there? How was the effect this insane? He had a nagging feeling. Level 93 wasn't his ceiling. He actually had a shot at breaking through to level 95. Yin, his granddaughter, suddenly flashed his mind. Once she takes the pill too, she should be able to shake off the soul toxin for good. Dugubo let out a long, deep breath, turned, and walked out of the room. Meanwhile, another 5 months had slipped by at Spirit Hall. Inside Gui Yuan's chamber, he sat cross-legged on the bed, his spirit power far denser than half a year ago. His power had climbed steadily from level 36 to level 39. Level 39 was triggered by the upgrade bonus. just a step away from hitting level 40. On the other side, both Ulyaina and Cia had already broken past level 40.
真惊讶，他妹妹比他小1岁，突破速度却比他还快。现在他快16岁了，胡列娜才14岁半。你最近修炼是不是太拼命了？邪月看着胡列娜，忍不住道。胡列娜笑了笑，有吗？我觉得还好吧。他没说出口的是，他可不想被小师弟甩太远。至于燕的话，他目前还停留在39级，距离40级差了一口气。这半年来，他的修炼资源减半，金胶供应也断了，修炼进度自然落后于他们两个。这天傍晚，教皇殿内，比比东将胡列娜单独叫了过来。大殿空旷，只有他们师徒2人。比比东从魂导器中取出一块魂骨，托在掌心里。那块魂骨通体呈淡粉色，表面流转着细密的光纹，如同薄雾般轻盈。一股若有若无的魅惑气息从上面散发出来，让人不自觉地想多看几眼。这块魂骨叫做精神凝聚之魅惑头骨，6万年的，品质并不比我之前给小渊的那块差。你吸收后，吸收万年第4魂环也会更有把握一些。胡列娜看着那块魂骨，心头一热，老师，这太贵重了，拿着。比比东语气平淡，但不容拒绝。你是我的弟子，该有的资源一样不会少。胡列娜抿了抿唇，走上前接过魂骨，谢谢老师。他没有再多说什么感激的话，有些东西记在心里就好，现在就吸收吧。比比东道，我为你护法。胡列娜点了点头，在大殿中央盘膝坐下，将魂骨贴在额头。比比东站在一旁，双手背在身后，目光平静地看着他。其实按照正常流程，胡列娜作为他的弟子，不应该这么早就获得魂骨。他原本想着等到他魂王之后，在全大陆魂师精英大赛上作为冠军奖励，那才算是一个合理的由头。但现在他提前给了，自然会承受一些压力。好在因为他还有另外一名弟子的缘故，千道流那边并没有多说什么。爱屋及乌。几个时辰后，胡列娜缓缓睁开双眼，她的瞳孔比之前更深了几分，眼尾的魅意也更浓了，一股充沛的精神力在她周身流转，连带着整个人的气质都变得不一样了。感觉如何？比比东问道。胡列娜站起身，活动了一下。老师，我感觉我的精神力提升了好多。她顿了一下，将魂骨赋予的技能告知比比东。魂骨技能叫妖也，是一个精神控制魂技，使用后可以影响对手的精神，并且减缓对方的速度。比比东微微颔首，不错，你现在已经有了2个精神控制技能，接下来第4魂环就往精神攻击方向去找。至于妖狐的狐火能力，放在第5魂环。胡列娜微微一笑，都听老师的。比比东看着他，眼中闪过一丝不易察觉的满意。回去准备一下，3天后出发去星斗大森林。是，老师。3天后清晨，教皇山脚下，比比东换了一身简约的紫黑色劲装，长发竖起，整个人看起来少了几分教皇的威严，多了几分凌厉。胡列娜和邪月站在他身后，2人都已经准备好了。鬼渊一大早就过来送行，他站在教皇殿门口，朝胡列娜挥了挥手。老师，娜娜姐，邪月大哥，一路小心啊。胡列娜笑着走过来，伸手捏了捏他的脸。放心好了，有老师在呢，我们不会有事。倒是你，我不在这段时间，你可别偷懒。鬼渊，我什么时候偷懒了？第31章提出混合理论球追逐那就好。胡列娜收回手，等我回来，说不定就赶上你了。那可不一定。鬼渊嘿嘿一笑，我进步很快的。胡列娜白了他一眼，转身走回队伍里。比比东看了鬼渊一眼，回去好好修炼。是，老师。比比东不再多言，带着胡列娜和邪月朝着星斗大森林的方向走去。鬼渊站在山门口，看着3人的背影渐行渐远。他并没有要求和胡列娜他们一起前往猎杀魂兽，这一来一回至少需要1个月左右的时间。有这时间，他不如在武魂殿待着，有老师亲自出手，猎杀到一头满意的魂兽肯定是可以的。而且趁着比比东不在，他还有件事准备跟大爹二爹好好聊一聊。如果成功的话，不说月关，鬼魅大概率可以直接突破到96级，那就是魂合。鬼渊找到了月关和鬼魅，2人正在月关的寝室中。月关坐在椅子上，翘着兰花，只端着茶杯，看到鬼渊进来就招了招手。小渊，今天怎么没去修炼？鬼渊走到2人面前坐下，嘿嘿一笑，大爹二爹，我有个想法想跟你们说说。月关挑了挑眉，哦，什么想法？鬼渊认真道，我学习武魂理论也有一段时间了，这几天心里突然冒出了一个念头。什么念头？鬼魅看着他说道。鬼渊道，就是我有一个疑惑，为什么封号斗罗在面对帝国100万军队的时候，往往是无法力敌的呢？月关愣了一下，这是谁跟你说的？王老师。鬼渊道，他说封号斗罗的实力确实在军队之上，甚至可以做到乱杀，但因为高年限魂技需要耗费大量魂力，所以如果放到战场上，一名封号斗罗打不过100万大军，会被围殴致死。鬼魅点了点头，某种意义上来说，王老师说的并没有错。月关也认同的放下茶杯，封号斗罗魂力不够用确实是一个问题，所以一般封号斗罗的第9魂技都是作为底牌，不到万不得已不会使用，太消耗魂力了。不过他话锋一转，这也只是在理论环境下，事实上封号斗罗确实无法一次性击杀100万大军，但魂力耗尽了可以迂回一下，等恢复后再继续杀，而且杀到对方怕了都不需要杀完，对方就投降了。鬼渊恍然大悟道，原来如此，我明白了。我本来心里还在想，能不能有一种方式提升封号斗罗的续航能力。月关轻笑了一下，抬手敲了敲鬼渊的脑袋，你这个小屁孩，才学了理论多久就操心这个？你知道这一点，武魂殿有多少理论大师在研究吗？这么多年了，都没想出一个具体的办法。鬼渊眨了眨单纯的眼睛，我觉得我这个办法可行。月关忍不住笑了，那你说说，我们2个帮忙参考一下。鬼魅也微微翘起嘴角，显然有些好奇他会说出什么鬼点子。鬼渊坐直了身子，组织了一下语言，我之前听老师提到过杀戮之都，那里面的异兽体内有一种叫内丹的东西，异兽靠内丹提供能量，相当于一个持续的能量 量源。月关和鬼魅的表情都微微一凝。鬼渊继续道：“我就想，魂师能不能也在体内凝聚出类似的东西？既然是由魂力凝聚而成的，那我把它叫做魂核。”月关和鬼魅对视了一眼，鬼渊没有停顿。魂核的位置可以在魂师的下丹田处，将体内的魂力凝聚到那一处，形成魂力漩涡，然后再将其压缩成一枚密度极高的固状物。这样，魂师在战斗时就能从魂核中源源不断的抽取魂力，续航能力大幅提升。月关越听越心惊，脸上的笑容逐渐消失了。他皱着眉，盯着鬼渊看了好一会儿。你这些想法是从哪里来的？鬼渊道：我自己想的。在老师提到过杀戮之都里面的异兽后，我就自己去藏书阁查找典籍了。比比东确实和他提过杀戮之都，因为领域知识的讲解需要用到那里的例子。未来比比东也希望他可以去那里获取属于他的杀神令。月关和鬼魅对视了一眼，两人眼中都闪过一丝恍然。月关摸着自己的下巴，陷入了沉思。不过魂核这个概念，貌似还真的可以尝试一下。鬼魅也微微动容，如果真的能在体内凝聚出那种东西，或许真的可以解决续航的问题。两人都是封号斗罗，对魂力的消耗和恢复有着切身的体会。如果真的能实现魂核，那对他们来说意义不可估量。月关耐心问道：那你有什么想法，可以让我们凝聚魂核没有？鬼渊却是摇了摇头，暂时没有。不过大爹二爹可以先试试，就是在魂师的下丹田处将体内魂力凝聚到那一处，形成魂力漩涡，再凝聚成固状物。但我在和你们说之前，其实自己在体外尝试了一下，我的魂力很难凝聚成一个密度很高的固体。鬼渊抬起右手，凝聚出一缕魂力在指尖，那魂力在他手中旋转压缩，但始终无法从气态变成固态，最终消散在空气中。月关看着那缕散去的魂力，若有所思。你的幽冥针不也是固态？鬼渊摇了摇头，虽然都是固体，但我感觉不太一样。幽冥针是细丝状的固体，而魂核需要是持续稳定的能量核心，而且是需要在体内凝聚的，难度不在一个层面上。两人都沉默了很久，半晌，月关抬起头，眼中带着一丝认真。虽然听起来很离谱，但我忽然觉得好像有点道理。鬼魅也道：如果真的能成，对魂世界来说是颠覆性的。鬼渊看着两人，心里暗暗松了一口气。第一步成功了，他只需要抛出这个概念，剩下的让月关和鬼魅自己去摸索。毕竟以他们的修为和经验，一旦方向对了，走起来比他快得多。他后续也可以有借鉴的地方。月关站起身，拍了拍鬼渊的脑袋：好小子，你这脑子确实好使。这件事我记下了，这2天我和你二爹尝试一下。第32章魂力气旋，噬魂炎狐与破空银狐。求追读几天的时间，月关和鬼魅确实尝试了一下凝聚魂核。不过他们一开始选择在体外进行尝试，毕竟在体内将魂力凝聚压缩成晶体这件事，之前谁都没做过，害怕一个不小心爆炸。高密度的魂力晶体在体内爆炸，那可不是开玩笑的。两人的寝殿后院，月关盘膝坐在地上，右手摊开，掌心悬着一团凝实的金色魂力，那团魂力缓缓旋转，不断向内收缩，边缘的光泽越来越亮，体积越来越小，但到了某个临界点，魂力忽然剧烈颤抖起来，砰一声闷响，那团魂力炸散开来，化作点点金光消散在空气中。月关甩了甩被震得发麻的手掌，眉头紧皱，又失败了，就差一点。鬼魅站在一旁，双手抱臂，第几次了？记不清了。月关叹了口气，我自己来，你先别插手。鬼魅没有反驳，只是安静地站在旁边，等月关在体外尝试了数十次，逐渐掌握了压缩的节奏之后，他们才开始尝试在体内进行，而且依旧是月关先试，鬼魅在一旁守着。两人的武魂具有契合度，魂力在一定程度可以相互融合。鬼魅的双掌贴在月关的后背，闭着眼睛细细感知着月关体内魂力的流向。下丹田处感觉怎么样？月关额头上渗出细密的汗珠，还好，压力有点大，但我能控制住。他小心翼翼地引导魂力往小腹处汇聚，压缩、旋转，再压缩，那感觉就像用双手去捏一个随时会炸开的气球。整整5天时间，月关尝试了不下上百次，始终无法将那团魂力凝聚成固态晶体。但他做到了另一件事，他在体内凝聚出了一个魂力气旋，那气旋在下丹田处缓缓转动，带动全身魂力加速流转。月关能够明显地感觉到，他的魂力运转速度和恢复速度比之前快了2-3成。成了。鬼魅见他睁开眼，问道。月关摇了摇头，离你说的魂核还差得远，只是一个气旋，但这确实证明方向是对的。鬼魅若有所思，你的魂力运转速度提升了多少？2-3成。月关道，恢复速度也快了，如果继续往下走，真的凝聚出魂核，续航能力翻倍都有可能。鬼魅没有多说什么，只是道，让我也试试。月关点了点头，将自己的经验详细告知了鬼魅，包括压缩的节奏、魂力的分配比例以及需要注意的风险点。鬼魅一样画葫芦，同样是5天的时间，他也在体内凝聚出了魂力气旋，两人的进度基本一致，看来这个方法可行。月关松了口气，但想要往下走，我有点怂了。他摸了摸自己的小腹，再往下压缩一点，稍微失控就是爆炸，我还不想死那么早。鬼魅难得笑了一声，怂货，你不走你继续啊。月关白了他一眼，鬼魅没有接话，两人沉默了片刻。月关道，等教皇冕下回来，把这件事告诉他吧。他的第一武魂有一个魂技是不死之身，可以放心尝试。鬼魅点了点头，也好，教皇冕下的修为和经验都比我们高，说不定能成。比比东，两人找到了鬼渊，把这几天的进展告诉了他。鬼渊听完，眼睛微微一亮，气旋成了，那离魂核就不远了。月关摆手，哪有那么容易？ 现在只是刚开始，后续能不能成，还得看教皇冕下的。鬼渊点了点头，那就等老师回来再说。他来尝试，确实是一个比较好的选择。他心里其实有数，以比比东的天赋和修为，只要方向对了，凝聚魂核只是时间问题。而且他有不死之身兜底，试错的成本比任何人都低。另一边，星斗大森林，比比东带着胡列娜和邪月已经在这里搜寻了10几天。胡列娜这次的目标是1万年出头的精神属性魂兽，邪月则要猎杀8000年左右的魂兽。出发前，比比东给胡列娜定下了3种适合的魂兽：猎魂妖狐、噬魂炎狐、碎魂冥狐，全是狐狸类的魂兽，其中噬魂炎狐是最适合的。吸收了他的魂环，哪怕无法获得精神冲击魂技，也大概率能得到一个跟狐火有关的魂技。至于邪月，只需要寻找合适的力量型魂兽就可以了。老师，前面那片林子里有几头魂兽，您看行吗？胡列娜指着不远处一片密林，比比东看了一眼，摇头，8000年出头，太低了。走吧，再往深处走走。又过了几天，他们经过一处沼泽，看到一头通体漆黑的猎魂妖狐正在捕食。胡列娜有些兴奋，老师，猎魂妖狐。比比东观察了片刻，年限太高了，快2万年了，你现在吸收不了。胡列娜叹了口气，恋恋不舍地收回目光。还有一天，他们在一座山涧旁遇到了一头碎魂冥狐，但那只狐狸只有8000年左右，同样不合适。邪月倒是找到了几头力量型魂兽，但年限都不是很理想。别急，比比东走在最前面，合适的魂兽急不来。第12天，比比东忽然停下脚步，抬手示意2人止步。前方是一处较为灼热的地带，空气干燥，地面散落着许多熔岩晶体，一条幽深的龙洞入口斜斜地嵌入山壁之中，而洞里隐约传来打斗的声响。比比东的精神力外放出去，片刻后他睁开眼，目光微微一凝，里面有2头狐狸类魂兽在打斗。胡列娜和邪月对视了一眼，都屏住了呼吸。比比东继续道：一头是噬魂炎狐，通体赤红色，体长3米左右，修为在万年到13000年之间，刚好适合你吸收。胡列娜眼睛一亮，另一头呢？比比东摇了摇头，另一头应该是破空银狐，通体银白色，体长2.5米，修为在7000年到9000年之间，它具有空间能力，非常稀有，可以和那头万年噬魂炎狐打得有来有回。比比东看向邪月，淡淡道：很适合你。第33章精神爆燃，破空瞬斩，鬼手。邪月愣了一下，空间能力。比比东点了点头，如果能吸收到他的魂环，你以后的速度和灵活性至少提升1个档次。老师，那我们……胡列娜有些迫不及待。比比东打断他：你们在原地等着，不要靠近。话音落下的瞬间，他的身影已经消失不见。下一刻，比比东出现在溶洞内部，第2武魂噬魂朱黄附体，墨绿色的光芒在周身流转。2头狐狸同时转头看向他，眼中都闪过一丝惊惧。噬魂炎狐龇牙咧嘴，身上的赤红色毛发根根竖立，银白色狐狸则是身形一晃，化作一道残影朝着洞外冲去。但比比东的速度更快。第6魂技永恒之创，永恒之创避开了要害，精准地命中了他们的后腿和肩胛。噬魂炎狐发出一声痛吼，扑倒在地。破空银狐也踉跄了一下，空间能力的施展被打断。面对比比东，这2头魂兽没有一点反抗的能力。噬魂炎狐被钉在地上，四肢不断抽搐，口中发出低沉的呜咽声。破空银狐则侧躺在地，肩胛处的伤口渗出淡银色的血液，那双灵动的眼眸中带着恐惧和不甘。比比东走上前，双手抬起，噬魂朱黄的蛛丝从他掌心射出，将2头魂兽层层缠绕，将他们拖到了外面。随后，比比东喊了一声：出来吧。胡列娜和邪月快步走了出来，看到眼前的情景时，2人都愣住了。2头魂兽被蛛丝绑得严严实实，连挣扎的力气都没有了。比比东淡淡道：上去补刀。胡列娜深吸一口气，走到噬魂炎狐面前，身下第1魂环升起，手中凝聚出一团赤红色的狐火。那狐狸似乎知道自己的命运已定，闭上了眼睛。胡列娜没有犹豫，狐火劲直没入他的头颅，噬魂炎狐的身体猛然一僵，随即彻底瘫软下去。一枚黑色的魂环从尸体上缓缓浮现。邪月那边也同步完成了击杀，破空银狐被他一刀刺入心脏，连最后一声哀鸣都没发出。一枚紫色的魂环同样从他的尸体上升起，开始吸收吧。比比东站在2人中间，我为你们护法。胡列娜和邪月对视了一眼，同时点头。2人分别在2头魂兽的尸体旁盘膝坐下，开始牵引魂环入体。胡列娜眉头微皱，万年魂环的能量冲击远比他预想的要猛烈，但他的精神力在经过那块6万年头骨的淬炼后，已经足够应对万年魂环的灵魂震荡了。邪月那边同样不轻松，破空银狐的魂环带有空间属性，那股力量如同刀刃般在他经脉中穿梭，带给他一种被撕扯的痛感，但他咬紧牙关，硬生生扛了下来。1天1夜的时间在寂静的森林中悄然流逝。第2天清晨，竟然是胡列娜率先睁开了眼睛，她长出一口气，眼中金光闪烁，整个人的气息比之前凝实了许多。紧接着，邪月也缓缓睁开双眼，他的瞳孔深处似乎掠过一丝银白色的光芒，但很快恢复正常。比比东站在2人面前，目光平静，感觉如何？胡列娜站起身，活动了一下肩膀。老师，我魂力到43级了。邪月也跟着站起来，回教皇冕下，我42级了。比比东微微颔首，他还算满意，随后问道： 魂技呢？获得了什么？胡列娜脸上露出惊喜之色，语气带着掩饰不住的兴奋。老师，我给他取名叫做精神爆燃，可以瞬间对目标释放一团凝聚的精神炎流冲击，附带2次伤害效果。他解释道，第一次是精神冲击，可以对目标造成精神震荡；第2次是精神灼烧，持续灼烧对方的精神力。如果对方的精神力不够强，这2重伤害叠加起来，基本上就失去战斗力了。比比东听完，眼中露出一丝满意。不错，既有精神攻击，又有持续伤害，这个魂技很全面。比比东顿了一下，而且你已经有狐火作为基础，精神爆燃可以跟狐火配合使用，一个是物理灼烧，一个是精神灼烧，打起来对手很难防备。胡列娜连连点头，我也是这么想的。比比东转而看向邪月，你呢？邪月沉默了片刻，道：我的第4魂技叫做破空瞬斩，使用后可以以极快的速度在30米范围内的多个空间节点连续跳跃，每次跳跃都可以对目标发动1次斩击。以我目前的魂力，最多可以连续跳跃5次。比比东的眉头微微动了一下，空间节点跳跃这个魂技的上限很高，30米范围内的连续位移加攻击，配合你的弯刀，杀伤力会非常恐怖。而且这个魂技的成长性很好，等你魂力提升了，跳跃的次数和距离都会增加。邪月握了握腰间的弯刀，眼中兴奋，显然他对自己的这个第4魂环也十分的满意。好了，这次出来的时间也不短了，该回去了。同一时间，武魂殿鬼渊的训练场，这半个多月的时间，他并没有闲着。修炼之外，他还在跟鬼魅学习一个新的自创魂技。鬼魅站在他对面，双手拢在袖中，语气平淡。幽冥针是远程攻击，引步是位移，但你的第2武魂还缺少一个控制手段，所以我教你鬼手。鬼魅抬起右手，黑色雾气从掌心涌出，凝聚成一只半透明的黑色手掌，那手掌悬浮在空中，五指张开，灵活自如地活动着。鬼手可以从目标脚下、背后乃至阴影中无声无息地出现，一旦抓住对方，就可以限制他的行动，配合引步近身，再用鬼手控制，最后用幽冥针或暗金孔爪终结，这是一个完美地连招。鬼渊看着那只漂浮在空中的黑色手掌，跃跃欲试。鬼魅道：先用幽冥之力凝聚出手掌的形状，然后让它保持稳定，目标只有一个，让你的鬼手可以隔空抓住那只飞虫而不把它捏碎。他指了指远处一只落在墙角的蜻蜓，要求是不伤害它，但他也跑不掉。鬼渊，这难度是真不低。PS 求推荐票，求月票，求收藏，求追读第34章。我最讨厌事后道歉。比比东尝试凝聚魂和求追读这几天，鬼渊在练习鬼手中度过了。那只倒霉的蜻蜓已经被他抓了放了抓，反反复复折腾了几十次，从一开始歪歪扭扭的飘出去，到如今能迅速完成凝聚、飞出、抓住3个动作，进步肉眼可见。这天下午，他正在后院练习，一道身影忽然出现在院子门口。烈阳天，他身旁还跟着一个人影，2人的脸色都不太好看，像是吃了什么难以下咽的东西。鬼渊停下动作，挑了挑眉，有事。烈阳天深吸一口气，走上前2步，拱了拱手。之前的事是燕做的不对，我带他来，当面给你赔个不是。他说完，偏头看了燕一眼，燕抿了抿嘴，低着头，声音闷闷的：对不起，之前是我冒犯了。月关和鬼魅不知什么时候出现在院子另一侧，双手抱臂，面无表情地看着这一幕。鬼渊看了看燕，又看了看烈阳天，他能猜出这师徒俩现在的处境。这1个月来，烈阳天大概是发现千道流根本不打算替他出头，长老殿的其他长老也没人站出来帮他说话，他这才后知后觉地意识到自己得罪的不只是一个小孩，而是比比东、月关、鬼魅3位封号斗罗，其中月关还是刚刚突破到96级的超级斗罗，已经具备了进入供奉殿的资格。不过或许是因为被奖励了一块魂骨，或许是月关觉得现在的日子过得不错，所以他并没有考虑进入供奉殿，这对他现在而言不过就是一个虚名，可进可不进。他们冷静下来后，认为服软是唯一的选择。鬼渊沉默了片刻，但淡道：以后不要出现在我的面前就行。他顿了顿，语气平静地补了一句：你还不配。燕的脸色唰的一下涨红了，烈阳天的嘴角也抽搐了一下，拳头捏紧又松开，他忍住了。是。烈阳天咬着牙挤出一个字，拉着燕转身快步离开。月关看着2人的背影消失在院子门口，轻笑了一声：这小子还挺记仇。鬼渊道：道歉有用的话，要实力干什么？他最讨厌的就是事后道歉了。几天后，比比东带着胡列娜和邪月返回了武魂殿，3人一进教皇殿，胡列娜就迫不及待地跑了出来，直奔鬼渊的院子。师弟，师弟！他人还没到，声音已经到了。鬼渊正在院子里冥想，听到他的喊声睁开眼，胡列娜一溜烟跑到他面前，脸上带着掩饰不住的得意。我这次获得的第4魂技可是相当不错哦。他双手叉腰，微微昂着下巴，虽然精神攻击对你无效，但我这个第4魂技还拥有灼烧效果，想必你这次就没有办法抵挡了吧？鬼渊闻言有些意外，他只是之前随口给胡列娜提过一个建议，可以往精神攻击的方向走一走，别死磕精神控制。没想到他运气真的不错，还真拿到了这么一个魂技，而且还有附带效果。不过暗翼之弓给他的精神守护免疫不了灼烧效果，但他只要不被胡列娜击中，那不就行了？而且服用过忘川秋水露的他，虽然没有吸收那块精神凝聚之智慧头骨，但在精神力方面也有不小的提升。胡列娜的精神灼烧并不是主要攻击手段，只是一个负面效果，凭借他的精神力，想要抵挡还是可以的。不过鬼渊就是看不过胡列娜那副得意的表情，忽然抬手在他额头轻轻弹了一下，然后转身就跑。娜娜姐，就算如此，你现在也不一定打得过我。胡列娜愣了一瞬，随即捂着发红的额头，眼角泛泪。你这个混蛋，给我站住！ 他直接追了出去，吐火在掌心一闪一闪的冒着。你也给我弹一下。邪月看着这一幕，无奈的摇了摇头。他这个妹妹算是被这个小师弟吃得死死的了。第二天，教皇殿内，鬼渊将混合的事告诉了比比东，月关和鬼妹站在一旁，补充了一些细节。教皇冕下，我和老鬼已经尝试过了。月关认真道，虽然还没能凝成固态混合，但体内已经形成了魂力气旋，魂力运转速度和恢复速度都提升了至少2-3成。比比东越听越意外，他看向鬼渊，眼神带着几分审视，又带着几分惊喜。为师不在的这段时间，你就给我搞出了这个东西。鬼渊挠了挠头，就是瞎琢磨的。你的脑子里面都装了些什么？比比东的语气是惊喜的，甚至嘴角都微微翘了起来。他虽然贵为教皇，见多识广，但魂合这个概念确实闻所未闻。如果真能实现，对魂世界的意义恐怕不亚于一块10万年魂骨。那为师也试试。比比东没有犹豫太久，他先是在体外进行尝试，将魂力尽可能压缩，提纯成晶体状。这个过程，月关和鬼妹已经重复了无数遍。比比东上手极快，仅仅1个时辰就在掌心凝聚出了一枚指甲盖大小的魂力结晶。虽然只维持了几息就消散了，但足以证明方向是对的。随后，他开始尝试在体内凝聚。月关和鬼妹一左一右守在一旁，不敢有丝毫松懈。比比东盘膝坐在地上，双眼紧闭，周身魂力翻涌。他直接释放了死亡蛛皇的第9魂技不死之身，紫黑色的光芒包裹着他的全身。这样一来，哪怕凝聚过程中出现意外，他也能保命。1天1夜的时间在寂静中缓缓流过。第二天清晨，比比东缓缓睁开双眼，他低头看向自己的小腹，感受着下丹田处那个缓缓旋转的魂力气旋。虽然距离鬼渊所说的魂合还有很长的路要走，但第一步迈出去了。比比东站起身，看着鬼渊，表情有些复杂。当初收他为弟子，一方面是看中他双生武魂的天赋，另一方面是那个不知名的神奇传承。没想到这才1年半的时间，自己还没怎么教导他，反而从他身上得到了一个足以改变魂世界格局的构想。干得不错。比比东拍了拍鬼渊的肩膀，没有多说什么。其实这个功劳很大，他是得给奖励的，但目前他身上还真没有什么可以拿得出手的。PS 求推荐票，求月票，求收藏，求追读第35章40集5种适合的魂兽，求追读3个月的时间悄然流逝。鬼渊的魂力从39级突破到了40级，按理说凡是遇到9、19、29、39这种等级瓶颈都会比平时大得多，但他突破的时候并没有感觉到太大的阻碍，不知道是因为金刚不坏体质，还是仙品药力的持续作用。一达到40级，鬼渊就迫不及待地去找了比比东。老师，我40级了。比比东点了点头，我知道了。你想好第4魂环要什么类型的了吗？鬼渊早有准备，依旧是全属性增幅魂技。他之所以第1武魂走食物系，首先是为了更好地增强自身，其次才是辅助他人。所以像解毒魂技、飞行魂技这些，鬼渊并不打算去浪费一个魂环位置。飞行魂技乍一看好像确实不错，但他的第2武魂本身就是灵魂体，具有漂浮特性，等以后为第2武魂附加魂环的时候，完全可以找一个飞行类的魂环，甚至于他都没必要去附加这样的魂环。圣魂村附近的瀑布，阿银被种在瀑布旁的山洞内，而附近就埋着他的10万年右腿骨。如果吸收了这块魂骨，不仅可以给鬼渊带来一个非常不错的治疗魂技，还能够拥有飞行的能力。要知道，斗1时期的魂师，哪怕到了封号斗罗，如果不是武魂本身就具备飞行能力的话，那是无法飞的。当然了，封号斗罗凭借魂后的魂力是可以做到短时间的凌空踏步的，但这并不是飞行。而也正是因为这个原因，使得奥斯卡的第3魂技飞行蘑菇肠到了后期也是有着很实用的效果，哪怕只是以千年凤尾机关蛇的速度飞行1分钟。现在他拥有的3个魂技分别是能够提升防御的奇荣护心瓣，能够恢复体力、魂力、伤势的奇荣生灵蕊，以及能够全属性增幅50%的奇荣暗金菊。后续他的食物系魂环还可以朝着瞬间恢复魂力、瞬间恢复伤势、瞬间恢复精神力、强化下一招魂技威力等方向去实现。这些有一部分是他以奥斯卡为参照物的，毕竟能够以食物系修炼到封号斗罗级别，越到后面的食物系魂技效果也就越逆天，甚至都没副作用。当然，像复制镜像长那种可以复制别人武魂和魂技的食物系魂技，等他后续身体能承受10万年魂环的时候，一定要去猎杀一头禁影兽。一旦拥有了复制魂技，他的攻击手段就不仅仅局限于第2武魂了，他可以复制大爹二爹的武魂，使用他们的魂技，甚至复制供奉殿几大供奉的武魂，乃至于比比东的武魂。而且在10万年镜像魂骨的加持下，他复制后大概率能发挥出100%的威力，那就很恐怖了。3天后，教皇殿门口，比比东换了一身简洁的紫黑色劲装，站在台阶上，表情平静。鬼渊站在他的身旁，胡列娜和邪月也来送行。师弟，等你回来之后，说不定我就45级了。胡列娜笑嘻嘻地道。鬼渊回头看着他，师姐，等这次回来，我可能就比你强了哦。胡列娜娇哼了一声，别得意，他也就只能嘴硬一下，心里其实清楚自己这个师弟提升的速度有多快。他现在44级，而鬼渊才刚突破40级，但按照他每次吸收魂环都跳2-3级的速度，这一趟回来，说不定真能追上他。一旁，邪月看着鬼渊，想了想说道，等你回来之后，我们友好切磋一下。他上次看到鬼渊和彦的对战后，心里就一直想试试。当然，和彦那种趾高气昂的不同，他是真的想用鬼渊来检验自己的实力水平。哪怕他第4魂环是罕见的空间魂技，他都不觉得自己可以稳赢鬼渊。好啊，鬼渊露出了一口大白牙，他也老早就想跟邪月这个大哥练练，毕竟胡列娜的能力被他的暗翼之弓天克，他根本无法和师姐尽兴的对练。胡列娜的狐火和精神爆燃虽然能伤到他，但只要他躲开就行了，完全没有那种拳拳到肉的痛快感。比比东没有给2人太 多闲聊的时间。走了，路上比比东的速度很快，鬼渊被他的魂力包裹着，一路上几乎没有停顿，风在耳边呼啸而过，周围的景色飞速倒退。这次他们的目标只有5种魂兽，年限越高，能选择的魂兽数量就越少。和之前数十种候选不同，这次无论遇到哪一头，只要能打就直接猎杀。食物系魂师不在意魂兽的血脉高低，关键在于能否产出你需要的增幅魂技。第一种四灵玄龟，土属性魂兽，龟甲上升有天然的4色纹路，分别对应力量、速度、防御、精神4种属性，其体内魂力流转极为均衡，吸收其魂环后，有极大概率产出均衡型的全属性增幅魂技。第二种星辉麋鹿，通体银白，脚上常年笼罩着细碎的星光，本身不具备强烈的攻击性，但其魂环非常适合产出增益型魂技。随后就是6翼金蝉、混元蟒和万象古藤。几天后，他们抵达了星斗大森林，比比东带着鬼渊在树林间穿梭。3万年左右的魂兽，在星斗大森林里已经算是高阶存在。这种魂兽常见于混合区域，所以他们快速地掠过了外围区。老师，我们先找哪一头？鬼渊跟在他身后问道。比比东淡淡道：看运气，星辉麋鹿和混元蟒最稀有，前者行踪不定，后者几乎绝迹。6翼金蝉和万象古藤相对好找一些，但他们各有各的活动范围。先往西北方向走，那边有一片金蝉林的记载。鬼渊点了点头，不再多问。两人相距1米以内，一前一后穿过层层树影，脚下是厚厚的落叶和潮湿的泥土。偶尔有低阶魂兽察觉到他们的气息，但似乎是察觉到比比东并不好惹，远远就躲开了。第5天傍晚，比比东忽然停在一棵巨树的枝干上，眯起眼睛望向远处，找到了。鬼渊顺着他的视线看过去，前方是一片低矮的密林，树冠之间隐约可见淡金色的光点闪烁，那光点忽明忽暗，像是某种生物在呼吸。6翼金蝉，鬼渊问道。第36章击杀6翼金蝉，求追毒摁。比比东低声道，能碰见这么一只刚好符合你要求的6翼金蝉并不容易。他的目光锁定在前方那团若隐若现的金光上，语气平静。6翼金蝉每1万年修为会退1次壳，眼前这只看样子已经退了3次，其实力相当于5万年修为的普通魂兽。你在这里等着，我去给你抓过来。鬼渊没有多说，后退几步，藏身在一棵粗壮的古树后面。在来的路上，比比东已经给他科普过这种魂兽的习性。对于食物系魂师来说，魂兽稀不稀有其实无所谓，但稀有的魂兽往往有其独特之处，可能会产出一些奇特的魂技，而6翼金蝉正是如此。此刻，鬼渊的脑海中浮现出关于他的详细信息。6翼金蝉，甲靠坚硬无比，水火不侵，五行不染，普通攻击难以破防，拥有空间穿梭与精神干扰双重天赋，能短暂隐匿身形并驱离周围魂兽。从武魂殿典籍的介绍就能看出，他的实力非常强悍。获得他的魂环，即使不是全属性增幅，也大概率会是一个对他非常有用的魂技。比比东踏前一步，脚尖点在一根低垂的树枝上，身形如箭般射出。6翼金蝉似乎察觉到了危险，6片薄翼猛然震颤，发出一声尖锐刺耳的蝉鸣，金色的光晕在他周身爆发开来，将他笼罩其中。但比比东的速度更快，死亡蛛皇武魂瞬间附体，紫黑色的光芒从他身上蔓延开来，双手位置凝出2柄镰刀状的武器，通体紫黑，刀刃上流转着致命的毒光，那是他猎杀10万年死亡蛛皇后爆出的左右臂骨。第3魂技死亡蛛网束缚，比比东抬手一挥，一张巨大的墨绿色蛛网从掌心射出，蛛网上布满了细密的毒刺，带着令人窒息的压迫感扑向6翼金蝉。然而6翼金蝉的身影骤然模糊，他没有任何预兆的出现在了5米开外，轻松躲开了蛛网的覆盖范围，那动作行云流水，连一丝多余的气息波动都没有。空间穿梭，鬼渊在远处看得真切，心中暗道，果然名不虚传。比比东却只是冷哼了一声，跑得掉吗？话音落下的瞬间，他周身的气势猛然攀升，一圈紫黑色的光晕从他脚下扩散开来，如同涟漪般扫过整片区域。死亡领域，这是死亡蛛皇武魂的天赋领域。领域展开的刹那，方圆100米的空气仿佛都凝固了，地面上浮现出蛛网状的纹路，紫黑色的毒雾从缝隙中渗出，弥漫在每一寸空间之中。在领域内，比比东自身全属性提升10%，敌人全属性削弱20%，自身精神力提升20%，敌人精神力降低20%。最重要的是，领域内敌人无法使用隐匿和瞬移等空间技能。6翼金蝉那淡金色的瞳孔中，第一次闪过了一丝慌乱，他试图再次发动空间穿梭，但身形只是微微一闪，瞬移的距离被压缩到了不足1米，形同虚设。紧接着，大量的紫黑色死亡蛛毒附着在他的甲靠表面，发出滋滋的腐蚀声。6翼金蝉发出一声尖锐的嘶鸣，6片薄翼疯狂震动，他知道自己跑不掉了，于是他选择了反击。金色的光芒在他体内暴涨，甲靠上的6道纹路同时亮起，他如同一枚金色的炮弹般朝着比比东猛冲过去，速度之快，甚至在空中拖出了一道残影。比比东面不改色。第5魂技千锋万盾，数以千计的尖刺在他面前凝聚成型，密密麻麻的排列在一起，如同一面刺猬般的护盾。6翼金蝉撞击在护盾上，发出震耳欲聋的巨响，金色的光芒与紫黑色的尖刺互相侵蚀，爆发出刺目的光晕。比比东单手一压，护盾碎裂成无数碎片，化作大量的尖刺反扑过去。第6魂技吸血蛛刺，数千根带有吸血和剧毒效果的尖刺如同暴雨般朝着6翼金蝉倾泻而下，每一根尖刺都精准地瞄准了他甲靠上缝隙。可就在这时，6翼金蝉身上突然金光大放，一道半透明的金色护罩在他体外瞬间成型， 将所有尖刺尽数弹开。金身技能，这是6翼金蝉最后的保命手段。在金光护体的状态下，他的防御力提升数倍，短时间内免疫一切伤害。比比东看着那层金光，嘴角露出一丝不屑的弧度。金身技能有用吗？他猛地收敛死亡蛛皇武魂，第2武魂是魂蛛皇，瞬间切换附体，墨绿色的光芒包裹着他的全身，身形化作一道残影，直扑6翼金蝉。身下第6魂环亮起，永恒之创。他手中的镰刀毫不犹豫地洞穿了6翼金蝉的金身护罩，如同一把烧红的刀切入黄油一般，致命毒素在其体内蔓延，甲靠破裂，金色的血液从伤口处喷涌而出。6翼金蝉发出一声凄厉的哀鸣，6片薄翼的拍动逐渐变得无力，他重重摔落在地，金色的光芒迅速暗淡下去。比比东收回死亡领域，转身朝远处的古树方向喊道：“他快要不行了，用你的暗金孔爪给他最后一击。”鬼渊从树后闪身而出，几个影步便来到了6翼金蝉面前。那只金色的大虫子侧躺在地，3对翅膀还在微弱的颤动，但已经彻底失去了反抗的能力。他抬起右掌，暗金色的光芒覆盖了整只手掌。关于那头神秘巨熊，在鬼渊的提议下，直接被命名为暗金孔爪熊。这块外附魂骨自然也叫做暗金孔爪右掌骨。他瞄准6翼金蝉甲靠上最大的那道伤口，右掌猛然落下，暗金孔爪的5道爪芒精准地没入伤口之中。6翼金蝉的身体剧烈抽搐了2下，随即彻底瘫软下去。一枚黑色的魂环从他的尸体上缓缓浮现。比比东此刻已经解除了武魂附体状态，对着鬼渊说道：“吸收吧，我为你护法。”其实刚刚的比比东那个样子也不算是真正的武魂附体，因为他只是背后长出8根半透明的蜘蛛腿，而他的武魂附体样子应该是半人半猪才是。PS 求推荐票，求月票，求收藏，求追读第37章。通天金桔金蝉护体，求追读。比比东并不担心鬼渊能不能吸收这枚3万年的魂环，毕竟他有着神器护体，万年魂环的灵魂震荡对他造不成实质威胁。需要注意的只是时间问题，年限越高，融合就越慢。事实证明，他的判断是对的。这一次鬼渊吸收3万年魂环，耗费了整整3天3夜，他的体质足够承受3万年魂环带来的压迫，但精神力还差了一截。哪怕他已经服用过忘川秋水露，面对3万年的灵魂震荡，还是低了至少1个档次。除非他将身上那块精神凝聚之智慧头骨吸收了，但他不想，所以只能凭借暗翼之弓的精神守护，慢慢和魂环中的怨念印好。3天3夜的时间里，鬼渊的精神空间内反复上演着拉锯战。6翼金蝉的残魂化作一道金色的虚影，不断朝他发起精神冲击，每一次冲击都如同浪潮般拍打在他的精神屏障上。但暗翼之弓的守护像是一堵牢不可破的城墙，将所有攻击都挡在外面。鬼渊只需要稳住心神，等待对方的怨念之力自行消散。第2天的时候，6翼金蝉的虚影已经明显暗淡了许多。第3天正午，那最后一丝残魂终于不甘地化作光点，彻底消散，魂环的能量开始真正与他的身体融合。这天傍晚，比比东看到鬼渊身上的魂环逐渐趋于平稳，心里刚松了口气，可下一刻异变突生。鬼渊的后背肩胛骨处忽然凸起了6个光点，金色的光芒从皮肤下透出，越来越亮。紧接着，6只半透明的鎏金翅翼从他背后伸展而出，翅翼薄如蝉翼，边缘流淌着细碎的金色光纹，在夕阳下折射出炫目的光泽。比比东瞳孔微微一缩，外附魂骨，他喃喃道，语气中带着明显的惊讶：“小渊的运气未免有些好过头了。鬼渊本身已经有一块暗金孔爪外附魂骨了，现在又得到了一块。要知道，外附魂骨之所以价值仅次于10万年魂骨，并不单单是因为其可成长性，还因为魂师在吸收外附魂骨之后，自身全属性会大幅度提升。”比比东越想越觉得这个弟子的气运有些离谱。鬼渊，老师，你的气运并不在我之下。又过了3天，鬼渊身上所有光芒终于彻底收敛，魂环与魂骨完全融合，气息稳定下来，他缓缓睁开双眼，呼出一口浊气。比比东站在2步之外，眼中带着几分好奇：“怎么样，魂力提升如何？获得想要的食物系魂技了吗？”鬼渊先是感受了一下体内的变化，脸色微微一凝，他沉默了2秒，然后叹了口气：“唉，43级了，老师。不过这次获得的魂技并不是全属性增幅。”比比东微微一愣：“难道你在魂环上的运气不好？”他的语气带着一丝疑惑，以鬼渊之前的表现，不像是运气差的人。鬼渊垂下眼帘，一副失落的样子。比比东看着他这副模样，眉头微微皱起。可下一刻，鬼渊的嘴角忽然翘了起来，他抬起右手，其中通天菊武魂在掌心绽放，第4枚黑色魂环从身下缓缓升起。通天金桔金蝉护体，他念动魂咒，一朵金黄色的奇荣通天菊凝聚在掌心，花瓣通体鎏金，边缘流转着蝉翼般的光泽，如同一件精致的工艺品。鬼渊抬起头，笑嘻嘻地道：“老师，我骗你的。第4魂技叫奇荣金身菊，服用后可以在自己身体上形成一道金身，持续3秒，可以免疫任何形式的攻击。”他又补了一句：“当然了，像老师之前施展的那种无视防御的魂技，这金身是免疫不了的。老师，你这魂技的机制在我这魂技之上。”砰！一根手指精准地弹在了他的额头上。鬼渊吃痛地捂住额头，有些委屈：“老师，我这魂技不好吗？你干嘛打我？”比比东冷哼一声：“叫你调皮。”他嘴上这么说，眼神却柔和了几分。 你这魂技比全属性增幅好太多了，对你而言是一个保命魂技。鬼渊嘿嘿一笑，这还没完呢。如果我是在使用外附魂骨的状态下制作奇荣金身局，金身持续时间还能延长1秒。比比东闻言，嘴角微微一勾，同一个魂兽产出的魂环和魂骨作用在同一个人身上，确实会有这样的增益效果。从3秒到4秒，虽然只多了1秒，但在高战力战场中足以去做很多事了。那你制作这金身局耗费的魂力多吗？储存时间如何？鬼渊叹了口气，这次制作金身局需要花费不少时间，储存时间也比之前短了很多。目前一次性只能做出5朵，储存时间只有2天，而且一名魂师一天最多服用3朵，多了就没有效果了。比比东笑了笑，2天很长了，一般的食物系魂师制作出来的食物能维持超过6个时辰都算顶级了，你这2天的储存时间已经是非常顶级的水准了。而且这种食物系魂技，一名魂师一天能服用的次数有限才是正常的，要是可以无限制的服用，那就无敌了。他看向鬼渊背后那对缓缓收拢的禅意，你这外附魂骨给你带来了什么技能？我猜应该和空间移动有关。鬼渊嘿嘿一笑，老师真聪明，这外附魂骨我把它叫做6翅金禅意，目前赋予我的魂骨技能是空间穿梭，我可以随心所欲的进行短距离瞬移。比比东点了点头，还算不错，你现在需要的正是保命类的魂技。好了，我们这次出来的时间也不短了，该回去了。回去的路上，他闲着没事就跟比比东闲聊了起来，一点都不在意他是否冷着一张脸。老师，双生武魂修炼的时候，魂力运转会不会有冲突啊？老师，我后续奇荣通天局的魂环，你觉得往什么方向走比较好？老师，第2武魂后面找什么魂兽吸收比较合适？比比东一开始还冷着脸，但鬼渊像话痨一样问个不停，他不得不一一回答。说到后来，他甚至被气笑了好几次。自从被关进那间密室之后，他已经很久没有这样笑过了，虽然多数时候是被气笑的。鬼渊走在后面，看着他嘴角残留的那丝弧度，虽然觉得有些不可能，但他在比比东再一次见到玉小刚之前，要尽可能的提升他在比比东心中的分量。毕竟他知道玉小刚终究是和武魂殿敌对的，武魂殿和他之前不是你死就是我亡。而比比东并不知道鬼渊有什么小心思，他在思考一件事，作为鬼渊的老师，他有什么能给他的，并不仅仅因为他是自己的弟子，还因为魂核理论，这份理论的价值一点不亚于一块10万年魂骨，但10万年魂骨他确实拿不出来。第38章紫路勋章，我可以答应你一个要求，求追读回武魂殿的路比去的时候快了不少。鬼渊一路上问东问西，比比东虽然面上冷淡，但基本都回答了。两人抵达教皇殿时已是傍晚，夕阳将大殿前的石阶染成一片暖金色。月关和鬼魅感知到鬼渊回来了，也是赶紧过来。胡列娜和邪月也闻讯赶来，一个跑得比一个快。师弟，胡列娜远远就喊了一声，你这次出去多久了？都快半个月了。然后胡列娜对着比比东说了一声，老师。鬼渊朝他挥了挥手，这不是回来了吗？月关上下打量了他一番，眼中带着探究，这次出去收获怎么样？多少级了？鬼渊点了点头，43级了。月关嘴角一翘，不错不错，你这提升速度，武魂殿内恐怕都无人能及啊。鬼魅站在一旁，难得没有泼冷水，只是微微颔首。他们2人其实心中还能想到一个天才，一个目前不在武魂殿的天才，千仞雪，千家嫡系，6翼天使武魂，先天20级魂力，要比小渊大上10岁，在天斗皇室执行任务多年，目前不知道多少魂力了。比比东走上台阶，转身面向众人，他的声音清冷而不失威严，既然都到齐了，那就顺便把一件事办了。他抬起右手，掌心托着一枚紫金色的勋章，勋章呈圆形，边缘镶嵌着细密的纹路，中间刻着一个紫字，在夕阳下折射出深邃的光泽。紫路勋章。月关轻声道，语气中带着一丝感慨，这勋章在武魂殿可不多见。比比东看向鬼渊，紫路勋章是武魂殿对年轻一代核心弟子的最高认可，达到一定条件方可获得。魂力、实战、贡献缺一不可。前不久，胡列娜和邪月已经分别获得了紫路勋章，胡列娜是武魂殿最年轻的紫路勋章获得者，但如今这个记录被打破了。鬼渊，比比东看着他，以你如今的实力和对武魂殿的贡献，有资格获得这枚勋章。鬼渊走上前，在比比东面前站定，多谢老师。比比东将紫路勋章别在他的胸前，手指在他的衣襟上停留了一瞬。月关在一旁鼓起了掌，脸上带着明显的笑意。胡列娜也上前来，凑近了打量那枚勋章。师弟，你戴着还挺好看的吗？邪月站在一旁，没有说话，但目光落在鬼渊身上，带着几分深意。鬼魅难得开口，7岁拿紫路勋章，武魂殿历史上恐怕找不出第2个了。比比东扫了众人一眼，目光在鬼渊身上多停了2秒。其他人先退下吧。鬼渊留下，众人愣了一下，但还是一言退出了大殿。胡列娜走之前，朝鬼渊挤了挤眼睛，用口型说了句：“一会儿找你。”殿门缓缓合上，空旷的大殿里只剩比比东和鬼渊2人。比比东背对着他，沉默了很长时间。窗外的余晖透过雕花窗棂洒进来，在地上投下斑驳的光影。魂核理论对武魂殿的帮助很大。他转过身，目光平静而认真。老师现在没有什么可以给你的。鬼渊正要开口，比比东抬手打断了他。我可以答应你一个要求，你想要什么都可以和我说，只要为师能做到的都会满足。鬼渊微微一怔，比比东继续道，除此之外，等你达到可以吸收10万年魂环的体质时，我会亲自去帮你猎杀。鬼渊沉默了片刻，然后认真的点了点头。老师，弟子明白，魂核理论是我该做的，要求什么的就不用了。他表面应得诚恳，内心却想着，我让你去杀了玉小刚，你能做吗？他知道这个要求提出来，比比东根本不可能满足，非但满足不了，反而可能会把他刚刚对自己建立起来的那点好感彻底毁掉，所以没必要。比比东看着他，眼神柔和了一瞬，你倒是懂事，不过该有还是得有，等你以后想到了需要什么，再和我说吧。老师今天说的一直有效。好了，回去吧。 今天好好休息，明天你还有一场切磋要打。鬼渊愣了一下，老师怎么知道？比比东淡淡道，邪月看你的眼神，我还没下。对于正常的切磋，这是好事，相互促进，老师不会阻止，而且你也确实需要一点实战。鬼渊他行了一礼，转身走出了教皇殿，殿门在身后缓缓合上，夜色已经完全笼罩了武魂城，廊道上亮起了昏暗的灯火。胡列娜果然在走廊拐角等着他。怎么样？老师跟你说什么了？鬼渊看着他那副好奇的样子，故意拖长了声音。老师他说什么？说明天你哥跟我切磋的时候，你只能在旁边看着，不能插手。胡列娜撇嘴，谁要插手了？我就是看看。他忽然凑近了，伸手戳了戳鬼渊胸前的紫露勋章。你现在也是有这个的人了，以后可得照着师姐我啊。鬼渊被他戳得退了一步。你44级，我才43级，谁照谁还不好说呢。两人边斗嘴边往回走，夜色里响起胡列娜清脆的笑声和鬼渊偶尔的辩驳。第二天一早，教皇殿门口的广场上聚集了几个人，月关和鬼魅站在台阶上方，双手抱臂，表情各异。月关一脸期待，鬼魅依旧面瘫。胡列娜站在广场边缘，歪着头看向场内。广场中央，鬼渊和邪月相对而立，相隔10米，晨风吹过，将两人的衣摆微微掀起。邪月穿着一身轻便的深色劲装，他的语气平淡，我想看看你现在的实力。鬼渊活动了一下手腕，笑了笑，巧了，我也想知道邪月大哥获得了第4魂环后究竟有多强。两人目光对视，空气中隐约有火花迸溅。胡列娜站在场外，朝鬼渊比了个加油的手势。鬼渊回了他一个放心的眼神。邪月，到底谁才是你哥？邪月随后释放出了月刃武魂，当心，我不会留手的。巧了，我也是。鬼渊淡淡的笑了，晨光在两人之间铺开，映在青石地面上，切磋一触即发。第39章。鬼渊 vs 邪月，求追读。邪月手持月刃，很是客气地说道：小渊，我可以让你先制作食物备用着，我以战魂师的身份来挑战你，本来就不太公平。鬼渊道：没事的，邪月大哥。不，邪月摇了摇头，你的第2武魂本来就没有魂环，要是你不先服用增幅食物的话，对我而言就是不公平的，这是自尊问题，我并不是看不起你。他的语气认真，眼神坦荡。广场边缘观战的比比东、月关和鬼魅看到这一幕，都不由得点了点头。邪月不愧是年轻一代核心弟子中的领军人物，这份气魄确实不错。鬼渊也是知道邪月是什么性子的人，也就不再勉强。他释放出第1武魂，其中通天菊在掌心绽放，身下紫紫黑黑4枚魂环缓缓升起。通天金菊明半手躯，一朵淡金色的花瓣凝聚在手心。通天金菊巨蕊生灵，一枚温润的花蕊浮现。通天金菊铁花柱体，一朵暗金色的菊花成型。通天金菊金蝉护体，最后一朵流金色的菊花落在掌心。仅仅一瞬间，他手中就出现了4种食物，但他体内的魂力也消耗了1/3，其中大半都是第4魂技消耗的。鬼渊将前3朵食物依次服下，防御力增幅50%，魂力开始持续恢复，全属性增幅50%。至于金蝉菊，他留在了左手心，等待关键时刻再用。紧接着，他的右掌泛起暗金色的光芒，暗金孔爪右掌骨释放，5道掌芒线冒着丝丝寒芒。同一时间，他背后肩胛处金光一闪，6赤金蝉翼唰地展开，6片半透明的鎏金翅翼在晨光中折射出细碎的光晕。2大外附魂骨释放的瞬间，他的全属性再次分别增幅50%，攻击力增幅100%，速度增幅100%。你那翅膀，外附魂骨。邪月有些震惊地看着他背后那对薄如蝉翼的翅膀。鬼渊点了点头，这次出去获取第4魂环的时候得到的侥幸。邪月，我怎么没这运气？广场边缘，月关、鬼魅和胡列娜也都愣住了。昨天鬼渊回来的时候，可一个字都没提这事。胡列娜双手撑着栏杆，一副幽怨的表情看着鬼渊。月关和鬼魅则同时转头看向比比东，比比东默默的点头，算是确认了。月关和鬼魅对视了一眼，心里不约而同的冒出同一个念头：鬼渊绝对是受到了神的庇佑，不然为什么会有如此气运？两人又想到当初在乾坤问秦谷的经历，那自称爱神的神秘人既然能凝聚出鬼渊，说不定真的在暗中庇佑着他。广场中央，邪月收起了脸上的惊讶，重新握紧了月刃。那我也就不留手了。他身下4枚魂环同时亮起，第1魂环闪烁，月刃上泛起一层银白色的光膜。第1魂技月华赴刃，攻击力提升50%，刃口变得更加锋利。第2、3魂环亮起，邪月的身体微微前倾。第2魂技弦月斩，第3魂技月影步，小心了。话音落下，他的身形瞬间模糊，一道银白色的残影朝着鬼渊直扑而来。鬼渊猛地踏前一步，右掌暗金孔爪正面迎上，爪芒与月刃在半空中碰撞，发出刺耳的金属交击声，火花四溅。两人同时后退了半步，好强的力量！邪月眼神一凝，鬼渊的力量比他预想中还要大。暗金孔爪的加成加上全属性增幅，让一个食物系魂师在正面交锋中不落下风。邪月不甘示弱，第2魂技弦月斩连发，3道弯月般的弧光呈品字形斩向鬼渊。鬼渊脚尖一点，6赤金蝉翼微微一震，身形瞬间平移出3米，弧光落空，在他原先站立的青石地面上留下3道深痕，速度也不慢，这是空间之力。邪月心中暗道，鬼渊没有给他喘息的机会，影步催动，配合6赤金蝉翼的加速，他的身形在广场上拖出一道道残影，右掌暗金孔爪不断挥出，逼得邪月不得不连连格挡。两人的速度越来越快，月刃与爪芒的碰撞声如同密集的鼓点。邪月打了几个回合后，明显感觉到吃力，鬼渊的速度比他想象中更快，而且那对翅膀还带有微弱的空间波动。好几次他的月刃明明已经封住了脚步，却被鬼渊一个瞬移般的闪避轻松躲开，有点被压制了。邪月心里清楚，正面硬拼他占不到便宜， 他需要一个机会。而就在这个时候，鬼渊的右爪挥出后，身体出现了一个微小的前倾，这个前倾让他的右肋露出了短暂的空当。破绽，邪月没有犹豫，第4魂环猛然亮起，破空瞬斩，他的身影瞬间消失，出现在了鬼渊的后方。月刃带着尖锐的破空声，朝着鬼渊的后颈斩下，这一刀又快又准，时机恰到好处。鬼渊低着头，嘴角却微微一勾，左手抬至胸前，那朵一直握在手心的流金色菊花被他一口吞下，金光暴涨，一层半透明的金色护罩瞬间包裹了他的全身。邪月的月刃斩在金光上，如同砍在一块坚硬的石头上，当一声脆响，月刃被硬生生弹开，反震力让邪月虎口发麻。怎么可能？邪月瞳孔骤缩，他的第4魂技是具有破防能力，竟然被这么轻易的弹开了。可惜邪月的破防能力和比比东的永恒之创的无视防御相比，那是一点都不同的。前者是相当于降低对方多少防御力，后者则是真伤，没有可比性。就极致而言，真伤金身防御破防。而就在他被反震力震退的瞬间，鬼渊脚下影步发动，黑色雾气从邪月脚底涌出，一只黑色手掌无声无息地抓住了他的脚踝。邪月身形一滞，低头看了一眼那只鬼手，心道不妙。下一秒，暗金孔爪已经贴在了他的脖颈侧面。鬼渊收着力，五指悬停在距离他皮肤不到1寸的位置，锋利的爪芒带起的劲风让邪月脖子上的汗毛都竖了起来。承让了，邪月大哥。鬼渊的声音平静，带着一丝笑意。邪月愣了一瞬，随即苦笑了一声，我说了，第40章独之魂核，求追读。邪月好奇地问道，你那最后那层金光是什么？我的月刃竟然破不了那层金光。鬼渊笑了笑，是我的第4魂技奇荣金身菊，服用后可以免疫任何形式的攻击，持续3秒。邪月沉默了片刻，叹了口气，3秒无敌，你这个魂技有点离谱。鬼渊挠了挠头，还好，就是储存时间短了点，只有2天。饶是有些高冷的邪月听到这话，嘴角也忍不住抽了抽。你这话要是让其他食物系魂师听到，怕是要被打啊。你以为2天时间很短吗？你前面2个魂技储存时间都是1个月，那才是奇怪的事。鬼渊撇了撇嘴，没事，听到就听到了，他们又打不过我。邪月说的真有道理，他竟无法反驳。月关站在台阶上，看着广场上2人握手言和的画面，嘴角止不住地往上翘。这小子有点东西啊。鬼魅淡淡道，邪月也不差，主动让先手，正面硬拼，输了也不恼。年轻一代有这样的心性，是武魂殿的福气。往后的几天，比比东开始继续尝试凝聚魂核，月关和鬼魅2人则是在一旁协助，轮流为他护法。比比东的底子比2人好太多了，99级的魂力储备，98级的实力，加上双生武魂的体质，让他在压缩魂力的过程中有着天然的优势。接下来就是最关键的一步，将气旋压缩成固态。这一步，月关和鬼魅都不敢碰，但比比东敢，因为他的第9魂技是不死之身。失败了，大不了重来。1个月的反复尝试中，比比东经历了数十次失败，每一次魂力气悬在即将凝实的瞬间炸开，都被不死之身硬生生拉了回来。那股反噬的痛苦，换作普通封号斗罗早就不敢再试了。但比比东面无表情地重复着压缩、炸裂、重来的循环。月关和鬼魅在一旁看着，心里都有些发毛。这天清晨，教皇殿内，比比东盘膝坐在大殿中央，双眼紧闭。他深吸一口气，引导丹田处的魂力气旋向内坍缩，1层、2层、3层，魂力被不断压缩，密度越来越高，气旋的旋转速度越来越快，边缘渐渐散发出细微的晶体光泽。月关和鬼魅屏住呼吸，一左一右手在他身旁。忽然，比比东的体内传出一声极其细微的嗡鸣，那声音像是金属震颤，又像是晶体互相碰撞的脆响。紧接着，他身上紫黑色的光芒猛然收敛，全部涌入下丹田之中。片刻后，光芒重新从他体内透出，但颜色更深了，带着一种晶体般的凝实质感。比比东缓缓睁开眼，低头看着自己的小腹位置，他沉默了很久，然后嘴角微微勾起一丝弧度。成了。他感受到丹田处那个凝固的紫黑色的晶核正在缓缓转动，体内魂力的运转速度比之前快了数倍，而且这个魂核还在不断自我循环，吸纳外界的能量，补充着他消耗的魂力。独之魂核，比比东喃喃道，以他的死亡珠皇和噬魂珠皇2大武魂为基础，凝聚出来的魂核天然带有剧毒属性，魂核的效果确实显著。不过他的实力依旧是98级，并没有因此迈入99级，这不是魂核的问题，而是他接受了罗刹神考，自身实力从99级被压制在了98级。教皇冕下，感觉如何？月关忍不住问道。比比东站起身，活动了一下手腕，效果很好，魂力运转速度和恢复速度都提升了数倍。鬼魅若有所思，如果我和月关也能凝聚出来，那战力提升会非常可观。比比东淡淡道，我会把心得整理出来，你们照着做就行，避开一些风险，以你们的实力很容易就可以凝聚成功的。第2天，比比东将鬼渊叫到了教皇殿，他坐在主位上，神色比往常柔糊了许多。魂和我凝聚成功了。鬼渊眼睛一亮，恭喜老师。比比东微微颔首，你这套理论的价值比当初我想象的还要大。老师再问你一次，你有没有什么想要的？他看着鬼渊，眼神认真，只要为师能做到的都可以。鬼渊没有立刻回答，低头思考了一会儿，然后他抬起头，说了一句让比比东完全没想到的话，老师，那关于魂核的理论能不能告诉供奉殿的人？比比东愣住了。鬼渊继续道，我知道教皇殿和供奉殿之间有一些隔阂，我不太清楚具体是什么，但无论是教皇殿还是供奉殿，都是武魂殿的一部分。供奉殿的那些爷爷们实力变得更强的话，对于武魂殿整体来说也是一份保障。他说得很平静，没有站在任何一方的立场，但比比东的眉头还是微微皱了一下。他 他内心其实很不愿意。如果他有选择的话，他这辈子都不想再踏进供奉殿一步，那里有他最不愿面对的人。最不愿记起的是，他沉默了很久。鬼渊看着他那副真诚的模样，眼神清亮，没有一丝杂质。比比东嘴唇动了动，那句能不能换一个要求到了嘴边，却怎么也说不出口。他不可能告诉鬼渊教皇殿和供奉殿之间真正的恩怨是什么，这件事他永远都说不出口。而且混合理论本来就是鬼渊自己研究出来的想法，他有权决定这个理论分享给谁。比比东垂下眼帘，手指微微蜷缩了一下，能不能换一个要求？他最终还是问了出来，声音比平时低了几分。鬼渊眨了眨眼，做出一副疑惑的样子。为什么啊，老师？我就这么一个要求。老师，你之前说我提出什么要求都可以的。他微微低下头，语气带着点委屈，眼眶甚至隐约泛红，那模样活像一个被大人实验的小孩。比比东，他看着鬼渊那副可怜巴巴的样子，心里忽然涌上一阵无奈。自己这个弟子平时比谁都精，偏在这种时候装得像个小可怜。第41章。比比东入供奉殿，千道流凝聚混合，换其他人来，比比东一个魂力震荡就过去了，但他偏偏就吃鬼渊这一套。这1个月来，鬼渊帮了他太多，作为老师，他感觉没怎么教过他。鬼渊太聪慧了，他反而是从鬼渊身上获益良多。拒绝的话，他确实说不出口。唉，好吧。比比东站起身，背对着鬼渊，仅此一次。话音落下的瞬间，他的身影已经消失在了教皇殿内。鬼渊抬起头，脸上那副可怜的表情瞬间收了起来。他轻轻呼出一口气，不枉他装可怜。对于比比东和千仞雪乃至千家的恩怨，他其实不太想插手进去，以后有能力了也不想插手。他最希望的是教皇殿和供奉殿的关系能有所缓和，然后两殿一起带着武魂殿变得更加强大。只有武魂殿内部安稳了，月关和鬼魅在武魂殿内的处境才不会尴尬，后续才能获得更多资源倾斜。武魂殿内魂骨的分配，比比东作为教皇有一定权力，但更多的权力还在千道流手中。两殿关系不好的话，他身为比比东的弟子，难免会受到影响。虽然他手里有千道流给的令牌，但他不太喜欢做两面派。现在他希望能通过比比东主动拿出混合理论这件事，让两殿之间的关系缓和一些，哪怕只是一点也好。供奉殿内，比比东的身影出现在大殿中央的瞬间，几位供奉就都感知到了那股令他们十分厌恶的气息。最先出现在殿内的是千道流、金鳄等人慢了一拍，从侧殿陆续走出。金鳄身形魁梧，面容刚硬，看到比比东的刹那，他脸色一沉，眼角的皱纹都凝在了一起。比比东，你没事来我供奉殿做什么？他的声音如同闷雷般在殿内炸开，这里不欢迎你。其他几位供奉虽然没有开口，但脸色同样不善。千道流抬起手朝金鳄压了一下，金鳄张了张嘴，最终还是闭上了。比比东从始至终都没有多看金鳄一眼，他的眼神冷得像结了冰的湖面，和面对鬼渊时那种无奈与柔和判若两人。如果不是我的弟子让我来这供奉殿，我这辈子都不会踏进一步。金鳄几人闻言眉头都是一皱，比比东的弟子那就只能是鬼渊了。胡列娜和供奉殿可没什么交情。千道流则是有些好奇，但淡道：小渊让你来做什么？比比东冷哼了一声，从身上取出一张纸，他手腕一抖，那张纸裹着魂力，径直飞向千道流。纸张在千道流面前悬停了一瞬，然后缓缓落下。拿着吧，这个东西他让我给你们送过来，对你们的实力提升有帮助，我已经尝试过了。凝聚完魂核后，魂力的运转速度是之前的数倍。魂核，金鳄几人对视了一眼，都从对方眼中看到了困惑。那是什么东西？千道流伸手接住那张纸，正要开口询问，但比比东根本没有停留的意思。他转过身，身形一闪，已经消失在了供奉殿门口。殿内安静了几秒，青鸾皱眉道：他就这样走了，也不解释清楚。千道流没有回答，低头看向手中的纸张，上面密密麻麻写满了字，字迹工整，每一个步骤都写得清清楚楚，从如何引导魂力汇聚于丹田，到如何压缩气旋逐步凝实，再到最后塑形成晶核，甚至连注意事项和失败后的应对方案都标注了。这东西有几分意思？千道流轻声说道。金鳄走近几步，凑过头来看了一眼，魂力凝聚成固状晶体，这听起来像是异想天开。比比东那个女人会这么好心把这种东西送过来？雄师也点头，他巴不得我们全都死光才对。千道流没有急着下结论，他将那张纸从头到尾看了一遍，看完后他沉默了很久。你们先别急着下判断。他将纸张递给金鳄，仔细看看再说话。金鳄接过纸，皱着眉从头看起，越看他的眉头皱得越紧。压缩魂力，丹田处形成漩涡，逐步固化成晶。他喃喃道，语气从质疑变成了若有所思。这个逻辑好像确实讲得通。青鸾也凑了过来，看了几行后，眼神微微一凝。魂核凝聚后，魂力运转速度和恢复速度都能提升。如果真是这样，那对于封号斗罗来说，提升可就太大了。几位供奉传阅了一遍，殿内的气氛从最初的抗拒渐渐变成了好奇和审视。千道流将纸张收回袖中，开口道：既然比比东提到了鬼渊，那么这个混合理论大概率是那小子弄出来的，否则以比比东的性子，你们觉得他会轻易来供奉殿一趟吗？金鳄沉默了片刻，缓缓点头，那小子不清楚我们和比比东之间的恩怨，比比东既然还愿意过来，而且他刚才说了他已经成功了。他抬头看向千道流，或许可以尝试一下。青鸾道：如果真能成，对我们武魂殿整体实力的提升不可估量。雄师也难得没有唱反调，试试也无妨，反正以我们的修为，哪怕失败了也伤不到根本。千道流环视众人，最终点了点头，那就我先来。 如果成了，你们再跟进，在场众人中，千道流的实力最强，凝聚速度应该也会快一点。最关键的一点，以千道流的实力，他有把握自己不会受伤。几位供奉没有异议，千道流走到大殿中央，盘膝坐下，他闭上双眼，周身开始流转起淡淡的金色光芒。他按照纸上记载的步骤，开始引导魂力向丹田处汇聚，金色的魂力在他体内缓缓凝聚，形成一缕缕细流，然后逐渐汇集成一道涡流，压缩、旋转，再压缩。第一天，他的体内就凝聚出了魂力气旋。第二天，气旋开始向固态转化。第三天傍晚，千道流周身的气息猛然一凝，一股浩瀚的金色光芒从他丹田处爆发开来，瞬间照亮了整个供奉殿。那光芒带着神圣而温润的质感，如同烈日般耀眼却不灼人。紧接着，光芒收敛，尽数没入他的体内。千道流缓缓睁开双眼，笑了，成功了。他能够感受着体内下丹田处一枚金色的晶体正在缓缓转动。第42章，举一反三，十指紧握，意外，求追读怎么样了？金鳄看向千道流道，是不是真如比比东那女人说的那样，对自身魂力的续航有帮助？青鸾几个供奉也是好奇的望了过来。千道流笑着点了点头，在这一点上，比比东说的倒是真的。我现在体内魂力运转的速度是之前的数倍，甚至10几倍。我现在把凝聚时需要注意的地方跟你们说一说，然后我在一旁帮你们护法，你们安心凝聚就行。如果体内魂力控制不住，我会出手帮你们压制。他顿了顿，目光落在金鳄身上，尤其是你，金鳄，如果你能成功凝聚出魂核，或许有机会冲击你一直想要达到的绝世斗罗境界。绝世斗罗这4个字像是一道惊雷，在金鳄心中炸开，他的瞳孔猛地收缩，呼吸都停滞了一瞬。卡在98级这个境界几十年，他的年纪比千道流还大，魂力却始终差了1级。在供奉殿里，排名不是按年纪，而是按等级，所以他叫千道流大哥，叫大供奉。几十年来，他做梦都想跨过那道门槛，却始终差了那么一点。真的。金鳄的声音有些发紧，再次确认。千道流点了点头，有机会。金鳄沉默了片刻，攥紧的拳头微微松开，深吸了一口气。好，我试试。千道流环顾众人，那开始吧。青鸾和雄狮对视了一眼，也各自找位置盘膝坐下。而千道流在说完这番话后，忽然又补了一句：而且我在想，既然魂力都可以通过凝聚魂核来增加续航，那精神力能否也凝聚成精神之核？此话一出，在场的供奉全都愣住了。青鸾眉头一挑，精神之核。千道流淡淡道，魂力可以压缩成固态，精神力本质上也是一种能量。如果理论成立，精神之核的凝聚或许能提升精神力的强度和恢复速度。供奉们面面相觑，眼中的震动比刚才更甚。只能说千道流不愧是经验老道的大供奉，竟然能举一反三。金鳄咧嘴笑了笑，大哥就是大哥，脑子比我们好使。等我把魂核凝聚出来，再琢磨这精神之核的事。千道流微微颔首，开始吧。时间倒回3天前，比比东离开教皇殿没多久，就重新出现在了大殿门口。他看到鬼渊还站在殿内，微微一愣，你还没走？鬼渊嘿嘿一笑，我这不是等老师回来吗？比比东瞥了他一眼，你这是怕为师没去供奉殿吧？鬼渊被戳穿了心中所想，也不尴尬。比比东叹了口气道，我把凝聚魂核的具体方法交给千道流了，以他们的实力不会有问题。鬼渊嘿嘿一笑，那就好。要是因为这件事，教皇殿和供奉殿的关系能缓和一点就好了，到时候老师身为教皇，也能够调动更多长老殿的长老，这也可以帮老师解决人手不足的压力。他一脸认真且单纯地看着比比东，那副模样活脱脱就是一个为老师着想的乖弟子。比比东闻言，原本那句教皇殿和供奉殿没有缓和的余地已经到了嘴边，却硬生生咽了回去，因为他看到鬼渊的眼神里全是关切。自己的弟子之所以这么做，都是为了他这个老师。他的眼神不自觉地柔和了几分。实际上，鬼渊内心想的是，如果比比东能调动其他长老去做事，那他大爹和二爹不就可以轻松一点了？不然跟个河东利驴似的，太累了。好了，你下去吧。比比东淡淡道。鬼渊行了一礼，退出了教皇殿。回去后，鬼渊依旧好好修炼，而月关和鬼魅这几天可以说是形影不离。这不是指平常白天的行动，毕竟这在别人看来也正常，两人除非特殊情况，不然很少单独行动。但现在不一样，到了晚上，月关和鬼魅也是待在一起的，就在月关的寝殿内。别误会，两人晚上待在一起并不是一起睡觉，而是需要守护另外一个人熟悉凝聚魂核的过程。3天的时间，两人反复尝试，已经摸清楚了在体内凝聚魂核的门道，知道如何做才不会因为失败而对身体产生致命伤害。第3天傍晚，两人向比比东请示了一下，然后回到了月关的房间，开始闭关。房间内烛火昏暗，门窗紧闭，月关坐在床上，看着对面的鬼魅，他此刻的神情比平时少了几分娇气，多了几分认真。老鬼，你先来吧，我在一旁给你守着。说着，月关伸出手，两人的手掌交叠在一起，食指交叉扣紧。对于他们来说，这种行为已经是习以为常的事了。3天的时间里，他们已经摸透了节奏。一人在凝聚魂核时，如果压制不住压缩的魂力，另一人可以通过武魂融合，将魂力跟对方融合在一起进行压制。鬼魅点了点头，那我开始了。他闭上双眼，体内魂力开始朝着下丹田处汇聚。月关双手握着他的手，闭目感知着他体内魂力的流向。魂力在鬼魅体内缓缓旋转，形成一圈黑色的涡流，压缩、凝聚，再压缩，过程比千道流 可比比东艰难得多。对于斗2时期的准封号斗罗而言，想要凝聚出属性混合算是比较简单的事，但那是因为混合理论已经非常完善了。但现在月关和鬼魅两人其实也算是先驱者，哪怕有着比比东的经验在，对他们而言其实也还是有难度的。到了第2天深夜，鬼魅体内的魂力气旋已经凝实到了临界点，再往前一步就是固态。可就在这时候，意外发生了，气旋猛然膨胀，边缘开始剧烈颤抖，一股失控的魂力波动从鬼魅体内传来，如同即将喷发的火山。月关脸色一变，不好！他来不及多想，立刻沿着两人紧握的双手注入自己的魂力，其中通天局的魂力涌入鬼魅体内，与幽冥之力缠绕在一起，两种不同属性的魂力在鬼魅的体内相互交融，然后开始压制那团暴动的气旋。漫画版月关第43章突破撞见脑补。求追毒月关愣了一瞬，随即笑了出来，你突破到96级了，你这家伙要死啊！他笑着笑着，眼眶却更红了，右手轻轻推了推鬼魅的胸口，声音很细，刚刚吓死我了，知道吗？鬼魅看着他泛红的眼角，沉默了一瞬，轻轻拂去他眼角的泪水，辛苦了。月关的情绪来得快，去得也快，毕竟鬼魅是实打实地突破了，激动的心情直接将刚才紧张的气氛冲散了不少。月关忽然想到了什么，压低声音道：老鬼，你说你现在要是将身上那株仙品吸收了，应该不会被教皇冕下发现吧？在他看来，一株仙品的药力其实无法让鬼魅从96级突破到97级，96级到97级的魂力积累量非常庞大，单凭一株仙品很难直接突破，但相对的，服用仙品后，鬼魅以后要突破到97级会容易许多。鬼魅想了想，也觉得有道理，他从魂导器中取出那株幽冥暗影花，当初在冰火两夜收获的仙品，通体漆黑的花瓣在烛光下泛着幽深的光泽，散发着一股若有若无的幽冥气息。鬼魅没有犹豫，将整株仙品放入口中，直接吞了下去，然后他闭上双眼，运转冥想法开始炼化药力。月关则在一旁双手托腮看着，嘴角微微翘起。房间里安静下来，只剩下两人呼吸交融的轻响。几个时辰后，鬼魅身上的气息猛地涨了一截，他缓缓睁开眼，低头看向自己的双手，我的武魂好像增强了不少。他的语气带着明显的惊讶，这就是仙草带来的效果吗？我感觉不出3-5年，我应该有机会突破到97级。月关笑着点头，这就是仙草的神奇之处，你现在体内有魂核提供源源不断的魂力，又有仙草温养武魂本源，3-5年突破97级，说不定还保守了。鬼魅微微颔首，没有反驳，他抬起头看向月关，那现在该我来帮你凝聚魂核了。月关点了点头，两人再次十指紧扣。这一次，为了防止意外发生，月关在凝聚魂核的开始就让两人的魂力相互交融，金色与黑色的光芒在两人紧握的掌心中缓缓流转，像是两条河流汇入同一片湖泊。可就在魂力交融的瞬间，两人猛然同时睁开了双眼，看向对方，彼此的眼中都充满了震惊。我们两个的武魂契合度提升了。月关和鬼魅异口同声，如果说他们之前的武魂契合度只有50到60，现在起码有80。武魂契合度的提升，代表武魂融合剂的威力也会成倍增长。月关喃喃道：难道是因为我们都凝聚了魂核的缘故，还是因为都服用了仙草？鬼魅摇头，不清楚，但这对我们而言是好事。月关压下心头的激动，那就趁热打铁，继续。他重新闭上眼，开始引导魂力朝丹田处汇聚。这一次的过程顺利的不可思议，有了鬼魅的魂力作为调和，月关体内的魂力气旋几乎没有出现大的波动，虽然中间也曾出现过一次暴动的苗头，但两人的魂力交织缠绕，轻而易举就将那团失控的气旋压制了下去。2天时间，月关顺利的在丹田处凝聚出了一枚金色的晶体，他将其命名为阳之魂核。他们二人的属性属于一阳一阴，所以鬼魅的魂核则是将其称为阴之魂核。魂核凝聚成功的瞬间，月关的气息也是暴涨了一截，不过他的等级依旧停留在96级，没有突破的迹象。月关对此并不在意，能成就是好事，等级慢慢来。他看了一眼窗外的天色，现在时候也不早了，我们先休息一下，等明天一早把这个好消息告诉小渊。鬼魅点了点头，站起身活动了一下盘坐太久而发麻的腿。而由于时间太晚了，鬼魅自然也在月关的寝殿内住了下来。别误会，月关的寝殿内不止一个房间。第2天清晨，阳光照在走廊的青石地面上，泛着一层暖金色的光泽。月关和鬼魅从寝殿里一起走了出来。月关今天穿了一身淡黄色的长袍，衣摆随着步伐轻轻晃动，整个人看起来心情极好。鬼魅依旧是一身黑袍，面无表情的走在旁边，两人并肩而行，脚步节奏都出奇的一致。这时候，走廊拐角处正好有一个人走了过来，王墨竹，他是教导鬼渊的那位理论导师，武魂修为也有魂圣级别。平日里的这个时间，他都是固定去鬼渊那边上早课的。王墨竹抬眼一看，整个人直接僵在了原地，因为他看到了月关和鬼魅两人是一起从寝殿里走出来的。这片区域未经允许是不能进入的，他能来这里是因为教皇的特批，但局长老和鬼长老，王墨竹眨了眨眼，内心掀起惊涛骇浪。难不成局长老和鬼长老不在乎世俗偏见，光明正大的在一起了？他的脑子飞速转动，开始脑补，脸上的表情尽力维持着平静，但眼角那微微抽搐出卖了他。嗨，王墨竹当作什么都没看见，主动问好，局长老冕下，鬼长老冕下。 早啊，我正要去小渊那里给他上早课呢，没什么事的话，我就先走了。他语速比平时快了不少，说完就想往旁边开溜，他怕自己走晚了，直接被咔嚓灭口。等等，王墨竹心里欲哭无泪，他控制住面部表情，僵硬的转过身来，还有什么事吗？鬼长老免下，月关接过了话，我们两个也正好要去找小渊，一起吧。王墨竹，他的笑容微微凝固，但只能点头，好，好。于是三人一起并排朝鬼渊的寝殿走去，月关走在中间，左边是鬼魅，右边是王墨竹。王墨竹全程目不斜视，连呼吸都刻意放轻了。月关倒是浑然不觉，或者说对王墨竹是什么反应一点都不在意，他在意的只有鬼魅。一边走一边对鬼魅低声道：“你说小渊听到我们两个都凝聚出魂核了，会是什么反应？”鬼魅淡淡道：“大概会说真不愧是我的大爹和二爹。”月关忍不住笑了，他确实会这么说。王墨竹走在旁边，根本无心去偷听两人的对话，他默默加快了脚步，只想快点走到鬼渊的寝殿，然后找个理由赶紧离开这是非之地。第44章。姐姐的忌日，比比东的是好球追毒三人来到鬼渊的寝殿时，鬼渊已经起床洗漱完毕了，他正坐在院子里翻看一本魂兽图鉴，看到三人进来，便合上书本站起身，大爹二爹早，王老师早。月关笑着应了一声，鬼魅微微颔首，王墨竹站在旁边，脸上带着一种微妙的紧张，他看了看月关和鬼魅，又看了看鬼渊，犹豫了一下，开口道：“局长老免下，鬼长老免下，你们应该是有话要跟小渊说吧？要不我先出去。”月关摇了摇头，不用，你就在这里听吧，不过接下来听到的内容你需要保密。王墨竹神色一怔，明白。月关接着道：“而且你得认真听，我们等下说的内容会涉及一个关于魂师的跨时代进步理论，你是武魂殿最资深的几位理论大师之一，需要负责将其记录下来，并且后续研究一下有没有更好的改进方式。”月关说的这些都是之前受了比比东指示的。王墨竹是武魂殿理论大师团队中排名第一的存在，知识面极其丰富，对理论也极为痴狂，再加上他本身是魂圣修为，实力不低，在武魂殿内的地位也比较超然，一些魂斗罗级别的白金主教见了都需要主动问好。正因如此，比比东才让他来教导鬼渊。要知道胡列娜都没有这个待遇，当然这主要是因为胡列娜对理论知识的渴望远不如鬼渊。当初鬼渊极力要求想要一个能教导他很多理论知识的大师，越厉害越好。王墨竹听到跨时代的理论几个字，顿时来了精神。什么理论？免下请说。月关在鬼渊旁边挨着坐下，不过并没有回王墨竹的话，而是看向鬼渊微微一笑：“我和你二爹闭关这几天成功将魂核凝聚出来了，实力都有不小的提升，你二爹也因此晋升到巅峰斗罗了。”鬼渊在两人过来时心里其实就有了猜测，此刻听月关亲口说出来，还是忍不住露出了笑容：“恭喜二爹了。”鬼魅难得的扯了扯嘴角，算是一个微笑。小渊的反应也在他们的预料之中。王墨竹在听到巅峰斗罗几个字时已经愣住了，他看向鬼魅，语气带着不敢置信：“鬼长老免下，您突破到96级了。”鬼魅点了点头。王墨竹倒吸一口凉气，随即又想起月关刚才的话，那魂核是何物？月关便把魂核的理论从头到尾讲了一遍，从魂力气旋的凝聚到逐步压缩成固态的过程，再到魂核能带来的魂力运转和恢复速度的提升，全都说清楚了。最后他特意提了一句：“这魂核的理论是小渊提出来的。”王墨竹猛地转头看向鬼渊，那眼神像看一个怪物似的，盯得鬼渊都有点不好意思了。你提出来的？王墨竹喃喃道。小渊，你知道这个理论意味着什么吗？这是足以改变魂世界格局的东西啊！鬼渊挠了挠头，就是瞎琢磨的。突然灵光一闪，王墨竹感慨地叹了口气：瞎琢磨，能琢磨出这个，真是不得了啊！他摇了摇头，随即认真道：不过根据你们所说的，凝聚魂核是有一定危险的，这应该就是我们需要记录、研究以及解决的问题吧？月关点头：是的，我们到时候会把凝聚魂核的具体过程，以及每个封号斗罗凝聚魂核时遇见的危险都告诉你。你需要把它记录下来，然后看看能不能加以改善，让凝聚魂核变得更容易一些。如果还有什么不了解的，问小渊就行。我们现在也要去和教皇冕下汇报了。月关站起身，鬼魅也跟着站了起来。王墨竹点头：两位长老放心，这事我一定认真对待。月关和鬼魅转身走了出去。教皇殿内，比比东坐在主位上，看到两人进来，目光淡淡的扫过他们。成了。月关点头，回教皇冕下，我们两个都成功凝聚出魂核了。老鬼他还因此突破到了96级。比比东的眉稍微微动了一下，虽然他面上依旧面无表情，但内心无疑是高兴的。凝聚魂核能让95级的封号斗罗突破到巅峰斗罗，他心里暗暗道：小渊这个理论恐怕比我之前预计的价值还要高。他看向鬼魅：你既然也突破到96级了，我会为你准备一块魂骨的，跟月关一样。鬼魅有些意外，多谢教皇冕下。比比东摆了摆手，正要让他们下去，可他忽然想到了什么，目光在月关身上停了一下。月关，你姐姐的忌日应该是在半个月后吧？月关的身体微微一僵，他没有想到比比东会提到这个。到时候我放你和鬼魅几天假，你带着小渊一起去祭拜一下吧，然后你们二人也休息一下。月关张了张嘴，想说点什么，但喉咙像是被什么东西堵住了，鼻尖有点酸酸的。是教皇冕下，他极力克制着自己的情绪，但声音尾端还是微微变了调。比比东没有多说什么，只是摆了摆手：好了，下去吧。月关和鬼魅行了一礼，退出了教皇殿。走出殿门的那一刻，鬼魅跟在他身旁，眼角的余光轻轻瞥了他一眼。他能看得出来，比比东竟然开始关心他们了，多少有点受宠若惊的感觉。这一切都是他们的儿子带来的，真不知道让他这个做二爹的说什么好。因为鬼渊的出现，他和月关在武魂殿的处境确实一点一点在改变。比比东刚才的那番话，其实已经算是一种明示了。两人走在廊道上，月关的脚步比平时慢了许多，鬼魅跟在他旁边，沉默了一会儿，轻轻拍了拍月关的后背。还好吗？月关 吸了吸鼻子，没事，就是没想到教皇冕下会记得，还提出来。鬼魅淡淡道，这都是因为小约。月关笑了出来，是啊，鬼魅没接话，只是又拍了他一下，那力道很轻，带着几分安抚的意味。PS 求推荐票，求月票，求收藏，求追读第45章急速前行之追风左腿骨。沉默的月关求追读5天后，比比东手里拖着一块魂骨，用魂力拖着送到鬼魅面前。那块魂骨通体呈墨绿色，表面流动着细密的纹路。这块魂骨叫做急速前行之追风左腿骨，出自3万年的风魔虎，年限在3万年左右，适合敏攻系魂师吸收。鬼魅接过魂骨，他难得的露出一丝激动，声音却依旧平稳。多谢教皇冕下。鬼渊站在一旁看着，眨了眨眼，心里忽然冒出一个念头。原著中全大陆高级魂师学院精英大赛的冠军奖励是3块魂骨，其中2块现在分别在他和鬼魅手中了。那几年后武魂殿该拿什么出来当奖品？他默默算了一下时间，距离大赛开始还有好几年呢，到时候比比东总不能再从宝库里掏2块出来吧。鬼渊站在旁边想着想着，不自觉笑了一声。胡列娜瞥了他一眼，压低声音道，你在笑什么？鬼渊收敛表情，没什么，就是替二爹感到高兴。比比东看了一眼几人，没有再说什么，转身离开了教皇殿。他身为武魂殿教皇，每天事务繁忙，修炼神考样样不能落下，奖励他已经给了。鬼魅要不要吸收，打算什么时候吸收，那就是他自己的事了。老鬼，月关笑着道，你现在就吸收吧，我在一旁给你看着。鬼魅点了点头，这是他进入武魂殿这么多年以来第一次获得分配的魂骨奖励。他身上原本有一块右腿骨，万年级别，还是早年自己猎杀魂兽时运气好撞上的，但那一块和眼前这块比起来差了不少。鬼魅盘膝坐下，将追风左腿骨贴向左腿，开始吸收。月关安静的守在一旁，胡列娜看着正在吸收魂骨的鬼魅，眼里流露出一丝柔软。平日里举鬼2位爷爷对他都极好，他是记在心里的。鬼爷爷这样真好呀，他小声嘀咕了一句。鬼渊点了点头，正要应和，脑子里却冒出了别的念头。他偏过头看向胡列娜，嘴角微微翘起。娜娜姐，我突然想到一个问题。胡列娜眨眨眼，什么问题？鬼渊坏笑道，你看你叫我大爹二爹都是喊爷爷，那从辈分上来说我好像要比你大1倍，你是不是得喊我叫 BA？ 他的话还没说完，胡列娜已经眼疾手快地捂住了他的嘴，他一手捂嘴，一手按住他的后脑勺，动作又快又准，你敢喊出来就死定了。胡列娜面色微红，压着声音瞪他，我可是你师姐。鬼渊对着他眨了眨眼，意思是我们可以各论各的，你喊我叫爹，我喊你叫师姐。胡列娜读懂了那双眼睛里的话，咬着牙道，我知道你在想什么，你想都别想。一旁守着鬼魅的月关听着两人的斗嘴，嘴角微微一勾，他心里轻笑了一下。鬼渊这小子是怎么好意思说出口的，真就是直男一个，居然想让自己师姐喊他。不过月关也看得出来，鬼渊就是调皮腹黑斗一下胡列娜罢了，倒也没真有那想法，就像他平日里也会和鬼魅拌嘴一样。一个时辰后，鬼魅身上的墨绿色光芒彻底收敛，他缓缓睁开眼，站起来活动了一下身体。月关凑过来，怎么样，魂骨技能还满意吗？鬼魅感知了一下，微微点头，还行。魂骨技能叫做鬼影追风斩。他说着，左腿处突然冒出一道墨绿色的亮光，下一秒他的身影已经从原地消失，声音从10米外的廊柱旁传来，使用后速度增幅100%，会瞬间化为黑色残影，并给予目标切割伤害。在瞬移期间，我自身算处于类似虚无的状态。月关轻笑，还算不错，不过老鬼，你武魂特性本身就让你处于无法被物理攻击伤害到的状态。鬼魅点了点头，是这样，所以这块魂骨算是对我能力的加强版，对能量攻击也同样有效，如果能熟练应用，甚至能当保命魂技用。他经验丰富，一眼就看出了这个魂骨技能的价值。所谓虚无状态，就是免疫物理攻击，减免能量伤害，就像小五的本命魂既虚无一样，物理攻击完全无效，能量伤害减半。不过鬼魅这块魂骨只有3万米，大概只能减轻2成左右的能量伤害，但也足够用了。10天后，月关姐姐的忌日到了。清晨，天色微阴，云层低垂，武魂城外后山有一片被松林环绕的缓坡，坡度平缓，野花遍地，一条青石板铺成的小径蜿蜒穿过林间，石缝里长着绒绒的青苔，踩上去微微有些软。鸟鸣声从林间传来，断断续续的。月关换了一身素色长袍，整个人比平时沉默了许多。鬼魅倒是依旧一身黑袍，鬼渊走在2人身后，穿着简净的白衣，手里攥着一朵金黄色的菊花，沿着青石板小径向上走了一盏茶的功夫，视野忽然开阔起来，来到了一处草地，草地的正中央立着一块石碑，碑身是浅灰色的花岗岩，打磨的光滑平整，边角圆润，碑前没有杂草，显然有人定期打理。月关在石碑前停下脚步，低头看着那块碑，沉默了很久。他没有说话，只是弯腰将手中的菊花轻轻放在碑前。鬼魅和鬼渊也是跟着上前，放下一朵，然后退后半步。风从松林间穿过，带着清冽的草木香，拂过3人的衣角。3人就这么安静地站着，望着石碑上那几行字。月关垂着眼帘，平日里那些戏谑和张扬全都不见了，整个人安静得像换了一个人。鬼魅站在他旁边，右手轻轻按在月关的后背上，没有用力，只是贴着，那是一种无声的支撑。过了很久，月关终于开口，声音很轻，姐，我来看你了，我和老鬼都好好的，小渊也长大了，你在那边别担心。他说完深深鞠了一躬，鬼魅和鬼渊也跟着弯腰行礼。3人直起身后，又在碑前安静地站了一会儿。风渐渐大了，桂花树的叶片摇得更响了些，像是在应和什么。片刻后，月关抬起头，深吸一口气，转过身来，脸上扯出一抹笑容。我们走吧。第46章 供奉殿集体突破，加入供奉殿，求追读1个月的时间悄然过去。这天早上，阳光正好，透过院墙边的梧桐叶洒下斑驳的光影。鬼渊刚上完早课，王墨竹收拾好教案离开不久，一道身影就出现在了院子门口，是千道流。鬼渊看到来人，微微一愣，随即快步迎上前去，恭敬地行了一礼。大供奉。千道流摆了摆手，面容和善，叫我大供奉就生疏了，如果你不介意的话，喊我一声千爷爷吧。鬼渊闻言顿时一愣，千道流却像是没看到他的惊讶，自顾自地走到院子里的石凳上坐下，抬手示意他也坐。我这次过来是为了感谢你的，你让你老师把魂核理论送来了供奉殿，这1个月的时间，供奉殿的所有供奉全都凝聚出了属于自己的魂核。他顿了顿，语气中带着不加掩饰的欣慰，因为凝聚出属性魂核的缘故，他们的实力都有所突破，这对武魂殿来说是一个非常大的提升。鬼渊在千道流对面坐下，认真地听着。千道流看着他，目光带着几分打量，几分欣赏。你这孩子倒是沉得住气，换了别人早就得意忘形了。鬼渊腼腆一笑，千爷爷，这都是我应该做的。他这一声千爷爷喊得自然又顺口，像是已经喊过很多次一样。千道流的眼角微微弯了一下，时间回到半个月前，供奉殿内，金色的光芒在殿中此起彼伏的亮起，如同6盏明灯交替闪烁。千道流站在大殿中央，双手负在身后，目光平静地扫过盘膝而坐的6位供奉。金鳄斗罗率先有了动静，他体内传来一声低沉的轰鸣，金色的光芒从他体表喷薄而出，带着一股厚重的压迫感。片刻后，光芒收敛，金鳄缓缓睁开眼，低头看向自己的双手，瞳孔深处有一瞬间的恍惚。我成功了。他感觉到丹田处那枚金黄色的金核正在缓缓转动，魂力像是被注入了新的燃料一样，运转速度暴增数倍。紧接着，他体内的魂力开始不受控制的攀升，98级的瓶颈在那一刻轰然破碎，魂力如同决堤的洪水般上涨，最终稳稳地停在了一个他梦寐以求的境界。99级绝世斗罗。金鳄愣了很久，然后大笑出声99级，老夫卡在98级几十年了。他站起身来，双拳紧握，双眼微微湿润。几十年啊，今天终于突破了。他的声音在供奉殿内回荡，震得殿顶的灰尘都簌簌落下。青鸾和雄狮对视了一眼，眼中都带着羡慕。千道流在一旁淡淡道：别高兴太早，稳固境界才是最重要的。金鳄收敛了些许笑意，但嘴角还是止不住地上扬。大哥，我知道，我这不是太高兴了吗？几天后，其他几位供奉也相继完成了凝聚，青鸾和雄狮的实力有所提升，但只停留在97级巅峰，始终差了一口气。两人脸色都很是失落，他们原本以为可以像金鳄一样一鼓作气直接冲到98级的。青鸾叹了口气，可惜了，不知道是不是底蕴不足的缘故，我卡在97级了。雄狮也是面色沉沉，我也一样，明明感觉只差一层窗户纸，偏偏捅不破。千道流看着两人，平静道：急什么？魂核只是给你们提供了一个台阶，能不能走上去，还是得看你们自己的积累。金鳄都卡在98级几十年了，你们才多少年，能突破到97级巅峰，已经比之前强出一大截了。青鸾和雄狮闻言，虽然还是有些遗憾，但也不得不承认千道流说的有道理。至于光灵、千钧、降魔3位供奉，则是顺利从96级突破到了97级。供奉殿的整体实力在这1个月里完成了质的飞跃。鬼渊听完千道流的讲述，腼腆地笑了笑。千爷爷，这都是我应该做的，而且这可能是我运气好。这个想法是突然出现在我脑海里的，之所以能成功，也是因为你们的实力够强啊。千道流看着他这副不骄不躁的模样，眼里露出一丝满意。鬼渊接着道：而且这样做，武魂殿的实力提升了，也可以更加坐稳大陆第1势力的位置。不过我其实还有一个小小的私心。千道流闻言笑了笑：什么私心？只要你千爷爷能做到的，我可以帮你。鬼渊嘿嘿一笑，挠了挠头，就是我希望教皇殿和供奉殿的关系不要那么僵。我不知道具体原因，但我看得出来，老师和供奉殿的几位爷爷们好像都互有敌意。还有，老师作为教皇殿的教皇，竟然无法调动长老殿内除了我大爹二爹以外的其他长老。他垂下眼帘，声音放低了一些：我不想要我的大爹二爹那么累，也不想看到老师手下紧缺的样子。千道流愣了一下，他没有想到一个8岁不到还有1个月不到的孩子，竟然通过日常细节看到了这么多东西。他的神色变得有些复杂。关于教皇殿和供奉殿之间的僵硬关系，他闭口不谈，沉默了片刻才开口道：关于这件事啊，简单，等你千爷爷回去后就下令从长老殿抽调2名长老去帮你老师，替你老师的调遣，这样你的大爹和二爹也可以轻松一点了。鬼渊眼睛一亮：真的？千道流点了点头，千爷爷说话算话。他顿了顿，像是想到了什么。对了，你的大爹二爹听说已经是巅峰斗罗了。鬼渊点头：是的，二爹他凝聚完魂核后就突破到96级了，大爹目前也是96级。千道流沉吟片刻，你可以询问一下他们愿不愿意加入供奉殿。加入供奉殿？鬼渊有些为难。千爷爷，这样是不是不太好？大爹二爹是教皇殿的，到时候我怕老师会有意见。PS 新书求求追读，养书会养死的第47章，我要10万年魂骨，天马行空的想法，求追读。千道流笑了笑，我知道你大爹二爹身份特殊，所以他们加入供奉殿只是有一个供奉席位，不用像其他供奉一样一直待在殿里，他们纯属不想出来而已。成为供奉也是有好处的，你大爹二爹难道不想要魂骨吗？到时候如果武魂殿获得了适合他们的高品质魂骨，是会优先给他们的。说真的，鬼渊确实心动了，他都想直接替大爹二爹答应了，但他还是按捺住冲动，犹豫了一下。那我之后去问问大爹二爹，还 还有老师他应该会同意的吧？千道流点了点头，目光温和地落在他身上。好了，说完他们，该说你了。你为武魂殿做出了如此大的贡献，我要是不做点什么，也说不过去。你有没有什么想要的？鬼渊抬头看着他，认真道：我想要一块10万年魂骨。千道流，嗨，他清了清嗓子，难得有些尴尬。武魂殿现在10万年魂骨倒是没有，印象中8万年的魂骨应该有一块，还是空间属性的。你要不要？鬼渊一脸失望，才8万年啊，那算了，我不要。千道流气笑了，8万年的空间系魂骨，价值也不弱于一块10万年魂骨了。你还嫌弃10万年魂骨？你还真是敢想啊！鬼渊很是不服气，站起身来，往后退了2步。千爷爷，不是我看不上那块空间魂骨，我已经有一块空间属性的外附魂骨了。你看，他心念一动，背后肩胛处金光一闪，6片半透明的鎏金翅翼刷地展开，薄如蝉翼，边缘流淌着细碎的金色光纹，翅翼在阳光下折射出斑斓的光晕，带着一丝若有若无的空间波动。这块外附魂骨叫做6翅金蝉翼，可以赋予我空间穿梭的瞬移能力，而且我后面还能依托于这块魂骨以及我第2武魂的特性，研究出具有攻击能力的空间系魂技也说不定。他的第2武魂是灵魂，之前说是走精神系为主，其他为辅的路线，但灵魂这种东西本来就是飘忽不定的。他第2武魂的幽冥属性未必不能和6翅金蝉翼的空间属性结合，然后创造出一个神鬼莫测的魂技。当然，这目前只是他的灵光一闪，以他现在的实力和掌控力，还不配去自己去自创魂技。有这功夫，不如让二爹多教他几招关于灵魂武魂的应用。如果他还有多余的时间，还可以去熟悉一下暗翼之弓的使用。对于暗翼之弓，他现在只会简单的发射而已，可以说开发度接近于0。要知道，神器都是拥有神技的，但他目前一个都没有，只会普攻，想来是有点惭愧的。不过他现在也才魂宗，想要初步发挥神器的威力，恐怕得魂圣修为，这也是没有办法的事。千道流看着那对翅膀，眼中闪过一丝意外。空间属性的外附魂骨，你倒是真能折腾。鬼渊收起翅翼，重新坐下。所以千爷爷，那块8万年的空间魂骨对我来说确实是重复了。千道流沉默了片刻，又问道：就只是要10万年魂骨吗？就没有其他的要求？他的声音放轻了一些。鬼渊想了想，摇了摇头。千爷爷，你也知道我现在还不到8岁，而且拥有双生武魂、自体武魂融合技，还有一柄神器以及神器传承。魂骨一旦融合就无法取下，所以我不想这么草率的融合10万年以下的魂骨。所以就算你真给我那块8万年的空间系魂骨，我也不会吸收的。或者说，除非我后面得不到10万年魂骨，我才会退而求其次。千道流听完，心里默默感叹了一句：双生武魂、自体武魂融合技、神器传承、神器，这配置还真是豪华。他的孙女千仞雪都没有这样的配置。不过鬼渊也确实有资格提出这样的要求，这样的野心才配得上他的这一身配置。此刻千道流无疑是想到了远在天斗城的千仞雪了。千道流不自觉地多看了鬼渊2眼，这孩子样貌不错，天赋更是大陆最顶尖的，要是能撮合他和自己的孙女，千道流的脑海中闪过这个念头，随即又摇了摇头。他真是老糊涂了，鬼渊现在还不满8岁，懂什么情爱？他的孙女都17岁了，其实就年龄差而言还不算什么，甚至是2人之间相处最小的问题。关键在于千仞雪和比比东之间的问题，鬼渊又是比比东的弟子，强行撮合的话，恐怕会出大问题。不止千仞雪会不满，比比东那里大概也会炸。所以这个想法在千道流脑海中出现了一瞬，就被他打消了。以后2人有机会见面再说吧，顺其自然。反正鬼渊和武魂殿是深度绑定的，没有必要特意用千仞雪去联姻。行，千道流道，10万年魂骨的事我记下了，等我哪天找到了，给你留着。鬼渊咧嘴一笑，多谢千爷爷。他顿了顿，又道：不过除了10万年魂骨之外，我其实还有一个想法，是关于我的第1武魂的，说说看。千道流端起石桌上的茶杯，抿了一口。鬼渊坐直了身子，千爷爷你也知道，我的第1武魂奇荣通天举走的是食物系，而食物系的缺点就是没有自保能力。当然，我有第2武魂在，也有神器护体，这对我来说不算缺点。食物系武魂制作出来的食物可以保存，服用后对我有增幅，而且不额外消耗魂力，这是优点。但我其实还是有点不满意。千道流挑了挑眉，哪里不满意？鬼渊道：我在想，食物系魂师每一种食物的效果都非常特别，那为什么不能拥有一个让我以食物系魂师身份成为战魂师的魂技呢？千道流微微顿了一下，这个想法有点天马行空了。于是我看了一大堆典籍，最后锁定了一种可能赋予我这种魂技的魂兽。千道流也是有些好奇，什么魂兽？鬼渊看着他道：位于极北之地冰封森林的镜影兽，第48章镜影兽，探索极北之地核心区域，求追毒镜影兽。千道流面露疑惑之色，这是什么类型的魂兽？跟镜像有关的魂技，他虽然见多识广，但这片大陆上的魂兽种类如此之多，他也不可能全都见识过。武魂殿或许有这种魂兽的记载，但他却未必会知道。这也是为什么在猎杀魂兽之前，他们都会让人去理论大师那里查询适配的魂兽，越多越好。不查的话，光靠模糊记忆还是太难了。他们毕竟是人，有时候某些知识明明在脑海深处，却一时之间想不起来。鬼渊解释道：这是我在武魂殿藏书阁的极北之地魂兽详解这本书里找到的。镜影兽位于极北之地的冰封森林当中，是一种极其珍惜且强大的魂兽，核心能力是复制。我在想，如果能让我的奇荣通天局吸收这种魂兽的魂环，会不会也拥有复制别人武魂或者魂技的能力？ 鬼渊这可不是瞎说，他是真去藏书阁找过相关书籍的，这本也是真的有。千道流听完，眉头微微一动，他对这种魂兽产生了浓厚的兴趣。而且鬼渊这个想法未必不可行啊，复制他人的武魂和魂技，如果真能实现，那鬼渊的战斗方式将变得极其多变。千道流一眼就看出了鬼渊的意图，你是想让我去帮忙寻找一下，看禁影兽有没有10万年级别的？鬼渊嘻嘻一笑，是啊，千爷爷，冰封森林说到底只是极北之地外围，那里就算有禁影兽出没，大概率也没有10万年级别的。但如果是极北之地的核心区域呢？那里号称死亡禁地，哪怕是封号斗罗都无法轻易踏足。但千爷爷，你的实力强啊！这一口一个千爷爷，喊得千道流心里舒坦极了。他笑着摇了摇头，你这小子倒是会说话。那好吧，这就当做是你给武魂殿提供魂核的奖励了。老夫到时候亲自去一趟极北之地，尽量给你找一头10万年的禁影兽。千道流心里盘算着，极北之地核心区域他年轻的时候也没怎么去探索，正好供奉殿里的那些老家伙实力都有所提升，倒不如找时间一起去探查一下，毕竟他们都受了鬼渊的恩惠，不出一点力怎么行？而且以极北之地那恶劣的环境来推断，那里的10万年魂兽数量恐怕还在星斗大森林之上。鬼渊这孩子现在连8万年魂骨都看不上了，后面修炼第2武魂时，恐怕普通魂环也看不上，就让他们这些老家伙为他出一点力好了，好歹也是一位神奇传承者，魂环和魂骨方面确实不能随便凑合。对了，千道流忽然想起什么，你之前说你获得了某个神器的传承，现在快2年过去了，对方有降下什么神考吗？鬼渊摇了摇头，并没有。或许是我现在的实力还不够开启神考的标准吧，而且我目前也不清楚这位给我传承的神奇叫什么名字。他做出一副略显无奈的样子。千道流闻言，觉得他说的也有道理，太早开启神考未必是好事，有些神考在规定时间内通不过，那可是会有惩罚的。行，那就先不着急。千道流站起身来，我先回去准备准备，禁影兽的事我会放在心上。千道流回到供奉殿时，走到大殿中央，拍了拍手，把众人的注意力都吸引过来，都停一下，有件事跟你们说一声。金鳄睁开眼，大哥，什么事？千道流将鬼渊想要猎杀10万年禁影兽的事简单说了一遍。那小子想要猎杀一头10万年的禁影兽，光临那如同孩童般的声音响起，倒是敢想啊，他的长相也像个少年，但其实已经是一位老登了。金鳄看向光临，你知道这种魂兽？光临点了点头，知道是知道，但也只是听说过，据说很难碰见。我以前去极北之地猎杀魂兽的时候都没见过。这种魂兽的能力除了基本的冰属性之力外，核心能力就是复制，能力上还算是比较单一，所以获得这种魂兽的魂环，那小子还真有机会成为一名战魂师。他摊了摊手，当然这只是理论上的，能不能得到还得看运气。比较高冷的青鸾此刻也开了口，或许就是因为这个原因，他才执意想让大供奉去找找有没有10万年级别的禁影兽。10万年魂环可以赋予2个魂技，总有一个是自己满意的。就算运气真的很背，2个魂技都不是复制，但毕竟是10万年级别的魂技，就不可能会差。降魔斗罗摩拳擦掌，那我们什么时候出发？我可不想欠人情。千钧瞪了他一眼，你这是不想欠人情，你分明是想去极北之地大闹一场。降魔嘿嘿一笑，没有反驳。在这供奉殿里，他确实快要闲出屁来了。这次去极北之地的话，在寻找禁影兽的过程中，肯定会遇见其他魂兽，那不就可以好好打一架了？千道流想了想，那就这么定了。这段时间我先去查找一下关于极北之地的相关典籍，然后我们就出发。反正武魂殿现在有比比东坐镇，一切都还算稳定，我们7个就算离开了也不会怎么样。金鳄点了点头，大哥说的对，而且我们这一趟要是真能找到一头10万年禁影兽，对那小子来说也是一份大礼。光临忽然歪着头道，不过话说回来，那小子现在才魂宗，就算我们带回来了10万年魂环，他一时半会儿也吸收不了吧？千道流淡淡道，那就先留着，等他体质够了再吸收也不迟，反正那魂兽也不会跑掉。几位供奉都不约而同地点了点头。千钧摸了摸下巴，说起来我还真有点好奇，那小子以后会成长到什么地步？等他完全成长起来，恐怕我们这些老家伙都不是他的对手。光临斗罗笑道，那不是更好吗？武魂殿后继有人，我们也能安心养老了。金鳄瞥了他一眼，你倒是想得开，不然呢？光临耸了耸肩，难道还要跟一个后辈争什么？休闲的日子难道不好吗？第49章魂环年限再次提升，鬼豹和凌渊。求追读几天后，鬼渊的房间内，他盘膝坐在床上，闭上双眼，感受着体内魂力的流转。今天是他满8岁的日子，也是触发对冲基金的日子。他抬起右手，其中通天举武魂在掌心浮现，身下4枚魂环缓缓升起，紫紫黑黑的光芒在周身交替流转。紧接着，光芒开始闪烁，颜色逐渐变化。第2枚魂环从深紫色慢慢加深，边缘泛起一丝黑色，最终彻底蜕变成了黑色。鬼渊睁开眼，看着那枚崭新的万年魂环，嘴角微微勾起。现在的他43级，利息为4000年，加上基础的500年，也就是说4枚魂环每枚增加了4500年的年限。第1魂环4600-9100，第2魂环8500-13000，第3魂环14500-19000，第4魂环34500，第1魂环从1000年蜕变为万年，只是时间问题，明年就能跨过那道门槛。而第2魂环已经正式进入了万年级别，魂环年限提升后，他制作同一种食物的魂力消耗明显降低了，尤其是第2魂技奇荣生灵蕊，从1000年魂环蜕变成万年魂环后，恢复效果有了质的飞跃。同一时间，教皇殿内，比比东坐在主位上，神色淡漠，月关和鬼魅分别站在下方的2侧，安静的候着。大殿中央站着2个人，一男一女，男的身形精瘦，脸庞线条冷硬，一双眼睛如同猎豹般锐利，女的身材高挑， 穿着一身淡青色的长袍，气质温和中带着几分凌厉，正是鬼豹斗罗和凌渊斗罗。两人的实力分别是95级和94级。鬼豹和凌渊同时上前一步，对着比比东恭敬地行了一礼。见过教皇殿下。比比东看着两人，神色没有任何变化，但他的心里却不知道该对自己的弟子说些什么。昨天千道流来了一趟，说是会从长老殿调2名长老过来听候他的调遣，还说这是鬼渊向他提的要求。比比东当时听完，沉默了很久，他心里不可能没有触动。你们暂且退下吧，有任务的话，我会通知你们。鬼豹和凌渊对视了一眼，各自退出了教皇殿。殿内只剩下比比东和月关、鬼魅3人。比比东清冷的声音响起：“以后你们2人的休息时间可以多一些了，不用像之前那么忙。”他顿了顿：“好了，现在你们去陪陪小渊吧。”月关和鬼魅行礼告退。走出教皇殿的那一刻，月关一副骄傲的样子：“老鬼，你说小渊那小子怎么这么厉害呢？”鬼魅淡淡道：“他是你儿子。”说的好像不是你儿子一样。月关回了一句，鬼魅没接话，但嘴角微微动了一下。两人并肩朝着鬼渊的寝殿走去。寝殿后的花园里，鬼渊正站在中央的料理台前，全神贯注地制作着食物。这片花园是鬼渊觉醒武魂后，其中通天局正是走食物系路线时特地搭建的，四周移植了许多不同品种的菊花，黄的、白的、紫的都有，在微风中轻轻摇曳。花园中央却摆着一张宽大的料理台，和周围的景色格格不入，但这里却是最适合鬼渊修炼的拟态环境。毕竟其中通天局是植物系武魂，又是食物系武魂，搞得又有花又有厨房的感觉。月关和鬼魅走进花园时，鬼渊正身下4枚魂环闪烁，双手快速凝聚着食物。月关原本是半靠在鬼魅身上的，双手随意地环在鬼魅的脖子上，可当他看清鬼渊身下的魂环时，身体瞬间绷直了。老鬼，你看，他指着鬼渊的方向，声音都变了调。小渊的第2魂环是不是黑色的？我没有眼花吧？他激动之下，双手猛地收紧，环在鬼魅脖子上的手臂不自觉地用力勒紧。鬼魅被他勒得一口气差点没上来，他抬手拍了拍月关的手臂，松手。月关这才注意到自己的动作，赶紧松开，退开半步，嘿嘿一笑，不好意思，刚刚有点激动了。鬼魅无奈地瞥了他一眼，整理了一下衣领，我们过去看看。两人快步走到料理台前，鬼渊也正好完成了手上的工作，抬头看到两人，笑了笑：“大爹二爹，你们怎么来了？”月关没有回答他的问题，直接指着他的身下：“你这第2魂环怎么回事？什么时候变成黑色的？”鬼渊低头看了一眼自己身下的魂环，故作恍然：“哦，这个啊，刚刚变的。怎么变的？”月关追问。鬼渊想了想，就和2年前我刚刚获得第1魂环的时候一样，魂环的年限自动提升了。月关和鬼魅同时愣住。月关重重吸了一口气，又是那位神奇给的奖励。鬼渊点了点头，可能是。他停顿了一下，又补充道：“其实1年前我的魂环年限就提升过一次，但那时候魂环颜色并没有质变，所以我就暂时没跟大爹二爹说。”月关眼睛都瞪圆了，也就是说，你这魂环年限极有可能每年都会提升。鬼渊歪了歪头，可能吧，我也不太确定。月关和鬼魅对视了一眼，两人都从对方眼中看到了震惊。每年都能提升魂环年限，这个能力太过逆天了。月关平复了一下情绪，这件事最好去跟你老师说一声，如果真能每年提升魂环年限的话，后面对你2个武魂的魂兽选择就又要做出改变了。一般情况下，魂师猎杀魂兽肯定是优先选择年限高且适合的，比如说一名魂师第5魂环的吸收极限是1万年出头，现在摆在他面前有2种选择，一种是吸收5000年但极其稀有的魂环，一种是吸收1万年但普通的魂环。99%的魂师会选择后者，因为后者的年限是1万年的，这是质变，不可能放着第5魂环是1万年的不吸收，去选个1000年的，哪怕血脉稀有也没用。1000年和1万年的魂环存在质的区别，一旦第5魂环是1000年，那未来就算能成就封号，上限也会被锁死在92级左右，没有逆天机缘，想突破到93、94级几乎不可能。第50章，人与人之间的神考为何差距那么大？求追读。而鬼渊现在既然能提升魂环年限，那他们之后猎杀魂兽时，就可以在一定范围内对魂环年限的要求降低一些，朝着更稀有的魂兽去猎杀。当然，这种情况也仅限于同为1万年魂兽，如果是几万年和10万年去选，那不用考虑，直接无脑选10万年，能成长到10万年级别的魂兽。哪个是简单的？简单的早就被吃了，而且10万年魂兽还必定爆一块魂骨。鬼渊道：“那我们现在就去见老师。”月关点头，现在就过去。3人转身走出花园，朝着教皇殿的方向走去。鬼渊走在中间，月关和鬼魅一左一右。月关嘴里还在念叨着：“第2魂环就是1万年的，你这小子真是。”鬼渊嘿嘿一笑：“运气好，运气好。”月关抬手拍了一下他的后脑勺：“你这运气好的有点过分了。而且如果真的每年都能提升魂环年限，你这全身魂环迟早达到10万年级别。”教皇殿内，比比东看到2人去而复返，他微微挑眉：“有事。”月关上前一步，把鬼渊魂环年限提升的事简单说了一遍。他的目光落在鬼渊身上，神色平静，但内心却在翻涌。人与人之间的神考差距为什么这么大？当初在知道鬼渊获得某位神器传承，魂环年限提升，获得神器之后，他曾找千道流了解过情况。他问千道流，参与神考的人是不是都会获得这类奖励？千道流给出的答案是，只有获得顶级8考的人才能提升魂环年限，除此之外，只有神考本身才能最终获得神器，还能获得至少1枚神赐魂环。千道流说这些话的时候，看着他的目光带着某种说不清道不明的意味。他知道他身上也有神考，而且那神考的气息偏向黑暗。比比东当时听完那些话， 花了很长时间才缓过来。他获得了罗刹神的传承，可他通过神考后，除了增加罗刹亲和度以外，就没有再获得任何奖励了，什么都没有。比比东收起思绪，声音恢复了清朗，每年都能提升魂环年限。鬼渊点头，目前来看是的。比比东的手指轻敲了敲座椅扶手，那以后猎杀魂兽的策略确实要调整了。在你往后修炼第2武魂时，优先寻找血脉特殊的魂兽，年限可以放宽一些。他没有提第1武魂，因为食物系武魂对魂兽血脉要求不高，适合才是关键。这件事不要对外声张。比比东看向鬼渊，我后面会教你如何在不显示魂环的情况下释放魂技，在你做到之前，不要在外人面前显露出魂环。娜娜那边也不要去说，如果被其他势力知道你的魂环能自动提升年限，恐怕有人会不惜一切代价来除掉你。鬼渊郑重的点头，我明白，老师，那千爷爷那边也不能说吗？比比东顿了一下，他可以。行了，你们下去吧。三人转身告退，走出教皇殿后，月关和鬼魅准备回去休息。月关转头看向鬼渊，小渊，你别整天闷在花园里做食物，你现在才8岁，43级魂宗，正常魂师天才在这个岁数连20级都没有，多去结交一些朋友，不然太孤独了。娜娜的哥哥邪月就很不错，你们可以多走动走动。鬼渊点头，我知道了，大爹。月关又道，娜娜和邪月也有武魂融合技妖妹，你本身也是自体武魂融合，这方面你们可以多交流。鬼魅在一旁接过话，武魂融合技不是无敌的，有前摇时间，契合度越低，前摇越长，这一点不仅是你的问题，也是我们2个需要攻克的难题。鬼渊认真听着，我明白了，二爹。鬼魅点了点头，不再多说。月关搭着鬼魅的肩膀，行了，我们先回去了。2人转身朝寝殿方向走去，步伐轻快。鬼渊站在原地看了一会儿，轻笑了一下。比比东等3人离开后，独自坐了很久。他站起身，穿过幽暗的密道，走进地下的一间密室。比比东在密室中央停下脚步，面前凭空出现一道紫黑色的漩涡，他没有犹豫，一步迈了进去。罗刹秘境，秘境内部是一片虚无，没有光，没有声音，没有方向感。比比东站在其中，抬头望向漆黑的虚空。为何我通过了前面的考验，却没有获得任何奖励？他的声音清冷，带着压抑已久的质问。魂环年限提升，神器、神赐魂环，这些东西为什么别人有，我没有？声音在虚无中扩散开去，然后没有回应，像往一口枯井里扔了一块石头，却没有听到落底的声音。比比东攥紧了手指，为什么不回应我？声音在虚无中回荡了几圈，消散得无影无踪，依旧没有回应。比比东站在原地又等了一会儿，最终还是转身，一步跨出了罗刹秘境。紫黑色的漩涡在他身后缓缓关闭。比比东站在密室里沉默了很久。他不知道的是，罗刹神当初给他传承的时候，本身就已经陨落了，只剩下一道残魂，能给传承已经是极限，哪里还有多余的神力去给奖励？正常神考体系里，传承者想要获得魂环年限提升，通常都是完成最后一考后才一次性结算的。但比比东不知道这些，他只知道自己9死1生冲过来的考验，什么都没得到，他的实力还要被压制在98级。教皇殿外，月关和鬼魅走在廊道上，月关偏头看着鬼魅，老鬼，你说小渊什么时候能学会隐藏魂环、释放魂技？鬼魅淡淡道，以他的悟性，不会太久。月关想了想，也是，那小子学什么都快。对了，关于武魂融合技前摇的事，你有什么想法？鬼魅沉默了一会儿，暂时没有。不过我们2人的武魂契合度提升了，融合的前摇时间应该变得更短了才是。要不试试？月关眼睛一亮，好，我们试试。第51章。武魂融合技的前摇，徐宇挂在身上求追堵鬼渊，还是很听月关和鬼魅的话的。他没有直接回寝殿，而是拐了个弯，朝着胡列娜和邪月平时修炼的院子走去。关于武魂前摇这件事，他也知道，不过他毕竟是自体武魂融合，和2人武魂融合是不一样的。因为2人武魂融合的时候，别人一眼看出你要融合的意图，但是自体武魂融合却不同。如果熟练掌握隐藏魂环的方式，他就可以偷摸的进行武魂融合，除非别人的精神力十分的强，可以对他进行感知。但就算如此，这也会提升他释放的成功率了。除此之外，他印象中原著中武魂殿战队中有一个武魂是光明全战魂师，他的第4魂技拥有让胡列娜和邪月武魂瞬间融合成妖媚的能力。当然，这个第4魂技最主要的能力其实还是速度增幅，后面如果有机会的话，这人是可以结交一下的。他的第4魂技一定意义上来说，也是武魂殿为了解决妖媚融合前摇问题而弄出来的。随后，鬼渊来到了胡列娜和邪月所处的院子，他刚走到院门口，就听到里面传来胡列娜的声音：“哥，你刚才那个角度不对，应该再偏左一点，偏左的话月刃会收不回来。”邪月的语气带着无奈，显然他们2个现在是在修炼。鬼渊出声道：“邪月大哥，娜娜姐，打扰了。”胡列娜回头一看，脸上立刻露出笑容：“小渊，你怎么来了？”鬼渊走进院子，有点事想跟你们聊聊。什么事？邪月收回了武魂。鬼渊道：“关于武魂融合技的前摇问题。”胡列娜眨眨眼：“你怎么突然问这个了？”鬼渊点头：“我大爹二爹今天跟我提了一下，说契合度越低的武魂融合技，前摇时间越长，你们2个妖媚融合的时候，应该也需要蓄力吧？”邪月沉吟片刻：“是的，我和娜娜的武魂契合度其实还算是高的，但目前融合也需要2秒左右，这个时间在实战中确实是个隐患。其实融合的时间随着他们等级的提升，这个前摇是会缩短的。以2人的契合度，未来这个前摇基本是在1秒以内。但哪怕如此，在高端战力战场上，这点时间其实也算很长了。毕竟他们2个不可能 能时时刻刻贴在一起。两人从接近到武魂融合，也需要至少1秒以上时间了。胡列娜反应了过来，所以你现在来找我们，是想问怎么缩短前摇？鬼渊点头，看看你们有没有什么经验可以分享。邪月想了想，我们的方法其实很简单，反复练习，把融合的动作练成肌肉记忆，让它变成一种本能，速度自然会提升。不过2秒左右已经是我们的极限了，想再缩短很难，除非实力提升上去。这时胡列娜忽然提议，要不这样，我和我哥用妖媚跟你打一场，正好也让你见识一下妖媚的实力。胡列娜老早就想要和自己这个小师弟打一场了，但她的能力被鬼渊克制的死死的，要打的话也只能是用妖媚了。而现在鬼渊已经魂宗了，这刚好可以试试看。鬼渊果断摇头，改天吧。为什么？胡列娜有些疑惑，你不会是怕了？胡列娜用了个激将法，但鬼渊并不吃这一套。等过段时间吧，我到时候会找你们的。他现在还没有学会隐藏魂环的方法，战斗过程中，除非他不使用第一武魂，只用第二武魂和外附魂骨，虽然这样也可以，但有种放不开手脚的样子。毕竟现在的邪月和胡列娜都是魂宗，两人融合施展出来的妖媚是拥有魂帝的战力的，只有外附魂骨和第二武魂，他大概率没啥胜算，除非动用暗翼之功，但他们只是切磋，又不是生死战，没有必要。胡列娜撇了撇嘴，行吧行吧，饶你一次。他忽然又想起了什么，对了，说到武魂融合的事，老师好像已经在安排了。武魂殿学院里有个叫徐宇的，武魂是顶级的光明权杖，现在还是魂尊。老师打算让他第4魂环的时候吸收一个可以加速武魂融合的魂技。鬼渊心里一动，果然是徐宇。同一时间，月关和鬼魅回到寝殿后，也打算试一试。房间内窗帘半掩，月关站在房间中央，朝鬼魅伸出手，老鬼，来试试吧。凝聚魂核之后，还没用过武魂融合技呢。鬼魅走上前，两人的手掌自然的贴合在一起，食指缓缓扣紧，掌心相贴，魂力开始沿着彼此的手臂流淌交汇，金色与黑色的光芒从两人的指尖溢出，如同2股溪流汇入同一片湖泊。准备好了吗？月关的声音比平时低了几分。鬼魅微微颔首，两人同时催动魂力，18枚魂环出现，并且叠加缠绕在了一起。紧接着，一道无形的波纹扩散开来，2级禁止领域。房间内的烛火在这道波纹扫过的瞬间凝固了，火焰停在半空中一动不动，时间像是在这一刻被按下了暂停键。持续了大约2秒后，领域收敛，月关松开手，整个人兴奋的直接跳到了鬼魅的后背上。老鬼，你感觉到了吗？前摇时间真的缩短了好多。他双臂环着鬼魅的脖子，双腿夹着他的腰，整个人像个挂件一样挂在鬼魅身上。以前至少需要2秒的蓄力期，现在感觉连1秒都不到。鬼魅被他勒得微微后仰，抬手拍了拍月关的手臂，下来。不下。月关把头靠在他肩膀上，声音带着藏不住的笑意。而且我感觉威力也强了不少，魂核的加持让我们的魂力运转更顺畅，融合的时间应该也能持续更久。这意味着我们领域能够控制住更强的人，说不定98级乃至99级都能控一控呢。鬼魅被他挂得有些不稳，往前走了2步才稳住重心。你先下来再说。